back to Crash Zone. Hey, welcome back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry, that song was a bit much for a Sunday evening, huh? How's everyone doing? It's Sunday, May 10th. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to those who celebrate. We are back in an evening to stream for a couple hours on the basis that this morning we had stuff going on because of the holiday, but glad you can make it. We're playing some Leadership Nova today. This deck is pretty cool, and I actually got a fair bit of time this week to play this deck and test it, and I'm pretty confident about just about every slot in it, but would love your feedback like always. Hopefully y'all are doing well joining in on a Sunday. Normally we do this in the mornings, but we're glad to make it nonetheless. Nova versus Zola is a fun one. Yeah, today we plan to do Nova versus Zola. We are going to start it a bit simple with Unus. I played this deck and I played against a whole bunch of testing games, and then I brought it through an entire scenario or entire campaign, excuse me, of what's it called? Of Mutant Genesis. And it's a really fun campaign because Mutant Genesis has a nice amount of, you know, mid-range minions and side schemes. And there's a lot of interesting ways Nova can interact with that. However, we've just like recently played, I think, Sabretooth and Sentinels on stream, so I decided to do something different. I have tested this against Zola. It's not the easiest, but it can be done. So we're going to start with something simpler to show the deck off. Unus is one of my favorite testing scenarios, and it does a good job at presenting things that Nova wants, especially like 3 health minions are kind of really quite nice. And then from that point, we'll go on to do Zola. And if we have even a bit more time today, we'll go off and try against Red Skull, which is another like maybe positive Zola interaction, because there's always a side scheme every turn, as much as one thwart might be a problem. So we'll see how we can cross that bridge. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Don't think I've ever seen a leadership deck for Nova. There's 2 big reasons why I think you should play leadership Nova, and they're very, very big reasons. When I set off to build this deck, the thing that I wanted to show off mostly, hold on one second. Oh, my Cerebro isn't open. Give me 1 second to grab it. But there's one with the card that I wanted to build around, and it's White Wolf. And White Wolf is really nice. Just give me 1 second because I can pull up the cards. I just had to reset my computer, so my Cerebro went down. So for those who are not familiar, we'll look at the deck in a second. White Wolf is a new leadership ally. And I do want to shout out that, is this the smallest ally on a card art we've seen on an ally? Like White Wolf is tiny, at least in terms of like the art representation. Oh, also we have this button now, which is kind of good fun. So we'll see if this is useful. We've been doing this on Velma's Diner, doing Arkham Horror. So we'll bring it here. But White Wolf is really cool because it takes no consequential when you're attacking, which is not bad. But after White Wolf attacks, you have to place a threat on the main scheme. Nova loves clearing the last threat on any scheme. So the fact that you can clean the main scheme, then attack with White Wolf, and then put one more threat on the main scheme, which you can clear easily, is really good for White Wolf, or really good for Nova more accurately. Now, the thing on top of that, though, which I found out is like, yeah, like every leadership deck we've played on this stream for a long time, it feels like, for better or for worse, this is a sidekick deck. And you have a really good sidekick. In fact, our sidekick, our ally, who is, what's her name? Kamala, Miss Marvel, is one of those sidekicks that is just busted. It's one of those sidekicks that breaks things when it comes to Cameo, which is not a card we've played yet. But she's just very, very good because she's just a recursion card. When you play an event, you can exhaust her and do a damage to her. And it turns out you can get these like near infinite combos. And we actually have like, I wouldn't say an infinite combo, it's far from infinite, but a very, very potent combo we can do with Miss Marvel and side by side. So we'll show how that off too. It might actually be more powerful and more consistent than White Wolf. I'll just say it, it definitely is. But this deck can do both things, which is nice. So you kind of have like 2 engines in your deck, 2.5, which is like really fun. This might be a deck I try to play. It's so much better in solo though. Play Unleashed, clear the main, draw a card, get attack with White Wolf, and clear the main scheme. That's the idea. That's the White Wolf idea. Hey Tony, been a minute since I caught a stream. I've been trapped in the Arkham Horror void. How's that been? So far, yeah, we've been doing Arkham Horror online for sure. We are streaming mostly Wednesday nights. We're gonna do another stream on the Crash Space Tuesday evening. I'm pretty sure. I'll talk a bit about that a bit later. It won't be it won't be Marvel Champions, but this is functionally our Sunday morning stream. As much as I have a totally different amount of energy now that it is like 8 o'clock. Hopefully everyone's been doing well. Okay. I think we're going to start by just talking about this deck because I want to play a lot of gameplay and we have a lot of gameplay to dive in. So we'll do a little bit of a deck breakdown. I want to say Nova has not been one of my favorite heroes. The more I play Nova, the more I think Nova has one trick. It's a really good trick, but unfortunately it is just one trick. A lot of Nova's cards are incredibly boring, and Nova has this like very good resource economy that's kind of fun. It reminds me in some ways of like Quicksilver, which I like a heck of a lot. And then Nova has this one really powerful unique card. In fact, there's 2 of them in the deck, and that's largely why you play Nova, is those turns. It's hard to recur that card. It is really difficult. So you just kind of do the best you can. And those turns are absurd. They're like really, really good turns. These are the unleashed turns, but not every turn can be an unleashed turn. And then Nova is just kind of like a sleepy event-based deck. But I think one of the things that also makes me not excited to play Nova, and I haven't played that much Nova to date, is that I don't know who this character is. I think on the alter ego, it's kind of just like a teenage boy, which I don't know. I don't. This is space, kind of Superman powers. None of this like really tickles me in any way that I care about. So I don't care about the character much, which means I probably didn't play the character much. And that's sort of a path that leads to the place that it started. This is Nova. Champion trait is actually not bad. That's a pretty cool trait. There's a whole bunch of cards that are only champion only. We are not playing the one busted card. There's a neutral card that just say champions can't take damage this turn. You could still play it. You probably should, 41th card or whatever, but we're just not playing it. One thwart, one attack, two defense. That's a bad stat line. We generally don't defend. Sometimes we do. Actually, sometimes we do. But one thwart and one attack is a real big downside. But we want to use our basic effects all constantly. Every turn we want to use our basic powers, which is no different for most other heroes. Because after you use one of Nova's basic powers, you can ready Supernova Helmet. This is Supernova Helmet, and it's a really good card. Apparently I spelled it wrong in Cerebro. That's great. It's a 1-cost upgrade that gives you the aerial trait. So we can get aerial on turn 1. We don't care about it in this deck. Leadership has 1 or 2 aerial cards. In fact, Leadership has a lot of aerial cards, let's be honest. It even has a team up, but we're not playing any of that stuff. But our hero response just says exhaust this to generate a wild resource. That's really good. This generates 2 resources every turn, as long as you schedule your turn out, because you get a resource, spend it, then you do something with Nova, and then it comes back, you use it again. That's 2 wild resources. That's absurdly good. And so it's really important that you try and use your basic thwart and basic attack. I think the last time I played Nova was Protection Nova, which shouldn't be a surprise. And that's really fun because you can play a defense event, you can try and play a card, you can defend it, readies it. It's like not perfect. But yeah, this is after. I think Nova's text is after, so you actually can do that. So you can basically play a defense event with Nova using a Supernova Helmet. And then after the defense finishes, I'm pretty sure you can ready the Supernova Helmet. So you are allowed to do that, I think. Not going to be important. We have no cards we can play in the defense phase. Actually, no, that's not true. It's not true. Actually, there is 2 cards we can play in. Been really enjoying Arkham. Got into it a bit late, so I'm relying on a lot of custom scenarios, but man, there's so many amazing custom campaigns. Alice in Arkham was amazing. I've heard good stuff about Alice. I'm starting a custom campaign tomorrow. I forget which one it is. I've only played Dark Matter and I've really liked it. I played the standalone, the Symphony of Eric's On one. I liked that one a fair bit, as much as I played it solo. But the one I'm playing tomorrow, I think is like what's the one? I forget which one. It's one of the like 3 very known ones. Timing is key, can make turns for Nova last forever. Yeah, you get so many resources off of Nova. I just want to shout out the Alter Ego, because the Alter Ego fires usually once. In bad games, it fires twice because you can lose your helmet. But an Alter Ego action is spend a resource of any type to search your deck and discard powerful Supernova Helmet and add it to your hand. Now, if you did spend a wild resource, and our deck has a fair few wild resources, I think we have like 4 maybe in our deck, so not super consistent. Maybe we have slightly more. We can go install it instead, and that's a lot better. It actually means that you can discard Supernova Helmet if you ever mulligan into it, which you're trying not to. But basically, you're spending 1 resource to draw this and install it, which is just very good. It's better than playing it, because playing this from your hand naturally takes 2 cards. Just spending a wild resource takes 1 card, and then it's on the table, and then you can use it twice. So in a lot of opening hands, as long as you have that wild, you functionally have like an 8 resource hand. It's really, really quite good, and that's a very consistent way to get there. We have no incentives besides 1 card in our deck to jump down to Alter Ego, and it's not a bad card, but this deck has no access to stun or confuse or any way to form flip very aggressively, so we're largely not going to go into Alter Ego unless we have to, and that can be an issue. I do think this deck might want 1 or stun or confuse card, because if we draw our obligation, which is really quite bad, we basically can't ready our helmet. That's awful, and we really want to ready our helmet because this deck is really light on resource generators, and that's because, as we said before, the helmet generates 2 resources a turn. Losing that is devastating, straight devastating. So let's talk about what he does. So first thing here is, well, we have a bunch of these cards, and they're very straightforward cards, very, very straightforward. They are all 2-cost superpowers, and almost the entirety of our kit are superpower traded. That being said, we're still not playing Deft Focus because it doesn't make sense, because these cards have this really very good kicker that says if you spend a wild to pay for this, it pays for 2 resources. So use of Supernova Helmet just pays for this. What does this card do? Remove 3 threat. That's it. This is what I mean when Nova's not super exciting with most of the Nova cards. This is just 1 resource, which is usually free, to remove 3 threat. Obviously very good, but there's no other synergy in the deck. That's all we have, and we have 3 copies of this, which is really good. I want to say for solo, 3 threat's really important, and I wonder if Nova is like way worse or way better at solo. In solo, you can do this really powerful combo thing that we're talking about, and 3 threats are a really good breakpoint for clearing things. Hey, Bebix, how's it going? I've drawn it, used it as a resource, and then did his action. Wait, for what, Nolan? Oh, sorry, my phone is on. I can hear myself. Nova is part of the Champions team, which had a lot of fun heroes: Kamala, Miles, Asmodeus, Cho, Gwenpool. They just don't have the best storyline, sadly. They're characters I don't know much about. Like, I don't know anything about the Champions in terms of, like, I know a bit of Miles, but I know nothing about them. Oh, for the helmet. Yeah. That's you can do. Draw it, throw it out, spend it as a resource, bring it back. It's not too bad. Now, similarly, we have pot shot, same idea. Superpower costs 2, generally costs 1, and this does 4 damage to an enemy. 4 damage is a really nice breakpoint because we want to be able to defeat enemies like most heroes do. And 4 will get you through most mid-range to small enemies, no problem. If we do a basic attack, that's 5. That's really good. We have 3 of these. So again, this is 6 of our 15 cards in our hero kit are just 2 for 3s and 2 for 4s, which are good. We have force field projection, which is like fine. I have also, no, I spelled this one correctly. This is when a friendly character would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent 3 of that damage. It can be any character, doesn't have to be us. It has to be from an attack though, which is a bit annoying. And if you use this spending a wild resource, you can deal 3 damage to the enemy. Now, this technically means you should defend because you can defend for this, and then you can use your helmet to pay this, and then after your defense finishes, you can ready the helmet. I mean, that's not super important, but this card doesn't really interact with the rest of his kit in a great way, as much as this is technically a 1 for 6, which is a very, very good card in terms of the numbers. Now, this is why we play Nova, and there's 2 of these in the kit, and it is one of the most interesting, one of the most powerful cards in all of Marvel Champions. It's a max 1 per round, 1 cost superpower called Unleash Nova Force. This says until the end of the round, each time Nova defeats an enemy or removes the last threat from a scheme, and that's better text than clearing or defeating a scheme because some schemes are permanent. This still works, especially on the main scheme. But once you ever do that, once you ever defeat something or remove the last threat from a thing, you ready Nova and draw a card. This is such absurd text because, of course, when you ready Nova, that means functionally the helmet will ready too, as long as you're doing a basic action. And as long as there's enough stuff on the table to fight or thwart or, clear, you are constantly drawing through your deck. And most of your cards will single-handedly clear things. We have, again, a 1 for 4. We have a 1 for 3. You can, and on a lot of turns, you will ready yourself 6 to 7 times and draw 6 to 7 times as well. This is absurd, and this is what the deck is built around, is drawing cards playing this. You in fact will leave side schemes on the table because you know you're going to draw into an Unleash Nova Force, and when you draw into an Unleash Nova Force, yeah, you kind of go to them all. Like, it's so absurdly powerful. You can do everything and more every time you clear something, every time you draw. Now, important caveats, you have to do the clearing. It's not until the end of the round when every time. Nova has to defeat the enemy. So your allies are useful in terms of getting things low, but you have to do the final blow. And as we talked about our hero stats are pretty bad. So defeating something and thwarting something is difficult with 1 attack and 1 thwart. We have ways to deal with that, but do keep that in mind. Also, buffing your stats is really good, and that's something leadership can uniquely do. But if you do imbue your stats, you make your stats better, that is now multiplied by 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or whatever it is on Unleash Nova Force. Like giving yourself 1 thwart for a round, I sleep. Giving yourself 1 thwart that you use 6 or 7 times, like that is so good. And that's something we're constantly going to do. This whole deck is built around Unleash Nova Force. And there's 4 cards we're playing here, and these are not cards I commonly play, but I actually like these cards a lot more, and that's because they're fun puzzle cards. Also, they came out, I think, in Quicksilver. This is Adrenaline Rush. 1 cost condition, it's an upgrade. You can discard this to give your hero +1 attack until the end of the phase. Now, this is not a great card in general, but the 2 things that really work with this card, and similarly we have Civic Duty, which is the same thing, except it gives you +1 thwart until the end of the phase. These cards will generally give you more than 1 value. The turn that you're firing this usually gives you about 4 or 5 value, which is a 1 cost 5 damage attack that you can play now and use later. Now, it's even better than that because, of course, for Unleash Nova Force, the most important thing is that you have to defeat the thing. And so getting your stat up or getting your thwart or attack set up is so important because for everything you defeat, that's a ready and a card draw. So all of these like small incremental things really matter. And on the turn that you're just like really going for it, it might be hard to attack the villain that many times. You generally are going to need a lot of side schemes or events in your hand, but you do get yourself up to 3 attack and then you will attack 4 or 5 times. So this card becomes so good. It's such a sleepy and like unassuming card, but it's actually quite good. Yo, KCD, how's it going? Caught it early. Welcome. We're streaming late on a Sunday. Glad you can make it. That's a really big thing. I like this card more than I thought. It's not a card you see in a lot of these decks, and there are ways in leadership to buff your stats. I don't know the names of all these cards because I don't play them, but like lead from the front technically is expensive, but it gives all your cards +1 thwart and +1 attack. There is a neutral version of this, or sorry, not a neutral, a cheaper version that just says 1 character gets +1/+1. I forget the name of it. It might even be 0 cost. I know we have Moxie, and Moxie is that text, except it's only if you change forms, which is not something we do. All of these ways in leadership work well, but I have appreciated just having an upgrade you can put on the table and fire if and when you need it to be way more consistent and way more reliable. But I believe there's a middle cost version of lead from the front that is just 1 character, and I think it costs 1, but I couldn't tell you what it is because I generally don't play that card a lot. These cards are really, really good. On top of that, we want to make sure that we build an environment in which Unleash Nova Force is really quite good. And so we're playing specialized training. In fact, we do quite like side schemes. Specialized Training is a really interesting side scheme because it has 5 threat, which is actually relatively high. But when you clear it, you can go grab a specialization upgrade. And there's 4 different ones here. And I think 80% of the time that I played this deck, I've always grabbed the same one. But firstly, this is a side scheme you can clear, which is really good. And that'll ready you and draw a card. So you often want to just like edge this and get it down to 1 threat and then just leave it there until the turn that you draw a Nova Force, where clearing it is functionally free plus a card. But the card that we usually get is Combat Specialist. And this is, again, really important for obvious reasons. This not only gives us a free card draw, which we love card draw, but this gives us +1 attack. And bringing us permanently from 1 attack to 2 attack is massive. It's a really, really big deal for so many reasons, let alone this gives you so much more value when you can ready yourself multiple times. Obviously, it's very good. This does not start in our deck. Now, this is the other card that I wanted to build around, and this is the big reason why I'm revisiting Nova is a White Wolf. And White Wolf is a relatively new leadership ally that comes in for 3. Thwarts for 2 with 2 consequential, which is not good, but attacks for 2 with no consequential, has 3 health. However, this Wakanda ally forced response after White Wolf attacks, you have to place a threat on the main scheme. That's obviously bad text, but this is just such good text. When we can play Unleash Nova Force, we can, do whatever we want. Then, more accurately, we can attack with White Wolf. We put 1 threat. Okay, let me try this again. We clear the main scheme. We ready ourselves, draw a card. Then we attack with White Wolf. That puts a threat on the main scheme. And then we just thwart the main scheme, which readies us, readies our helmet, and draws another card. So it doesn't actually like push the game forward, but because we're drawing a card and readying our helmet, it actually is quite good. Good enough that I even did consider, and it's actually pretty good in this deck for a couple of reasons, we're playing Command Team, just to be able to ready White Wolf over and over and over again. I've liked that a fair bit, just because every time we do that, we basically get 2 damage on the hero, draw a card, and gain a resource. That's very good. That's very, very, very quite good, it turns out. And as much as this is a combo, almost all these cards are okay enough on their own. We have a couple of reasons or ways to use Command Team that don't require White Wolf, but the combo is really quite nice. We're also playing a copy of Inspired, and Inspired will just make White Wolf bigger. That's good because White Wolf does not take consequential when we're attacking for 3. That's just nice. Now we also want to play enough upgrades because we're playing Suit Up, so just having enough upgrades you can attach to allies is important enough. I do want to shout out, and I think I have it at the back, is that there are some scenarios, including Zola, which we're probably going to be playing today, that instead of Inspired, I would actually just play Sidearm, because Sidearm just gives the attack +1 in ranged, and White Wolf doesn't take damage unless the thing you're attacking is Retaliate, and if you have ranged, you don't have to deal with Retaliate. So I do think there's certain scenarios that Sidearm is just a fair bit better. In fact, probably let's just swap that swap permanently, because we're almost never going to use the +1 thwart. We sometimes can attach this to a different ally, specifically Miss Marvel, but we might as well just go for Sidearm because even Unus can get Retaliate, and that's like not bad. Sidearm's not a bad card. Cool. Hey, Pat, how's it going? This is going to be so silly when it's set up. It is so goofy. Andy, how's it going? And the thing is, like, this deck, the combo that we're talking about, White Wolf, seems absurdly busted. It's not. It's actually not the best part of this deck, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing. It's a Sidekick deck, and Sidekick can do some just nonsense stuff. That's so clever. That's why I watch this stuff. Hey, Chudley, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yo, Pat, I was going to shout this out, but on Tuesday, we're going to come back to the Crash Space and play some Ash's Ascendancy, because I brought all the cards into the overlay so we can do it. So excited. Call for Backup. This card's also really good for a bunch of reasons. Firstly, it's a good card in general, but because it's a low threat scheme that draws us an ally. Not only can we get Nick Fury, and of course we can get Nick Fury, but we can clear this on a turn that matters, and we can go get White Wolf on the turn that it matters, which is like everything we want to do, let alone the new art on this is quite fun. Now, this is the other card that we have, and it's Miss Marvel, and she actually might be a more important card. And any card that has this sort of text is like just prone to be busted in any card game, and it's no different here. Miss Marvel is your new ally. She has pretty bad stats, just like she kind of does in hero form, but after you play an event, you can choose to exhaust Miss Marvel and deal 1 damage to her to return that event to your hand. That's really good text, and I'll be honest, I've never used that for anything else besides 1 single card to recur, as much as you can use this to recur other cards. But she allows you to bring your events back, and our events are usually like 3 thwart or 4 damage for a single, let alone free resource if our helmet's set up, which is cool. Now she's ours, so we can make her Sidekick. And with Sidekick, she just has +2 hit points. And when we recover, we can recover her. That only happens 1 in every 2 games because you usually don't have the time to jump down and recover, let alone this deck has a fair bit of healing, both for us and for her. Now, this is the reason why we play the deck. And this is just like kind of a busted combo, like just straight busted. This is side by side. And this is probably the best thing in the deck. 2 cost leadership event. It says hero action, ready your Sidekick. Importantly, that's a cost. You do have to watch out. If you get Miss Marvel down to 2 health or like 4 health if she's your Sidekick, there's almost no way to exhaust her without her taking damage, which sucks because then you can't play Sidekick. Readying her is part of the cost. If you can't ready her, you can't play this. So just keep in mind when she's on 3 health of 5 or 1 health of 3, you need to keep her there for the side-by-side turn. Otherwise, this card is a total brick until you recover. That is really awkward. But this card just says when you play it, ready your hero, And ready, Miss Marvel. That's really good text because readying us is super important because it functionally also readies the helmet. So this is a 1 cost card. And then we can either heal 1 damage from both characters or give both characters +1 thwart and +1 attack. Now, giving ourselves +1 thwart and +1 attack, as we said before, really good because we ready ourselves a lot of times on the unleashed turn. So that's good. But usually we just do the bottom. And that means we basically, play this. We have Miss Marvel exhausted. We play this card using our helmet, so it costs us 1. And then we ready ourselves and Miss Marvel. And then we immediately fire Miss Marvel to redo that damage and return this to our hand. So for 1 resource, we get a ready. That's it. And we heal 1. And you can just do it again. Next time you play side by side, after you've activated, we got our helmet back. We ready ourselves. We put 1 damage on her. We return this to our hand. Your hand, if it's 6 cards, you can do this 5 times. And on the last time, you don't have to return this to your hand because it's useful. You just heal Miss Marvel and you can heal yourself, or you can just give yourself +1/+1. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. It's like just so good. It does a lot of damage. And this is a nice way, even on a not an Unleashed Nova Force, where you can fire your copies of Adrenaline Rush, just buff your stats, and then you are ready, 4 or 5 times a turn. And you can just do, 15 damage to 18 damage to the villain, no problem. You can one-shot villain stages. This is better than White Wolf. And we have 2 allies that we have to get from our deck. And honestly, Miss Marvel is the one you get first because she's way more flexible. White Wolf is like luxury, but like Miss Marvel is just super, super functional because we have 3 copies of side by side. I feel a bit bad because every time we play like a Sidekick deck, it's like the Sidekick is the thing the deck does. But it's good that we have at least Unleashed Nova Force because Unleashed Nova Force is equally powerful and equally fun. Lastly, we play 1 copy of Suit Up. This card's slightly awkward. Now, this allows you to search for an ally and a card you can attach to unally. The text of the errata is a bit more forgiving. But the cool thing with this is that you can, of course, grab Miss Marvel and grab your Sidekick, which is a unique one of in the deck. Let alone has a wild icon, which is good fun. The problem with this is on turn 1, you get your helmet down, but this is an alter ego action and your helmet is a hero action. So it's always kind of hard to get your helmet down and use it on the turn you fire this. Generally, you want to fire this with a double, go get your ally, go get your helmet, flip up, use your helmet to play for the ally, ready again, then play the Sidekick on it. It's like totally possible to set up all in 1 6-card hand. You have to get a bit lucky though. But yeah, this is a very, very, very good combo. Everything else is just stuff like smooth leadership stuff to facilitate this combo. Like most leadership decks, we probably should play Make the Call. It's just a very good, consistent card, but we're not. And we're playing some allies. So this is Kid Omega. I actually classically in this slot had, what's his name? The Wakanda guy, Black Panther, because Black Panther can grab a leadership event and attach it to him. So you can go grab a copy of Side by Side, which is really good. But instead I went for Kid Omega. Kid Omega should be good abstractly. I haven't tried Kid Omega. I played every game so far with the Wakandan Black Panther, as much as he didn't get play in every single game. Kid Omega is nice because Kid Omega is cheap. And when we have a wild generator, it's very easy for Kid Omega to do exactly what we need Kid Omega to do. And then that will make all the threats or all the side schemes at lower threat. So it's easier for us to clear them with Unleashed Nova Force. Just flexible, just good. We have wild, so it shouldn't be hard to fire Kid Omega. 2-cost allies are good. Speaking of Maria Hill, oops, not you. Maria Hill is also very good. 2-cost ally that draws a card. Can't go wrong. Thwarts for 2. Fantastic. Hooray, no Make the Call. I'm so bored of that card. Me too. Cards are way too good. And that's the problem with leadership is like, I only want to play weird leadership, not just like Make the Call spam. And honestly, Make the Call is like one of the best cards in the whole game. It's very, 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 very good. That's a heck of a card. It's copies 4 to 6 of your best event. That's a combo. It's a combo. It's a combo and a half. Oh my God, it's a combo. I was thinking of going to l'Expedition, but maybe I want to be in the chat. Oh yeah, it's Expedition Day. That's ugly. It's fine. We'll see you wherever you are, Pat. We have Moon Girl. This is the only like true Champions payoff card we have. I love Moon Girl. I've played so much Moon Girl in Champions, or sorry, in Geniuses. I forgot you could just play this not in Alter Ego. I always think, oh, I have Moon Girl. Jump down to Alter Ego, buddy. Because everyone who's a genius is, I think, exclusively a genius in Alter Ego. Once they put their suit on, they become less smart. It's kind of weird how that is. But yeah, this, if you play with mental resources, you draw cards. That's just a very good deal. And of course, with the wild resource generator, this is fantastic. If Moon Girl draws 1 card, she's already really good. She's a 2-cost ally that you can, thwart 2, which is a good break point. If you spend 2 mental icons on this, she draws 2. That makes her very, very, very good. She's very good. We also have Nick Fury. Nick Fury's fantastic. Obviously, Nick Fury's good. Make the call, grab Nick Fury. Not make the call, sorry. Call for backup, grab Nick Fury if you want to. This card is the other true Champions payoff we have, and I've actually been pretty surprised with this card. I haven't played this a lot in a lot of other decks, but this says Exhaust Mobile Bunker. You have to play this as a hero action. Choose an identity with the Champions trait. That player who controls the identity draws 2 cards and then discards 2 cards. Our deck is focused around 4 cards. So the ability to churn through your deck to find Unleash Nova Force, of which there's 2, or side by sides, of which there's 3, is really important. Now, this doesn't give you card quality. Sorry, it doesn't give you card quantity. It strictly gives you card quality. It also gets you closer to your deck cycle, which is important. This card is good. It's just good. It's good enough. It's not a priority setup, but notice our deck has no resource generators. All we have is the helmet and a way to churn through our deck. And it turns out it's pretty good. Same, but I've yet to play any champion traded heroes. I played Miles this year, had a great time. I don't know who the other champions are. Miss Marvel wasn't a champion when she came out, right? Oh, she was. Oh, that's fun. I haven't played her in a minute. Our alter ego thing is Jesse Alexander. It's not a bad card. You just don't have a lot of ways to go down to alter ego when you're playing solo leadership, so it doesn't really fire. It costs 2. You can exhaust this to shuffle a copy of Connection to the World Mind, which is a really good card. We'll get to that in a second. And then you can draw a card. Notably, they're not attached clauses, so even if you don't have a Connection to the World Mind in your discard pile, you can still draw a card. 2-cost support that draws a card. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not a reason to jump down, but shuffling the extra card into the discard pile is like, it's also not amazing. It's okay. This card's a really good card, especially when you draw it, because it's one of the coolest cards in the game. This is such cool text. Connections to World Mind. Whoa. I don't know what this art is. I don't know anything about this character. It has a wild icon. We really care about that, but it doesn't count to your hand size. What does that mean? From my understanding, when you're drawing up to your hand size and this is in it, keep drawing, buddy. That's as simple as it is. So when you start the turn and you have this in your opening hand, keep drawing. It does not count, which means you technically can open up with an 8-card hand size. Mind you, cards are drawn technically, like you just keep drawing through it, which is nice. There's also some turns where you don't use this resource, and one part about this game that I really encourage is spend all your hand all you can. I'll do say this deck is slightly awkward. Sometimes you do float resources, and that's just because sometimes things work in a weird way. I'm not convinced this should be a lockjaw deck because we don't float 4 resources, but it's nice that you can schedule a nice efficient turn with a Connection to World Mind left over in your hand, and you just keep it. And then you still draw 5 more cards. Like, that feels sick. I'm kind of into it. So there's been a couple turns where I spend every card besides this just to draw a 6-card hand next turn. It feels good, as much as we lost 1 resource this turn. So when are you going to play today? Yay, Wasteland. Yeah, we had a Mother's Day brunch thing. It was quite nice. So we're going to come back in the evening. Sometimes we stream Sunday evenings. There's a precedent to that. Agree. It's hard for me to play leadership unless I'm playing it weird, like sacrifice leadership. Yeah, there's been some cool leadership cards for sure. Nova's wild. Nova's super, super wild. Everything else is just energy, genius, and strength. And we have 2 copies of the Power of Leadership, which has enough targets. I do want to say this card's like not amazing because the one card that we want to play with it, like the 2-cost card that's like very obvious for a deck, is side by side. But usually you play side by side using your helmet, which makes it a 1-cost card. Like it saves a resource. So like you don't always use the text on this. We do have some allies, and that was like a reason why Black Panther was a bit easier to play, as much as we have some really good 2-cost leadership allies. Big thing about this card, it has a wild on it. That's all that matters. It's functionally a double resource also for our Nova cards, which can just matter. This deck so far has been sick. I want to be honest. It hasn't been the winningest deck I've played this year. I played through Experts, through all of Experts, Mutant Genesis, and I played some standalones, or like standalone scenarios, not like standalones. And we lost once to Magneto on Expert. We lost once to Mansion Attack. Everything else was great. Relatively easy, but like it is fallible. Like you are a combo deck, and besides the combo turns, nothing you do is like absurdly overcurve. It's just the turns where you do your thing. Oh my god, do you do your thing? You do your thing +3, like it's absurd. So we'll see how it works out. And as I said earlier today, we're going to start with Unus, who's relatively straightforward. Seems to be like a relatively nice spot. And there are some scenarios where I do think Nova is going to do better than others. This is a pretty good one, especially because there should be 1 threat added every turn to a side scheme, which is a nice place to be in. Should try Nova after the con? Yeah, Nova's cool. Nova's really, really cool. And I don't think you're going to run into a lot of like card overlap for like uniqueness and stuff like that, which is something I think you have to worry about for cons. I do want to say this weekend upcoming is Con of Heroes, which is a big thing organized in Minnesota around the game center, but I don't think in the game center anymore. For those going to that, I hope you have a great time. I have never gone to a con. At some point, I hope that is to be a thing we can fix. But yeah, it seems going to be like a nice weekend next weekend, as much as we'll be here streaming. So if you're going out there, have fun. I've never played this game with more than 3 players. So that's mostly it. Let's give this a good shuffle and we should be off. I realize in this room, it gets so warm when we stream and with all the doors closed, I'm in a sweater proper. And by the end of this stream, I'm going to be unwell. So we'll maybe change that at some point. All right. Let's give this a quick shuffle. We should be off. Again, we know Unus. Hold on. I don't think I pulled this stuff up. Unus is really great. One of my favorite testing things. Comes in with a good encounter set that's not showing up on stream. 1 second. Overlay. If I press this button, what happens? Nothing. Okay, that works. Unus has these two minions. The Infinite Hunters are brutal because they'll just one-shot Miss Marvel out of nowhere. Infinites are nice because they're 5 minions with low health. There is a couple treacheries. Dystopian Nightmare also has, a couple side schemes. Hunted is a bit annoying because we have to jump down to Alter Ego. There's a pretty high limit when it comes to Unus. I think the main scheme has 11 threat, and Unus doesn't scheme that hard. You can just lose to that, but jumping down is going to be a problem every once in a while. 4-player Marvel Champions is a chaotic experience. I prefer 2 to 3 myself. I just can't imagine when the villain has 100 health that I'm meant to do a swinging web kick and feel good about it. Like, I think what's going to be fun is like interacting and like helping each other out and blocking for people and like doing some of the more altruistic cards, like, Helicarrier, let alone there's more imaginative stuff than that. But like even swinging web kick, 100 health villain. Am I meant to be like, damn, we're all doing our part here? It's like such a big number. But that being said, there's a whole bunch of cards that like only make sense in multiplayer that I've never played. And it'd be cool to have a card pool that just like totally changes. Or at least significantly changes. Maybe totally is overdoing it. But like, who gets to play Nick Fury? Do you guys like talk about that before the game starts? Like today, I'm the Nick Fury player. And everyone's like, okay, I'm the Professor X player. And then they're like, I'll play the Mansion. I don't know. All right, let's set this up. Okay, hunting Gene Traders. Where are we at? Who's Gene Trader? So the setup, we looked at it a fair bit. We're doing stock standard. Also, I've moved this card so it's slightly higher. It used to be in the bottom left corner. Now it's like kind of in the middle. I think it doesn't look as nice. Let me know. Minor things. Our setups reveal the Gene Pool side scheme. In extra mode, give each player a face down encounter card. I'll proceed to forget that in a second. Gene Pool is this permanent side scheme. It gets a threat of turn because of the main scheme. We'll talk about that in a second. But all we want to do basically is never get an ally defeated by anything besides consequential, which can be hard because they can just get sniped. But most importantly, we don't want to be blocking attacks. Now, our deck doesn't have that many defensive ways. Side by side notably heals us for 1. So you end up healing like 6 or 7 throughout a whole game. No problem. But we are weak to just being attacked a fair bit. So we have to watch out for that. We'll see how that works out. I'm going to shuffle this and then we'll deal ourselves an encounter card. But Gene Trader. All right. Comes in with no threat, gets 1 a turn. 11 is how we lose. And a force response after resolving step 1 of the villain phase. Put 1 threat here, which is just good enough because that's 2 different things that will have threat on them that we can clear out. As much as 4 is kind of awkward. I have used, especially in certain scenarios, like against Sentinels, I have played Unleash Nova Force on turn 1, and it has been very good. This scenario is probably a bit less good. And I do want to say that on the top here, like, gamer greed and all that. This card is very good when it fires 6 times. Of course it is. But if this card fires once, generally not bad. It's generally not bad. It's a 1-cost draw card ready. It's not bad at all. So like, just be careful. You don't have to only play this on the turns that they're cracked. But when this can fire twice, like a 1-cost card that gives you 2 readies, let alone 2 resources because of your helmet and draws 2 cards, is good. It's just a good card. You don't have to go to the moon. We will go to the moon because we want to, but you don't have to. The card's still good. 100 HP Masterminds. Sounds like time for Deadpool gaming. Leadership gets really fun helping other players. Things like Avenge Me, Maria Hill, Mission Leader, Resource Reserve, other crazy tempo. Yeah, Squirrel Girl. But yeah, Maria Hill probably feels so good when it draws 4 cards. Oh my God. For the side scheme, more central, but you need to raise your T just a tad. Yeah, right? Because now it doesn't hide the T. But now this is closer to the spill zone. It's risky out here. Yeah, I kind of like it more in the bottom corner. I don't know what to do about that. I love Marvel Champions of 2 players because it feels so much more thematic, like a real superhero team up. But man, I envy the convenience of true solo games. Yeah, that was the big thing for me, is I can just sit down and play a game in 20 minutes or on Dragon cards. But I do play if I play anything else, I play 2-player with my partner, and it's a great time, especially because it's like, oh, I'll jump down, I'll stay up. And then you do feel like that team up. Okay, I guess we should just talk about Unus real quickly. Not the scariest, 15 health. Why are you there? Uh-oh, that shouldn't have happened. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's good. So based off of how much threat is on Gene Pool, we'll get different traits. Because it starts at 4, we get Retaliate. Eventually we'll get Stalwart, which doesn't matter. We have no Stun or Confuse. And an Amplify icon at 9 is a problem. But actually the bigger problem about having 9 is the cards in the counter deck. They have a really bad jump from 3 to 6 to 9. There's a whole bunch of these Infinite Soldiers. At 3, they have Quick Strike. They hit for 2. At 6, they have Surge. That's really quite bad. And at 9, they have like plus 5 health, I think, or plus 4 health or something like that. And they have Guard, which is a problem because you can't win the game. Toughness, and that's it. Schemes for 2, attacks for 2. Very fun scenario. I like this scenario a heck of a lot. And with that, let's set up. Again, we want to make sure we have in our opening hand a wild icon because we can get our helmets, and that's mostly it. Anything else we can get to set up is great. It's not a great Unleash Nova Force board. This has no threat on it, excuse me. So like the only way to Unleash Nova Force is that, which not the easiest thing. So we're just trying to set up and do an okay job. Let's go. Adrenaline Rush. It's like not a card you keep in your mulligan, but it's super playable, but it's in the maybe camp for sure. Maybe to know, like it's not an important card. Side by side card does nothing without its, partner, because this says ready your sidekick as a cost. If we don't have a sidekick, it doesn't do anything. Nick Fury is almost always worth considering because it's just turn your worst 3 cards or 4 cards into 3 other cards and then have a free block. Not a great block against Unus. This one's not bad. We have 3 of these. Lightspeed Flight will remove 3 threat from the Gene Pool and just deal with it. I'll probably put that in the maybe keep, but we have no wild icon so far. Force Field Projection, we don't keep that. And our last card is the Power of Leadership. Now, we have no leadership cards in our hand, but this card has a wild icon, which means it just generates the thing that we want it to do. And then we can use that resource to play Nick and then draw more cards. It's going to be great. I think we're going to do this. So we're going to not keep these, but then we draw 3 more cards, right? So we do Power of Leadership to go grab our helmet. We jump up, we play 1, 2, 3, and a helmet for Nick Fury. And then we draw, yeah, this seems really good. I think we'll just do that. Notably, of 4 players, Chuck isn't nearly as valuable. You can flip without Confuse with very little fear, and Nick doesn't give proportionally as much tempo. Things we actually worry about are Queen Carrier X-Jet. Oh yeah, the 1 X-Jet on the table, huh? You're right, Nick is still, I think Nick is still really good, but I get how it's not like, busted, and I could see Chuck being a fair bit worse. Because a single Confuse is like less meaningful. Sidekick, okay, that's another wild. So let's see, we have something to pair into this. This is a 1 of card in our deck. We only have 1 more way to draw it. Ideally, we want to draw our ally at the same time as this or before this. So that's not a great ordering. Unleash Nova Force. We could do it. We could do it. Maria Hill. Okay, that's actually really good too. We could do it. Sorry, not you. Oh man, it used to be so easy to search up Maria Hill and then all the cards came. This is a kind of a sick hand. Okay, so what do we have here? Power of Leadership easily plays Maria Hill. We can do that now to see what comes our way. Sidekick gets our helmet, which we should do that first because our alter ego text, we don't want to draw into our helmet. If we draw into our helmet, it's not the end of the world because we can just pitch our helmet and then get our helmet back, but it's like not perfect. I don't think this is an Unleash Nova Force turn, but in theory, like Lightspeed Flight could do this. I just want to make sure. So say this becomes our helmet. Then we play Maria Hill, we get a card. Say that's this. So then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick. Yeah, we probably don't play Unleash, but I still think we do it. The thing is like Maria Hill's not amazing because we can't block with her. So like same with Nick, like he's still good, but is there any way that we don't play Nick here? I don't think that's the case. In fact, maybe like Maria Hill resources should just go into Nick anyways because Maria Hill's thwart here is not super impactful. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to start with our alt ego and we're going to pitch Sidekick. I guess actually if we play Maria Hill and we draw into what's her face into Kamala, we'll be pretty unhappy, but it's like a 1 in 32 or something. So I don't think we do that. Yeah, I'm just going to pitch Sidekick and we'll search our deck. So we would have drawn. Did you see that? So we're going to shuffle, but I just want to check what we would have drawn. If we just played Maria, we would have drawn into Miss Marvel and had Sidekick. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is like 32 cards. I don't feel good about that. That would have been so easy. Now, there's something called results-oriented thinking where like you see the outcome of something and think that you should have done something different. That's absurd. Cool. Yeah, what the heck was that? This is like 30 somewhat cards. And I don't think it's right to play Maria because if we draw our helmet, which is equally likely, then we're in a bad spot. We're in a pretty ugly spot. So because we spent a while, this is in play. Now, notably, this is our very important helmet or a helmet, as I wrote it. This thing generates a wild. It only is in hero mode, though, so we have to make sure we get up there first. Okay, so there's no reason to stay on an alter ego. Doesn't really matter. We'll flip up. we can get this threat down and just take the toughness off, I'm imagining. So if we do Maria Hill, we draw a card, and then we can play all of these cards into Nick. That's probably fine. So we'll just do 1, 2 into Maria. Maria Hill draws a card. Yeah, that was wild. You know, it was only there because your deck decided not to play Hill first. Yeah, I know, but then like you still have to look. It's a light speed flight. That's fine. Okay, so we'll generate 1. We could hold on to this Unleash Nova Force, but it's probably not going to be that good. Actually, no, we can't. 2, 3, 4 into Nick. Nick draws 3 cards. Yeah, that's absurd. Oh man, our setup would have been so smooth. We like this Nick and Maria are not actually that good here. Oh, that's really annoying too, because they're our last Unleash Nova Force. So that means we have to get through a whole deck cycle without playing this unless we hold on to it, which I'm assuming we will hold on to it. So we'll use Nick, or we'll use Maria first to thwart for 2. Should just take 2 off of that. We'll then attack for 1, and Unus loses Retaliate because there's less than 3 threat, so this knocks the toughness. Nick we'll just thwart for 2 to keep this honest. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play, Adrenaline Rush. So these are cards that we squirrel away for a rainy day. We're not going to use them until we need to use them. We just discard these to give ourselves +1 attack. And then we'll hold on to this because of the way things are going right now, there'll be 1 threat on here, 1 threat on here, which is kind of perfect, and we'll pass. Now we're technically not incentivized to block with Nick here because of course the text on Gene Pool says if we chump block with allies, there's a repercussion. And the repercussion is relatively high this turn because it adds 3 threat here. And not only have we used 2 of our lightspeed flights, we want to keep this on 1 threat so we can use Unleash Nova Force. Hey, Nocturnal Duck, just about to finish the 3 Saga boxes of Lord of the Rings LCG. Have you played them before? I have played through the first box. Maybe I'm on the second box at this point. I think I am. My partner, I think we're on the second box. We're playing like the recommended decks. I have gotten through the door behind the Watcher, and we got to a point where 2 hobbits were defeated, and my partner was devastated because she technically can't play with them anymore, but I think we're going to fix that. I love the artwork on Adrenaline Rush. Oh my god. I've played with this card for years, and only today have I realized that that's a Rocket Raccoon. I thought that was just a jetpack. I really like his face. All right, that's that. We'll hold on to this and we'll draw a couple more. Hopefully we get our world bind so we can keep drawing. White Wolf is here. That's good. Champion's Mobile Bunker. Okay. Potshot. That's good if we draw 3 health minion, which we're not unlikely to do. And we have a Miss Marvel. So unfortunately we have to play Miss Marvel with this hand, but we're going to get a lot of resources for free with Unleash Nova Force. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay. So we have a 1 threat here. This text says on Hunting Gene Traders that we have to put 1 threat on Gene Pool every turn. So that's really good for us. And then Unus is just going to attack us, and we're just going to let attack go to the face. So it's 2 in a card. We want to take some damage because side by sides heal. So we'll take our first attack to face 1, 2. Boost on this can be bad. I think we have to decide whether it goes up or we add threat. Infinite Hunter. Infinite Hunter. So this is good to not draw because this thing one-shots your allies, especially when you set up a Miss Marvel and equip stuff to her. So choose to either place 2 threat on Gene Pool or the activating enemy gets +2 schemer to attack. So that'll put this on 3, which we can deal with 3 because it means Maria Hill does 2 and then we clear the last one. So we'll just do that and take 2 damage. Captain Marvel doesn't need a jetpack. You're right. I think she could just fly. Cool. Encounter card. Endless ranks. Okay, so we have a lot of side scheming to do. That's fine. So when defeated, place 3 threat on Gene Pool, which just gives us another avenue to try and fire our ability, but that seems a bit ambitious. I think for this to be like doable, we'd probably need a Civic Duty in play because our thwart stat is not very good. Nick Fury's discarded, not defeated. I played through Lord of the Rings Saga with 3 friends. Only 1 person used recommended decks. At one point, they were using Hobbits, and that became known as a murder Hobbit deck because he's killing everything. My partner was playing the Hobbit deck, and like they're really low threat, so nobody engages them, but then they sneak up on them, and if you're lower threat than them, they attack for like 6 or 7. They're like very, very deadly, them Hobbits. Absolutely buck wild. Okay, so anytime that we clear a thing this turn, if we play Unleash, we can draw a card. That's good. That's very, very good. And technically with White Wolf, we can do it again. Potshot is useless. So I think I'm just going to start by using, well, we have to plan because we want to use Supernova Helmet right now first before we do anything. So we can always use Supernova Helmet to play Unleash Nova Force. I think that's fine. It doesn't really change anything. And then once we thwart this, we draw a card and gain a resource functionally, and we ready Nova so we can figure out what to use that on. So we're just going to spend 1 to play Unleash Nova Force, and this is just going to hang out here, and we're doing an Unleash Nova Force turn. What we're going to do is we're going to have a purple die, and we're going to count every time it fires, and at the end of this game, we'll see how many times Unleash Nova Force is fired. And I do want to say, if it fires once or twice, that's already good enough for a single card. I love the Hobbit decks. I have 3 scenarios left. Then back to Marvel Champions. From my understanding, the last scenarios get really quite hard. I was able to pick up the Saga boxes when they were first released, but we didn't have the last one, the Mount Doom one. And so we only picked it up when they remastered it. So we had never got to start the Saga when we got into the game during the pandemic because we just knew we didn't have the last box. It was too hard to find. So hopefully we get to it at some point. All right, we'll thwart for 1. The ready Supernova Helm. We clear the threat. And because of this, we draw a card and ready ourselves. All right, not a useful card so far. We can do it again on Gene Pool, and if we clear this, we put 3 more in there, which we won't be easy to do it again, but we could definitely try. Again, it's a shame that we lost all our threat cards on our first cycle. So this hand, we want to basically figure out how to use Supernova Helmet before we go deeper. We could play Champions Bunker, but I think on this turn, it might actually be better to play White Wolf, because White Wolf is guaranteed to draw us cards and get us resources. So let's go ahead and spend 1. And we'll get rid of these cards, which we know we're not going to play White Wolf and do part of the combo. Notably, this deck list name, there's a couple of memes associated, but generally there's 2 wolves. One of the wolf goes really aggro and fires Unleash Nova Force all the time. We're going to be talking to that wolf today. Okay, so we use this, which is what we want to do. Then we'll we'll let Maria Hill thwart this for 2. She's defeated, but not through consequential, so she doesn't do any Gene Pool stuff. And then we'll thwart for 1 off of this, which clears it. So we ready, we draw a card. We get a Power of Leadership, not super useful. So with this hand, we can do Supernova Helmet and play Miss Marvel, just get her on the table. We have lost our Sidekick so far, our Sidekick, yeah. But we can get on the table, or we know we're going to be drawing a couple more resources here. We can always do White Wolf, so White Wolf will attack. Unus will take 2, which puts 1 threat on the main scheme. But the thing is, we want to do something with our resources before we draw another card here. So we can either play Miss Marvel or play Champions Mobile Bunker. If we play Champions Mobile Bunker, we're going to draw 1 more card. Yeah, I think we just have to play Miss Marvel here. It's still a really good turn, right? So we'll do 1, 2, 3. We might be wasting a resource here. Best case scenario is we draw into a Lightspeed Flight. So she's in play. We want to keep her in play. We just can't do anything until we draw our 1 card that we discarded. And we have 1 more suit up, which is an alter ego play, which if we draw that, we will jump down. But side by sides, I think there's 2 out, and our Sidekick is out too. All right, then we'll thwart for 1. Clearing this. We ready. Hopefully it's a cheap card. This goes to 3. We draw a card. It's a genius. It's useless. All right, so the ride ends here, which means if we played Champions Mobile Bunker, we might have been able to get away with something here, but that's all we can do. The most we can do here is thwart for 2 more. That's not important. So drawing 3 cards, getting 3 resources and 3 ready still is pretty good. But that's going to be the end of this. Technically, this is also to the end of the round. So if you play like a protection deck that knocks things out, like you can go a bit harder with this, which is kind of cool. But that's all she wrote, I think. We waste this resource. Yeah, feels bad. Maybe we should have done the Mobile Bunker and hoped. But this is also bad to draw, especially on a turn where, or in a round where we haven't found our dinosaur friend yet. Okay, so I think we'll just chip on this. So we'll just thwart for 1. And I think that's it. I think we just chill here. We can't use any of these resources. We'll pass. I just want to get through the deck as fast as possible. So we're going to discard this and not hold on to it as much as it's a good card. We'll pass. Still good turn. Good turn. We'll draw it. First, sidearm. So that would be one of the other cards we can draw. This is an easy card that we would have played lovingly with a Supernova Helmet for free. We want to attach that to White Fox. There's the Moon Gull. Oh, they were so close. If we kept on to them, we would have been rewarded. Command team is okay, especially with White Wolf, but all our Unleash Nova forces are out, I think. Jesse Alexander is not really a thing, and suit up means we really want to consider jumping down to alter ego, because this means our last side-by-side will kind of work out for us, which is good. All right, acceleration. 1 here, 2 here. Unus attacks, which, you know, we do get hurt here. We can jump down and recover this round. We could also defend for 2. We don't have a good way of taking threat off of the main, and jumping down, this is going to have 2 on it, and it's going to get 2 more. So we probably just clear the main with Moon Girl, and we're happy. We have access to at least 2 mental icons. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, we'll defend for 2. Our activations are not that useful here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we take 2 damage. 1 encounter card. This surges just as genetic experiments. Yeah. This has to attach to an ally, or sorry, a minion if there's not, it surges. Evil Alliance. Oh yeah, by the way, we're playing with what's it called? We're playing with standard 3, which we haven't in a minute. Why? Because that adds side schemes and it adds minions, which is something we want. But now jumping down, it's even scarier, especially because technically on Unus's activation, if Unus grabs a boost icon that adds 1 thing to this, off of that scheme, our Nemesis will spawn and our Nemesis will scheme against us too, which is like the worst time for this to be on 3. But that also means we actually do, if we draw Dark Design, we get our Nemesis instead of scheming. So maybe it's not the worst thing. It does play around that, which is cool. Your luck this evening, first Miss Marvel off the top, then tossing the Genius, Saturn, and Bone plays. I mean, it happens. We'll still doing okay, I think. Would love to see your deck building Lord of the Rings. I am not good enough at Lord of the Rings to build a confident deck. I think all my time playing Lord of the Rings has been playing recommended decks or net decking. The only deck building I did is with a really small collection, but because I picked up a collection relatively quickly, I never had this sort of like organically growing collection in which I could experience the cards and kind of feel how they were. And because the deck doesn't come with any precons the way it does in Marvel Champions, I was never forced to play the majority of the cards. So a lot of cards I have no experience on. I don't know their names. So deck building is really hard for me. Just very difficult. In hindsight, if we're going to jump down, we shouldn't have defended for 2. We could have just recovered for 3. And that was just a bit better. I'm not sure why we did that. Okay, so our hand is not very good. So I think we're just going to use Supernova Helmet to make a mental. We'll do Jesse Alexander. And I think there's no chance we'll play the command team here. And we'll just play Moon Girl. We are a champion, so we can play her. And we did spend 2 mental resources so we can draw 2 cards, which makes her a fair bit cheaper. So we drew a Civic Duty, which is a great card, and another command team. Okay, cool. Let's get her day. Okay, we have to remember Miss Marvel can replay cards, but I think we're just going to jump down and like play Suit Up and then grab. Who can we grab? We actually can't grab that many people. Yeah, we needed a double here because if we go down and play Suit Up and grab an ally and a card that we can attach, we can grab the sidearm back, which is the only other upgrade we can attach. Oh no, sorry, of course we have to grab Sidekick. So I think we also waste a resource here. So maybe we can play the Civic Duty, but this has been pretty awkward so far. We won't do anything clever with White Fox. We can just use Miss Marvel here to thwart for 1, which should be fine. I think we'll just try and keep this. Oh no, she'll deal with that. But we want to use her because I think we're going to recover next round when we're down there anyways, unless things get really bad. But Moon Girl for sure will thwart. She's a fair bit worse against Unus because blocking with Moon Girl is part of the value. We'll just jump down. Okay. We'll spend 1, 2 for Suit Up. So Alter Ego allows us to search for an ally and a card we can attach to that ally. It would be really nice if we didn't have to discard our hand, because if we grab like Maria Hill, we just can't play her anyways. But of course, we're going to go grab Sidekick. And we're have 1 extra resource here. Our bottom of our deck has 2 copies of Connection to the World Mine, so it's very likely we have a 7-card hand going to the next phase, which is nice. Okay, we will just throw out... Civic Duty is actually pretty good. But we've played 2 Unleashes, right? Mind you, you're not allowed to reorder this pile, but I always do, yeah. So we just have to get through our deck before we do cool stuff. We have 1 more side-by-side. So I don't think we're going to hold on to any of these cards. We'll just make Miss Marvel our sidekick. So if you're not familiar with this, she just gets +2 health. She's on 5 health. And when we recover, she recovers 2, which is nice. We will just go ahead and just thwart for 1 because we can. We can get this to a breakpoint, but it's a breakpoint with Moon Girl, so we'll just clear this. We just want to use her text. Because we want her to do something. Interesting point, Lord of the Rings and deck building. Did you start day 1 of Marvel Champions? No, I didn't. I started in 2022 in October, I think. I picked up the core set after playing the core set for the first time with Pat, who might be in chat still. I played at his house and I thought it was not very good. Years later, I got into it and really enjoyed it. So I was just like picking things up, catching up and playing through all the precon decks. The first thing I bought when it was like a new thing, and more accurately was bought for me as a gift, was Mutant Genesis, which good fan. Can Suit Up grab an ally from the trash? You can, yeah. So we're just going to use Suit Up to grab an ally. The thing is, like, we can't play the ally because we just short on resources. But yeah, search your deck and discard pile for an ally and an upgrade that can be attached to an ally, not that ally. I have the same issue with Arkham Horror. I don't know the card pool well enough to build good decks at all. Arkham Horror, same with Lord of the Rings, and this is what I should be doing, is like just play an Arkham Horror campaign with cards that came out with that campaign in the core set. They're all meant to be beatable with that small card pool, and it forces you to interact with the card pool. And generally that card pool interacts favorably with the stuff that came out around that time. I highly recommend that. All right, Lightspeed Flight. That's perfect because we have some threats here on this table, especially with 3. So that's a good breakpoint. Connection to the World Mind. This is fantastic. This doesn't count as our hand size. Pot Shot also means if we draw an ally, a minion, we can knock it out. We have the last side by side, so we're about to do some sicko mode stuff, which is great. Civic Duty, that's the last one. We did have the 8 hand size, which I did think that's going to come up. So this is another copy that doesn't count for a hand size. So we only have 4 cards in our hand. Strength and Kid Omega. So we're going to have a good turn here. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a good turn. We just have to make sure we figure out what the best turn is. And with 8 cards in hand, it can be a bit tricky. Even if our Nemesis shows up, I think we're happy. So this goes to 2 because of acceleration. This goes to 1. One of these dies are weighted. You can generally tell, oh my God, this is like 6 times as heavy as this. Unus Schemes, 2 in a card, no attachments. So it doesn't get worse than that. 1, 2. 3, 4, Last Hunted, that's good. That's a card that's hard to deal with because we have to go down to Alter Ego. So this goes to, 6? 1 encounter card, Nemesis, 1 time. Wait, how do we do this? This is perfect. So plays 1 pursuit counter, but if there's 4 or more, the villain, our Nemesis, comes into play, which actually might be a good turn, as much as we don't have Unleash the Nova Force, but that's so funny because that's technically the worst thing there. That's absurd. Okay, hold on. What's our Nemesis do again? It's Warbringer. I only played on Standard, Expert, but I haven't played on Standard 3 yet. So I've only seen Warbringer once or twice. So Nemesis 5 health. When Warbringer attacks you, that won't happen. He gets +1 attack for each card with a printed wild resource in your hand with Overkill. Okay, 5 health. We'll pot shot that. We don't have an Unleash Nova Force, but Unleash Nova Force on this turn would have been just buck wild. Bring the war. Scheme. So when revealed, each player discards 1 card they control. Oh, this card's really bad. With a printed wild resource. For each card they discard this way, place 1 threat here. So each player discards 1 card they control. So control's not our hand, I don't think. We'll shuffle these into the deck. Some of these have no boost icon, which is kind of alarming. So we don't control our hand, I don't think. So the only card we can discard is Sidekick or Supernova Helmet. And notably when this says with a printed resource, it doesn't mean in the resource box. It just means on the text. So that means we can just get rid of Supernova Helmet and grab it back because we're in Alter Ego. So this is a good time to draw this. Actually, a really good time to draw this. So we're just going to get rid of our helmet. It just costs us a resource this turn. That's it. It just says lose a resource functionally. And I think we have more resources than things to do with it. This comes in with 3 threat. Oh man, this one is such a good turn to pop off. So we'll discard this. It's back to us. Not too bad. It's actually a very good jump down for us. So look at this. We can clear the whole table with just this 1 side-by-side and this many cards in hand. But no matter what, the first thing we have to do is connection to the World Mind to do Alter Ego to bring back Supernova Helmet. Okay, cool. So that's there. Okay, so to do our thing, we're going to have to play this card a couple times. We have a double, so we definitely want to side-by-side it once. Yeah, we have a lot of things to do. We only have 1 double here, so we're going to play this at full cost once. Our deck is about to deck out on this cycle, so we have no reason to keep Moon Girl around. Like, we want to get her into the bin, so she'll thwart for 2. So we're just going to do a lot of cleaning up here. There's a chance that our cleaning up won't be the best cleaning up, because it's actually really hard to math up what is the mathematical best cleaning up, and whether it's a turn to fire Adrenaline Rush, definitely not. Whether it's a turn to fire Civic Duty, probably not. Notably, when we clear this, this goes up to 4, which is a breakpoint, but we can deal with that. Shouldn't be an issue. The big thing here is every time we play side-by-side, we kind of go to the moon. First time seeing Nova, they seem fun. I think Nova's definitely fun, but the thing is, like, once you see Nova do its thing, that's the only thing Nova does. How's it going, by the way, sipping tea? But it's definitely interesting. I'm gonna take a second here, and I think we can actually greedily recover, which is kind of fun. So I'll recover for 3. First, actually, we'll use Miss Marvel, so she can attack at least for 1. That actually hits a breakpoint on Warbringer, so she'll attack for 1. And then when we recover, we heal 3. And because we have Sidekick, Miss Marvel heals for 2, which is just good enough. So Miss Marvel goes up to 5. She can have 5. We'll flip up. Okay, so we only have 1 Supernova helmet. No, that's not true. We're going to have a bunch of Supernova helmets. So the first thing we want to do is we just play side by side. And now we're going to do the combo. So this is how this works. We play this. It says, ready your Sidekick. Okay, it's a cost. We have to do that. Ready your hero. That's really important because every time we're ready, we can use Supernova Helmet. Now we can either heal 1 damage from both characters or give both characters +1 attack and +1 thwart until the end of the phase. We don't need to heal her. We don't need to heal ourselves that much. So I'm actually going to go for the +1. So we hit a breakpoint on this, which will be multiplied by everything we do this turn. So we're going to remember that we have +1 to our thwart and attack stat. Next, Miss Marvel is going to fire and we're going to exhaust her. And we're going to do 1 damage, not that Miss Marvel, this one. And we're going to return this to our hand. And you kind of see the thing. We got to do this over and over and over again. And before we attack and thwart for 2, we can remember we should use Supernova Helmet. So we're just going to exhaust this and play our copy of Potshot. And we're just going to shoot Warbringer. Got him. These villains that don't have quick strike that say when they attack do something, they got better at designing more interesting villains, but it's like usually they don't. So why have that text? I guess, you know, technically standard 3 makes that a bit more likely because you can draw them at the wrong time. But yeah, I don't know. I like our nemesis to have more text than that. Okay, we can now thwart for 2. We can make ourselves attack for 3. I think we're just going to try and clean the board up. Now 2 is not the best breakpoint on this board, so we could play Civic Duty, but I don't think we're going to. Again, not on Unleash Nova Force turn. We'll just thwart for 2 off of this, I think. Okay, this refills Supernova Helmet. We'll do, and just do the same combo. Like, we just can keep doing this over and over again. So we're ready, Miss Marvel. We're ready ourselves. We can give ourselves +1 again, or we can heal 1 from each. I guess we'll heal 1 from us and heal 1 from her. Then we'll do 1 damage to her, exhaust her, and return this to her hand. You see how this goes? This is really good. You technically can just do this over and over again, especially with adrenaline rushes and civic duties. So then we'll thwart for, well, we should use Supernova Helmet first, so we will. We could play King Omega, but I think it's just cheaper to do a light speed flight. Like, allies are a bit less good. Like, if you can chump block with the allies, play your ally, but we'll just remove 3 threat. We'll clear, bring the war. Then we'll thwart for 2. Clear this. That readies this. We'll use this plus the next card to play side by side. We functionally do a damage, heal a damage. We can't heal from us. We're ready. We'll exhaust. We'll put this back in our hand. We'll thwart for 2. These breakpoints are a bit awkward. So Moon Girl, I think she'll thwart for 2 off of this. We'll thwart for 2 off this, clearing it. Endless ranks. So when this is cleared, we place 3 threat here, which means he gets retaliate. Okay, this is ready. We'll spend 1. And this, for this we have no reason to add back into our hand. Actually, no, we probably should add this back to the hand. That's a weird thing. It's like, you probably should just add this back into your hand and hold it because it's the best thing you can do. So I will actually do 1 damage to Miss Marvel to return this to her hand. We are ready. We'll thwart for 2. In fact, we can give ourselves +1 thwart. Yeah, let's just give ourselves +1 thwart and not heal her. So that means she would be at 3 health. That's acceptable. Because we can just get White Widow to die to the thing. That's fine. So now we're ready and we have 3 attack, 3 thwart. This feel like a poor man's Unleashed Nova Force. I know, but imagine we had an Unleashed Nova Force. Like, it's bonkers. Just bonkers if we had an Unleashed Nova Force. That turn we cleared 1, 2. We can clear 1, 2, 3, 4 side schemes and a minion. And we like keep drawing cards. And every time you draw a card, it's a free side by side. It's nonsense. Like, leadership is nonsense. Here, we can use White Wolf, which is kind of fun. I think we can. So we'll just use White Wolf. We'll attack for 2. Actually, wait. We'll wait for retaliate. We'll thwart for 3. And then she should be ready. No, we return this to her hand. Then we'll attack for 2 into the villain. Oh, it's pouring outside. You can just hear the rain right now. It's coming down hard outside. That'll add 1 threat here. Success. It sounds like we're underwater. Give me 1 moment. It just started raining so hard. All right, so there's a precedent around these places that when the weather gets bad, we sometimes lose power. So if the stream just cuts out, I'm fine. We just lost power. It happens. We're in an old neighborhood with old infrastructure. If that happens, don't worry about it too much. We'll be totally fine. But yeah, it just happens. That's it. We'll pass. That was a turn. Notably, we had a lot of resources and we have a lot of moving parts. Like, that's not as good as it sounds because we basically just pay a resource to thwart for 2. It's not awful, but yeah, Unleashed Nova Force makes it good. We'll hold on to this. It's the best card in the whole game. Finally caught the live. What are we playing? Yo, Phantom Flip, how's it going? We're playing Leadership, White Wolf, Miss Marvel, Recursion with side by side, and it's a really strong, interesting combo. All right, pot shot. We haven't seen a minion yet, but this does shoot them. We have call for backup. This is a really nice to get one of our side schemes into play because when we clear this, we can just go ahead and get Nick Fury and just keep drawing. Specialized training. It sucks to get these both together because we can only put 1 into play. This one technically is more important. And then our last card in which we deck out is an energy, which doesn't really help that much. We get an encounter card, we shuffle. So our Unleashed Nova Forces are back. Do you build your own decks for MC or net deck? 90% I build my own decks. 10% I net deck, especially when I see something interesting. I think we net decked a deck on stream like 2 weeks ago. A lot of times I will build something and then like for, you know, just to make sure I'm not missing an obvious card, I'll like look online and see other people who have built something similar. There is definitely Sidekick decks on Marvel CDB, but I usually do like building stuff more myself. I really like, there's a bunch of deck builders I definitely shout out that I really enjoy their stuff, which is like usually more interesting, like weird interactions and cool combo points. I wonder how this works with Quicksilver using Cameo to snag Miss Marvel. Yeah, probably pretty good. I know there's an infinite where you grab Miss Marvel and like Spider Ham or something, but Miss Marvel can cause infinite problems with Cameo. This combo feels like there's a big Cameo combo use there. Yeah, I do think Spider Ham can break it because Spider Ham is a 0 cost draw 3 or something. And as long as you can do Sidekick over and over again, I think there's an infinite there. I forget exactly it, but Miss Marvel is definitely one of the like Cameo problems, if you want to call it that. But yeah, she's just absurd. Sidekick and her, just absurd. Anybody who can play it can do something ridiculous. And then, yeah, friction resistance generator or whatever it is, or Nova, means that every ready gives you a resource, which obviously makes it a lot better. All right, 3, 2. Notably, that whole turn we healed. We did recover, and we technically didn't need to recover because at the end of the day, we we healed a fair bit and we wasted some healing, giving ourselves plus stats. So it's up to us to figure out if that works. Villains attacking for 2 in a card. We're at full health with a side by side in our hand. We'll take it 1, 2, 3. Okay, we wanted that. That was a minion. 2 encounter cards. Did they errata suit up? My copy says to search for an ally and upgrade that can be attached to that ally. Lefty Cat, how's it going? Yes, they did. It was in the recent FAQ. What they realized is that there was an issue where there's certain cards can only be attached to an ally once that ally is played because it gets your stats and stuff like that. So there's like weird conditionals that were just a bit unintuitive, and they wanted to make it as open as possible. So the modern rules text, which I don't think it's been reprinted like that or ever will maybe, just says that can attach to an ally. My card says the same thing. But they did change it because it's a nice change. There's just like weird edge cases where it doesn't work. Spider-Ham with Wiccan. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, Spider-Ham with Wiccan and Petulant Pig. That's the one I've seen. All right, Endless Ranks is back. I thought we just saw this. So this is just a bunch of threat to deal with. We don't mind that. Sinister Strike. Okay, we're getting hit again. We can't die to this attack. The most can be 5. So place 1 counter on your thing when it hits 4. Whatever Warbringer comes back. So Unus is going to attack us. We could exhaust here to block if we wanted to. In terms of what we're doing this turn, the answer is play side by side a whole lot of times. It's more likely what we're going to do this turn is play Call for Backup just so we can get more cards into our hand. Because if we do Call for Backup, how do we clear it? We'd have to do White Wolf plus herself. Or we could side by side it a bunch of times. That's the problem. It's like side by siding over and over again is better than most of this hand. But Call for Backup gets us Nick and Nick gets us something. I think we definitely want to set this up. Notice we're not pushing damage. That is technically an issue. But I think we want to set up for this and then just clear the table. So I think we're going to block for 2 here. Jumping down is a lot harder in this deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we take 2. Gotcha, cool. Yeah, it's a cool change. I think Villain Theory was talking about that, and it was like one of the reasons why that happened. All right, not a lot of threat on the table in obvious ways. This is the thing is you have to exhaust Miss Marvel for be able to play Sidekick. So one of the things you can do is like play Pot Shot and just return it to your hand. That's probably better than thwarting 1 as much as a resource in her hand, and a resource in her hand goes further than her thwarting for 1, technically, because it gives us a resource back. I think that's my intuitive math, as much as I haven't done it. So we're going to use Supernova Helmet just to play Pot Shot. This just does 4 to Unus, which like get him, and then we're going to use Miss Marvel where we exhaust her and do a damage to return it to our hand. Cool. That is because, sorry, not her, but technically her. That is because now we can do a double. It's good to have a double here just to do side by side, and we do the whole loop again. Buckle up. So we're going to ready each of us. We're going to recover 1 health from each of us, and then we're going to exhaust her and do a damage to add it back to our hand. Yeah. We are now going to thwart for only 1. Not amazing, but we'll just keep these down. This actually matters more, because once this hits 3, a bad thing happens. So we'll thwart for 1. That ready Supernova Helmet. So we'll do Supernova Helmet plus Pot Shot for Sidekick. Readies. We heal 1. She heals 1. She takes the damage, adds it back to her hand. It's not good unless you play Civic Duty or have a Unleash Nova Force. We'll do it again. We'll just bring this one down 1. She should be exhausted. That readies this. We do the same combo. We'll do this combo instead. This will be added back to our hand. We recover 1. We're ready. Do we actually add this back to our hand? No, we don't. So I don't think we add this back to our hand. So Miss Marvel will be ready on 3 health because I don't think we're going to play it again. All we're going to do here is play this, Call for Backup. It's in play, 3 threat. When it cleared, we go grab an ally, which means we can get a Nick. Nick is good. And then here, we're going to just do the last thing. Noticeably how we healed a bunch this turn, which is good. We'll just thwart for 1 into this, I guess. We've seen 1 Dark Design before. And I think that's it. We don't have to do anything with White Wolf. We could. We probably should. F it. There's 2 wolves in us, and one of them is a White Wolf. So we're just going to attack for 2 into the villain. which puts 1 here, which is not the best thing to do. In fact, actually, no, it's a bad thing to do because Unleash Nova Force is going to be a problem because this will hit 4 and 4 is a bad breakpoint. So we won't do that. We'll pass. We could do Miss Marvel. She could technically attack for 1. That puts her on 1 health, which is a bit like flimsy because then you can't like get her out of the combo in a good way. Been loving Psylocke with her training regimen with how many skills there are nowadays. I couldn't tell you what skills there are in the game. I know she has like 3 and they're not my favorite part of her kit. I just couldn't tell you which ones are skills that you can actually play in like aspected decks. All right, another Adrenaline Rush, which I promise you this will be good at some point. Command Team, whatever, genius. Lightspeed Flight, that's the thwart one. Civic Duty. More like it is duty, this hand. Okay. This goes to 3. This goes to 2. Unus is still attacking us. We are still taking the hits to the face. So this turn, what can we do? White Wolf can thwart this for 2. We can thwart it for 1, draw 3 cards, and Nick. That probably puts us around, but actually no, we probably just like Supernova Helmet into this thing, which means we likely can block here. We didn't draw side by side, which is why I didn't hold on to it. We could have held on to it, but we have 2 more in the deck, so we don't have to be precious. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the next Infinite Pellets. We take 2 and counter card. Oh, this is a bad one. This one means we have to go down to Alter Ego. This is a really bad obligation. So this says, give to Sam Alexander. While this card's in play, you just can't ready the helmet, and you have to exhaust Sam and Alter Ego. And we're bad at getting an Alter Ego, let alone we just exhausted ourselves as much as we could draw side by side. This is a very bad obligation. It's cost me games where you just can't get rid of this. So we're just going to thwart a lot this turn and jump down. We don't mind grabbing Nick Fury and jumping down in this turn because we're not going to block with Nick Fury. Okay. I think we're going to keep it simple. Supernova Helmet, Lightspeed Flight. Now we could use this to draw more cards, and I think we will. Because we use this to clear call for backup to get Nick. Like we functionally spent 3 thwart to get 2 thwart. But more importantly, it gives us a hand that's more playable. And if we find another side by side, we can actually get rid of the weight of the world this turn, which would be nice. Jumping down is going to be a bit tricky. We can always thwart 2 with White Wolf. It shouldn't be the end of the world. And we've seen 1 Dark Design before. So I will just clear call for backup. Not my favorite, but what can you do? So this just says, added to the victory display. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for an ally and put into play. We're just going to go ahead and get, not Moon Girl, because she doesn't work, functionally. We'll just go get Nicholas Fury. Okay, Nick says when enters play, draw 3 cards. And notably, it doesn't say enter play from hand, which some cards do. This can just fire. Also, Command Team is really good with Nick. That's one of the things with Nick is usually you only activate once with Nick. And I've been appreciating Command Team just to be able to make Nick do 4 before he chump blocks, or at least not in this scenario, which we might actually play on this turn if we don't draw into something great, because we still have the double for this. But yeah, side by side would be the best thing we can draw here. Oh, we can decide whether we wanted to Miss Marvel back the Lightspeed Flight to hand to give her 1 damage. For 1 thwart, it's probably not more impactful, but I don't think we will. I think actually we can decide with Nick Fury first. Let's see what we draw, because I'm pretty sure this is happening in the same resolution. Unleash Nova Force. I think we bring this back. I think we're doing it. This turn actually got good. Strength, fine. Suit up, useless. So we'll use Miss Marvel's text. We'll give her a damage and we'll return this to hand. Okay, let's have fun. So far our counter's at 3. Let's see how much more we can do. Not the easiest turn to do it. With a Civic Duty, we have some good breakpoints here. Do we have a wild in our hand? We don't have a wild in our hand. Awkward, and this thing can't ready. It actually might be irresponsible to do Unleash Nova Force on this turn, but I think we'll do a small Unleash Nova Force. Unleash Nova Force is so much better when Supernova Helmet readies, but we can't ready it. But this means we can clear the board, jump down, and get our helmet ready. So it's going to cost us resources, but hey, what do we have? We have resources. So we'll play this. We'll pitch the suit up. We'll play on Unleash Nova Force. So for the rest of this turn, whenever we defeat or something or remove the last threat, we do a thing. Currently, we're at 3. Let's do a Sapper Tracker to see how many times we can fire this one. Okay, so first thing first, doesn't really matter. We'll just do this double to Lightspeed Flight because we have to play a double for this. And we're just going to remove 3 threat from this. So we remove 3 threat, which we get to do a thing. We get a ready. We don't get this, and this fires once. We draw a Civic Duty. Nice. I can't wait to challenge counters that deter chump blocking like Unus after Echo hits more shelves. Hits store shelves? Why specifically with Echo? I like that all the time. Like I really don't like chump blocking that much. Okay, so now we want to clear something else. We could get this to 2 and then clear it. No, it's kind of hard. We have awkward breakpoints here. We might have to fire Civic Duty just to be able to clear this. And if we clear Civic Duty, we can also clear this, which is probably worth it. So we also could like command team into Nick Fury, which might be better. So I'm going to throw one Adrenaline Rush out for a Civic Duty. And I think we're just going to crack it. So for the rest of this turn, we have +1 thwart. So we are now slightly bigger on thwart. So we're 2 thwart. Which means, and mind you, we don't, like the Supernova helmet would have gone hard. We'll thwart this for 2, which clears it. So we draw a card. We don't ready our helmet. Nice. That's a free card. 1 second. Oh, Ronin. Yeah, Ronin for sure. The new green cards. Yeah, that makes sense. You can play that as you will already, but yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from there. I forgot about Ronin. I'm very excited for that. Picked a bunch of rocket cards while crafting. What other ones do we have? We have Adrenaline Rush. Am I missing rocket on one of our cards? Okay. What are we doing here? Well, we can do the White Wolf thing. So White Wolf will attack Unus for 2. Unus takes 2. We put 1 threat on this. We can just thwart it. Clears, draws a card. Readies. Power of Leadership. Okay. As a wild icon, we could have used that before. Okay. Nick Fury will thwart for 2. Will thwart for 2. Civic Duty is pretty good. We'll clear Endless Ranks. When it's cleared, we have to put 3 threat on Gene Pool. We go to 4. Ready. Draw a card. It's so good. Unleash Nova Force is so goofy. And we're not running our helmet. Okay, I think the Champion's Mobile Bunker is less good than using Nick one more time. So I'm going to play Command Team for a double. This card comes in with a whole bunch of counters. And we can exhaust it and use a counter to ready an ally. So we will. We're going to ready Nick, which is a much better way to get value from Nick. Nick will thwart for 2 here. And we'll clear it. Draw a card. It's good fun. Okay, so what's the most efficient thing we can do with the hand? We can dump this whole hand, so we can play Champion's Bunker and we can play Civic Duty. That's fine. We can hold on to the connection to the World Mind, but we don't need to. But the table is clear, and we can jump down. So far, we fired Unleash Nova Force 5 times this turn, starting on the hand that was nothing. Yeah, I think that's all we do. So I guess we have to do this in hero mode. We do 1, 2, and we'll play Champion's Mobile Bunker. We could fire this now, but I actually don't think we do. Because if we draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, I'm happy with these cards. And if the cards that we discard are like Unleash Nova Force, we just waste them. And these are cards we're happy wasting. So we'll flip down. We'll do Weight of the World. So we have to just exhaust ourselves. And this removes it from the game, so it's never coming back. That's good. And then I'll just play the last Civic Duty, which is a very valuable card, as you saw there. Like the breakpoints matter so much, and we'll pass. All right, we're at 8 for how many times we fired our thing. This is in our discard pile. Nick should have been exhausted. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good turn, I think. We'll draw, could be up to 7 cards. 7 cards. There's another Unleash Nova Force Maria. Moon Girl's here with this mental icons, a pot shot. I think we can not defeat the villain because we cleared the table, but with Hunting Gene Traders and the other thing, it's really good. So this is 6 cards, 7 cards of side by side. We might have it here. Did you forget to ready the helmet? No, because we couldn't, because we had our obligation. Our obligation just said we can't ready the helmet anymore. We now got rid of it. So now the helmet is ready. We had it once on the first action, but after that, it doesn't exhaust. So like on that turn, as good as that turn was, we lost 5 resources and we still had a really good turn. All right, 1. We didn't draw any thwarting, but hey, Mobile Bunker can get there. 1. Unus schemes for 2 in a card. 1, 2, 3. Didn't draw any of those yet. 4. Counter card. Why do we always draw Dark Designs when you jump down? Why every time we jump down, we draw Dark Designs? So this goes to 2. The villain schemes for 2 in a card like clockwork. 1, 2. Boost on this, I think, is stunned. So War Weary, stun yourself. We don't like stun. Stun's really bad for us, but that's only 2 threat here. So this goes to 6. Okay. All right. Okay. Not too bad. So the stun's annoying. Unleash Nova Force can fire at least... Well, we have to clear this. If we can clear this, and mind you, Nick is gone, we can make it fire 3 times because we can do the White Wolf thing. And notably, White Wolf has been almost all of our damage here. I think we just want to start with playing Moon Girl and seeing what happens. But we do want to take a bunch of threat off of here so that we can do our thing. We could recover for 3. If we recover for 3, we have to ready ourselves with side by side, which seems like totally fine. And we also can draw deeper with Champion's Mobile Bunker. The one thing we want to find is Lightspeed because Lightspeed clears this pretty easily. So I think we do recover here because Miss Marvel's a bit hurt. So Let's just recover. I think we're fine. This goes down to 1 thwart. I don't think we have to do anything absurd here. So we'll recover for 3. And then Miss Marvel recovers for 2 on the way. Okay. We're good health. We'll jump up. We'll just go ahead and generate a mental, and a wild, and we'll play our friend Moon Girl. She draws 3 cards. 1 sidearm, nice. 2 Jesse, and then force field. So we didn't draw anything good. I think our bottom 5 cards have 2 of our 3 thwart cards. Side by side, Lightspeed Flight, pot shot. Oh, sorry, only 1. Okay. Swear and Soul, I always draw scheme activations in all 3 go. Never happens in multiplayer. Me too. And that's how you lose. Shout out to good old Rhino. So that goes there. All right. She has 3 health. So Moon Girl's Moon Girl, right? What is the name of the dinosaur? Also, why dinosaur? I know nothing about this character either. But seems really cool. I know she's a genius herself. Okay, so the question is, do we play Unleash Nova Force this turn? I think we can. The question is, should we? We have to ready ourselves, which means we have to play side by side. So that means we have to just play side by side as a double. We have no more doubles left in the deck. So there's no chance we're playing these 2. So we have to exhaust Miss Marvel first. So Miss Marvel will just thwart for 1. We could have returned an event back to our hand, but I don't want to play any of these events. So Miss Marvel will thwart for 1. Then we'll spend 2 for side by side. You know the trick. So we will ready ourselves. We'll ready her. We will heal 1 damage from each of us. Actually, we probably can just give ourselves +1 thwart, which puts us a 2 thwart, which is a lot better. So we'll give ourselves both +1 stat line. Then we'll exhaust her and deal with damage. I don't think I healed her. So I think she should be on 3 because she was on 4, 3. No, then she should be on 2. And we'll add this back to our hand. Okay, so we will. I guess we could Champion's Mobile Bunker here first. Yeah, we should. Why shouldn't we? We should get us through our deck faster. So Champion's Mobile Bunker will choose us. We'll draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Okay, so Pot Shot is just free damage. We have no reason to play Kid Omega or this command team, so we'll get rid of them. Moon Girl's also a nice target for command team as well, because we don't want to jump block in this scenario. Okay, we'll thwart for 1 off of this, which... Wait, hold on, we won't. I forgot, this is not our Unleash Nova Force turn. Unless it is. Unless it is. We have to get through our deck. Yeah, we should just get deck out and do this. Stream share. Yo, Matapper, how's it going? When you say that, where do you share the stream? We'll just play Unleash Nova Force. I guess the sidearm is less necessary here. So we're Unleash. We'll get more dice here. So let's start. We'll thwart for 2 off of Gene Pool. Clears Gene Pool. We ready? We ready. We draw a card. We get a force field projector. Not super useful. Okay. Now every time, though, we get a resource, which makes the side-by-side angle a fair bit more profitable. We want to finish this one, so we're going to do thwart for 2. She takes 2. Maybe we should just give ourselves +1 health, actually. We will go ahead and command team to ready Moon Girl to do it again, to drop it to 1. We want her to hit the discard pile before we deck out. This is the only way to do it. Shout out to command team. That's cool. We will have to spend this first. Why do I throw out the gun? Wait. Why did I throw the gun out? I guess we'll just do damage. That's better. So we'll use Supernova Helmet to do pot shot into the villain. We can defeat the villain this turn too. That'll be good. So the villain takes 4. Yeah, that's actually really quite good. The thing is we have to do it ourselves. So we're going to delay White Wolf by a second. This is still our hand. We'll thwart for 2 off of this, which clears it, which does this, draws a card. Sick. Okay. Next, we will just attack Unus, but first we should use our Supernova Helmet. I don't know why we threw out the 1-cost sidearm. We have no good way to use this resource this turn on this action, so we can't. I guess if that's the case, we should just play side by side. No, but we're not exhausted. Yeah. Oh, Facebook. Oh, wild. Thank you. Oh, it's Devil Dinosaur. I should have known that. That's a Marvel Champions card. It works really good with Moon Girl. My niece watched the animated series and told me a bit about it. Apparently, he loves street hot dogs. Okay, that's cool. I guess we're going to waste an activation off of this. I think we should have kept the sidearm because a 1-cost playable is really good on a turn like this. So we'll attack Unus, and we technically defeat Unus, which means we get to do our things. This goes 1. We draw a card. We're here. Power of Leadership. That's fine. We have these cards, and Unus advances. Unus 3. Nothing really different. Comes in with a toughness, and now it just has 18 health and all the same text. So not a big spike in difficulty. We can't waste an attack here. We want a pot shot, but I think, unfortunately, we have to waste an attack. Yeah, I guess we just attack with White Wolf, which sucks. But White Wolf is going to attack. into Unus just to take the toughness off. We fire the text, which puts 1 threat here. Before we do anything, we're going to use Supernova to do another pot shot, which is just 4 damage into Unus. Okay. We will now thwart 1 into this. Oh, we were stunned. Hold on, we were stunned. So the attack doesn't work. So when we attack, the stun comes off. We can't defeat it. And then we have to pot shot into the Unus. So I'm going to rewind that because I forgot we were stunned. So the pot shot into the Unus would have happened first, which would have advanced us. So I think all we do is lose 4 damage here. Okay. Now we clear this. So we do this, draw another card, and we deck out with this in our hand. We drew a Lightspeed Flight as our last card. Bummer. Might have scuffed that. I always got to share that stuff for my Canadian homies. It's easier than leaving a like on a podcast. Thanks, Matapper. Okay. Unfortunately, your hand is just basically side-by-side spam, which means we'll probably crack an Adrenaline Rush on this turn just to go to the races. Okay. We're going to crack an Adrenaline Rush. It's a good enough turn to do it because this will be cashed in for like 3 or 4 value. We could have considered cashing it in before we cycled. I think it probably was right. So I think let's just say that we crack this to shuffle it back in our deck. Do we want to draw this? No, let's not. But we could have cracked that before we shuffled. It might have been right. So now technically we have 3 attack. So we're going to attack for 3 into Unus. Cool. There's nothing we can play intelligently with Supernova Helmet, so we waste a resource here. Well, Supernova Helmet plus Lightspeed Flight to play side by side. And you know how this works. We're just going to do this a fair bit. So we're going to ready ourselves and her. We're going to recover 1, and we're going to recover 1 from her. And then she takes a damage and exhausts to return this card back to our hand. We're going to attack for 3 into the villain. We're going to ready this. We're going to tap this and a card, I guess, to play side by side, which readies us, heals 1 from us. In theory, actually, if we hit a breakpoint here, could we get to 4? Yeah. So when we do side by side the next time, we're going to ready Miss Marvel. We're going to do a damage to her to return this card to her hand, but we're going to give ourselves both +2 attack, and she's exhausted. So now we technically have 1, 2, 3, 4 attack. We'll attack for 4 into the villain, ready Supernova Helmet. Then we'll use Supernova Helmet. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. And I guess the Power of Leadership to play side by side, which we will heal 1 from us, heal 1 from her, ready. We'll do 1 damage to her, return this card to our hand. We'll attack for 4 into the villain. That readies this. We'll play this into side by side to play this side by side. This one will ready both of us. And there's no reason to do damage with her. So we'll give ourselves +1 attack again. We'll attack for, no, hold on. She'll attack for 1, 2, 3. No matter what, we defeat it. We'll attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think for 5. It's 4 or 5, I forget, because we have our Adrenaline Rush. But the villain's defeated, which means we draw another card. Not the cleanest there at the ending, but that's how it goes, right? Like you stack up these cards and then you just fire off. In this game, we did 2 deck cycles. We fired Unleash Nova Force 13 times. And we didn't have a good opening. We had a really awkward opening, a very weird, awkward opening, but an awkward opening. But side by side is just nonsense, just straight nonsense. Originally, this was a White Wolf deck, and then I was like, oh, Miss Marvel is good. We can recur cards. So then I wanted to basically play Miss Marvel to recur the card that readies White Wolf, right? Again, I forget the name of the card, but it's a 0-cost leadership card that just says ready an ally. And I wanted to use a White Wolf Miss Marvel to replay that card to ready White Wolf to ready. It's not even that good, though, because there's no way to make White Wolf do more than just like attacking straight on. But every time you do that with White Wolf, you attack for like 3, ready, draw, ready, draw, ready, draw, and then that's it. Like it's kind of cool. But then you realize side by side just kind of does that as well. That's the deck. Link in the description, but it's been pretty good. It's been like surprisingly good. As much as you do want a scenario with enough like small side schemes and small minions, as much as we saw like 1 minion all game and it was our nemesis, which, ooh, I dropped something. That's kind of good. Get ready to the event. Yeah, that's the one. And it's like not bad with White Wolf. It's technically like a card to give yourself a resource, and 2 to 3 damage if you upgrade White Wolf, which we never got the sidearm onto White Wolf. Can we attach the sidearm to ourselves? No, to an ally. Okay. You can't attach Inspired to yourself. How do you give yourself +1 attack? Besides our specialization? Is there any way in leadership just to give you +1 attack? I don't think so. I guess like Moxie and lead from the front and stuff like that, which would have been good too. Cool. All right. So what time is it? We've been streaming for only an hour and a half. So I'm going to go on and do Zola, which is a fun scenario because the minions get bigger. and they get retaliate, which are both downsides for a bunch of different reasons. Zola doesn't hit that hard, but it's good to have the pistol here, and we'll see how consistently we can set up. Morale boost. I think that's the one I couldn't figure out the name of. That's the 1-cost one, right? Yeah. Morale boost. It's like morale boost or lead by the front, and lead from the front is probably a bit worse because we only really want to boost ourselves. But actually, like boosting technically with command team, boosting White Wolf is not bad with command team. Yeah, so I could see both of them being okay. Lead from the run, R&D facility, Moxie. Moxie's harder because you have to flip. R&D facility is a card I haven't played, so she's a friendly character. Oh wow. Oh, that's expensive, but wow, that's not a card I've ever considered playing. I could see why you'd want that on a serial readier for obvious reasons. But yeah, I wonder if you can just like this card to me kind of feels the same idea as playing like Black Panther leadership and just keeping a ready from the front or whatever it's called on it, right? Like those are similar ideas. And this used to be in the deck, and instead we're playing Kid Omega tonight, as much as we haven't played Kid Omega yet. Ooh, it's boiling in here. There's a bit of a red tint to the camera right now because it's just auto color balancing, but it's warm. Oh, Infinite Hunter would have been really bad. That's a really bad encounter card. Just knocks out one of our combo pieces. Okay, let's just shuffle out the cards that we need to, and we'll go on to do the next thing. But you'll notice like we do struggle to jump down to Alter Ego. And if a scenario provides you a card that you have to jump down to Alter Ego, like our Nemesis set, we're very lucky this has 11 threat. You usually don't get that, right? And like, yeah, you can put a stun or confuse card into the deck. Probably should, specifically a confuse card. Because yeah, jumping down is really tricky. R&D is great for Hill Hero and 4-player. Is it a shield card? Ooh, that's cool. This is also a cool card that you wouldn't fire every turn. And yeah, in multiplayer, I could see that being great just to get like that breakpoint. But also you can exhaust this for like that leadership resource that exhausts cards that share a trait with you, like supports, I think, and allies. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's correct. Yeah, should be 10. Nemesis set. Didn't see any of the cards besides the 2. Arnhem Zola. Why is the dinosaur called Devil? Because it's red? Like imagine Clifford the Big Red Dog was called Devil Dog. You'd be confused. Villain named Zola too. Zola's a fun scenario, like generally a very interesting scenario, especially for how early it came out. And actually the core set has some really good scenarios in it. So coming in here, we have a bunch of setup too, but when revealed, search for a thing. Otherwise, low numbers, 14 health was really low for the time, but the retaliate one is the thing that sneaks up on you. And luckily we have a way to give some of our allies ranged, which helps. Hydra Prison, I guess we're doing this all in the wrong order. Hold on, we can do this better. Does this button work anymore? Did I break it? Yeah, I broke it. Hold on. So our overlay is a bit broken, it seems. I don't know why. Okay, so Zola has a whole bunch of minions, 10 minions, as much as 25 encounters. That's like a thing that happened back in the day. Under attack is also scary. We never want to keep an ally on 1 health because concussive blast can just knock them out. As much as now we're allowed to chump block, which does actually really help the survivability of this deck. So Zola's scheme, this will be in play, this will be in play. We have 2 side schemes here, so we can blow out the first one. Oops, I'm typing in an unknown box. The Island of Dr. Zola. So our contents, Zola and Under Attack from the core set. This is the only scenario that's ever reused an encounter set from the core set, which is wild. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. They used some of the unused ones with Hydra, I think, right? So search encounter deck for Hydra Prison and reveal it. So we're gonna have to unlock Miss Marvel, which will slow down the combo a fair bit. Each player searches the counter deck for a copy of Ultimate Bioservant and puts into play Engage with them, shuffle in the counter deck. So we have a bunch of things we have to deal with. So let's talk about the Hydra Prison first, because it is in this orientation. So Hydra Prison just comes in with 1 threat plus 3 threat, because this searches your deck and your entire deck before the game starts for your ally, your unique ally. Some decks this doesn't matter. Technically, if you're playing campaign, if you don't liberate your ally, there's some downsides to it. For us, it doesn't exactly matter, but we want to get Miss Marvel. Now, when you clear this, Miss Marvel just enters your hand and this is removed. It's nice to start with a side scheme on the table, especially one that doesn't have active horrible text, because it just means Unleash Nova Force is more consistent, especially because 4 is a breakpoint we can get with our basic plus 1 thwart. When we defeat this, we don't get to play Miss Marvel for free, which I believe we saw some other like X-Men scenarios where that's the case. We add her to our hand, which, whatever. Ultimate Bioservant, 4 health toughness. And it gets +1 attack for each attachment on it. And this deck has a bunch of attachments. On every attachment, I think at least gives them extra health. So these are scary. You have to deal with them. We also start with test subjects, which talk about having side schemes to deal with, which might be good. Again, Nova Force turn 1 is not bad. This comes in with 2 threat, but when you defeat this, you have to discard cards for a minion and you reveal that minion. The main scheme you'll see doesn't reveal minions. It puts minions into play, which there's a couple, at least one minion in this deck, Zola's Mutate, that has a really bad when revealed text. Everything else is fine, as much as Quick Strike could fire on this. So if you can clear this on alter ego with an ally, that sometimes is a fair bit better. That's mostly it. All right, the Island Dr. Zola, only 6 threat. These don't have the highest limit. And these have the sort of like proto Magneto thing, where after resolving step 1, which is a bit different, you put a test counter here, and then, only then, not when you add them, but then at that point during step 1, if there are 3 or more test counters here, you discard cards from the top of the counter deck until a minion is discarded, and then you don't reveal that minion, you put it into play. So that's when you want to get the Zola's Mutate. Watch out if you get the Quick Strike one, that's the worst time, because it'll activate then, and it'll activate during the villain phase if Zola is trying to attack you. Then you remove 3 test counters, so minions are guaranteed. Do you know how much that dog ate? I'm sure its owners called him Devil Dog. There has to be like comedy sketches somewhere on the internet about like the financial ruin of keeping Clifford the Red Dog happy, because that is just an obligation and a half. Concussion Blast can suck noodles. Does Hydra Prison fire its text before or after cameo setup text? First. It's always the campaign setup. Sorry, it's always, if I'm not mistaken, citation needed. It is villain setup, villain campaign setup, then hero setup, then hero campaign setup. Generally, no, actually campaign setup is probably all at once, but villain setup and scenario setup always happens before player setup. Player setup is like one of the last things to happen. So you won't be able to get your cameo thing. Okay. Which button is the right button? That's mostly it. Zola having Retaliate makes it harder for us to just like cheese with White Wolf. So we really need to give White Wolf a sidearm. I don't feel like I'm shuffling good today. Man, we had such a weird opening with the Miss Marvel off the top. At least we know where Miss Marvel is, for better or for worse. Just want to shout out, this is not a shuffle. This is a sort. After you do this, particularly if you play competitive card games, this is not good enough. Being a side scheme, I wasn't sure. I know main scheme, villain player. Yeah, main scheme happens first, then the villain setup, then campaign setup. But player setup is like the last thing to happen. And then Mulligan is even before that, if I'm not mistaken. I think Mulligan's before that, but it's always like not super intuitive. All right, let's get this a shuffle. We added our side scheme back, which is really important. How's everyone doing tonight, by the way? It's a Sunday. I don't know if it's nicer to stream Sunday evenings or Sunday mornings, but I'm not someone who wakes up early. So having like a reason to wake up on a Sunday morning and like make a nice breakfast quietly while my partner is still asleep and then just sneak out to do a stream is like a nice Sunday ritual. I do miss it. But I know it's not the easiest time for everyone. I looked at some of the this can't be surprising, maybe because of the time zone the stream at, but I looked at the what's it called? The breakdown, like the psychographics, I guess, the demographics more accurately. And the majority of viewers of this channel are like predominantly from the States. I don't know if that's just a Marvel thing in general. Like obviously people play this game in Europe, but the amount of viewership was like way higher than any other channel that I have, that I operate for American. It's like so heavy. I think second was actually Canada, which is usually when it comes to Netrunner, it's like States, but like very close after UK and then Canada. This was like States 7-1. Okay. Have some hot tea. Sorry, this will cool us down. Okay, let's go. We're off. We have a lot of things to deal with. As soon as turn 1, it wouldn't be bad to unleash Nova Force. I think we can clear a couple of these. We want to one-shot this. Oh, sorry. We're not going to be able to do that as toughness. We can one-shot it if we attack it first. Our priority, obviously, is using our alter ego to go get our helmet. Very good card, the helmet, turns out. Maria Hill. Not bad. We can stop it. We can use Maria Hill on turn 1 immediately to deal with the test subjects. Sorry, even an alter ego. And the reason why we want to do that is we draw a quick strike minion and won't fire against us, which is nice. But Maria Hill's almost definitely worth keeping. We'll see how interesting the hand is. Pot shot. Okay, so that's also worth keeping because it can shot the ultimate bioservant after we take off the toughness. That's also really good. Oh, wow, these are all really good cards. And the cool thing about this is like, if you get your helmet down, you can Lightspeed Flight Hydra Prison first, and then you can ready yourself by taking off the toughness and shoot down the Bioservant. Like, technically Nova is obviously an events matter deck, and these are really strong events when they cost 1. Command Team, we definitely won't keep. Adrenaline Rush matters because like breakpoints matter. A lot of these minions have like 3+ health, so like this feels more like a setup combo card than it is like a necessary card. So we'll see. And then finally, we have our Supernova Helmet, which is awkward. You never want to have this in our hand because playing this costs 2 resources, but if you can get a wild, it costs 1 resource. So we're just going to mulligan deeper and throw these 3 cards out. Even keeping Maria Hill is a bit of like a luxury. We might want to just mulligan aggressively. I think our deck has 5 wild icons, 2 copies of a Connection to the World Mind, which you always want to mulligan into because it doesn't count. We've never drawn one in our opening hand. We have 1 copy of Sidekick, which like we can't keep that in our hand if we don't have the pieces, and then 2 copies of Power of Leadership. So let's just plan this out. If we keep this, right? Like, what do we do? Worst case scenario, we have to pay 2 resources for a helmet. Our helmet plays Lightspeed Flight Pot Shot. So that means we have 2 cards left over, which means we can play 2 for Maria. Maria draws a card. It goes here. These play the helmet. Yeah, so we can keep these 3 and still play it, even if we whiff the helmet. Not good. Pot Shot. We want to draw these later because 4 damage burst is really important. That's perfect. Okay, can't ask for better. So this doesn't count as a card, and it's a wild, which is like basically 2 extra resources in our hand. Strength, perfect for Maria. Wow, this hand turned around. And then a Force Field Projection, which again, we haven't played one of these yet, and that kind of tells you what I think about this, at least when you don't play Protection. It's nice in Protection that I can fire Unleash Nova Force. That's kind of cool. Okay, I guess we'll start here. We'll World Mind for Supernova Helmet, and we'll just install it using our Alter Ego. So now our helmet is here, which will generate a whole bunch of resources this turn. I think we're going to do the thing that we talked about. We're going to play Strength for Maria. Maria will draw. The order here didn't really matter because we can't do the thing we almost did last scenario, so we'll draw a card. It's a Civic Duty. Could matter. Could matter. I think Adrenaline Rush is a bit better. And we're just going to use Maria Hill right off the top, considering we're not unleashing Nova Force, to take 2 threat off test subjects so that if we draw the Quick Strike, we can play around it. So test subject says, when it's cleared, discard cards until there's a minion, reveal that minion. This deck is really big. I don't know if that was intentionally designed because there's a lot of discarding to do, but yeah, who knows what's going to happen. They're all kind of mutates. Concussive Blast, Exhaustion, that's good to see it go. Dark Designs, 1 out, is it important? Wow, we're drawing a lot of standard expert cards. Another test subjects. Okay, those are all gone. We can't shuffle the discard pile because there's cards that care about the top of the counter deck. I love when a plan comes together because we did exactly what we thought we would do and play around this. This is the Berserk Mutate. It has Quick Strike. Got him. Feels good. Yeah, there's a couple encounter cards that say like attach the topmost attachment, so you can't shuffle the discard pile in this one. Quick Strike whiffs. We're in Alter Ego. 3 health. We probably won't be able to knock this out. Actually, we have 2 pot shots. Wait. This turn is incredible. We'll flip. Yeah, this is so good. So now we can do Supernova Helmet for pot shot into the Berserk Mutate. So this one gets knocked out. What a turn and a half. Then we're going to go attack to take off the toughness. That ready Supernova Helmet. We'll use this Supernova Helmet to play this pot shot, which knocks out this Bioservant. That is such a good turn 1. Now, if we drew into Unleash Nova Force, it would have fired 3 times this turn. So obviously it can get better, but like that's a really, really clean start. We're left with 3 cards, a bit awkward. So I think we just probably Lightspeed Flight to drop this to 1 so we can clear it with our basic activation. Otherwise we can play a Civic Duty, but I think we'll just use the hand efficiently. So we'll play a Lightspeed Flight. Fortunately, this one costs 2. I was like so close to putting a Depth Focus into this deck, but yeah, Depth Focus is just not that good when it doesn't really change the functional play cost of these superpowers. Regardless, we'll clear 3 on this to drop it to 1. We have a Chump Blocker. We saw 1 copy of Dark Designs in a good spot, especially because 2 expert cards also left. Force Field is nice because you can get around Retaliate. Yeah, it's not an attack. It's okay, especially into Zola. It doesn't have a big amount of health. So yeah, 3 damage is not the worst. We drop. First, we're going to draw 6 cards. Sometimes Birds of Nova make me very happy. Energy, okay. We need things we can play. That's not exactly it. Jesse, I don't want to play Jesse. So that's 4, 5, and this doesn't count as our hand size. Kid Omega is the best part of this hand. Yeah, that was an absurd turn 1. And imagine you draw an Unleash Nova Force. Like we just draw 3 more times, get 3 more resources. Like it gets even better. All right, the Island of Dr. Zola. So it puts 1 threat, and we have to put 1 test counter. We'll use green. It's a fun color. Makes me think of Silence. So once this hits 3, at this point, we have to get a minion. Zola's going to attack. Generally, the first attack we don't mind taking to the face because we have healing into the deck as much as we have to rescue our friend. Maybe we'll rescue her this turn because we have a bunch of extra resources and nothing to do with them. So Zola's attacking for 2 and a card, 1, 2. Boost Nowhere is Safe just puts 1 counter on Pursued by the Past. Once it hits 3, we have to go get an M. Nem is what cool people call Nemesis. I think you figured that out. We'll take 2. 1 counter card. Technological enhancements. There's a lot of words here. Oh, there's so many cards that start with tech. Technological enhancements. All right, Incite 1. So we put 1 threat here. When revealed, place 1 test counter in the main scheme. I would say that's not a real encounter card. Don't worry about that. Now, technically, you're incentivized to be an alter ego when this hits 3, because again, the quick strike minion. I'm not sure how many there are. My guess is 2 or 3, and that's the worst case interaction. So not bad. We'll keep Maria Hill to block, because we'll probably need that. So my guess is we'll thwart 1 off of this and play Miss Marvel, just because our hand is not amazing. That being said, we want a reason to use the Supernova helmet before we thwart for obvious reasons. It's probably Adrenaline Rush. So Adrenaline Rush, we get Nova Helmet back. This plus Nova Helmet plays her. That leaves us with this hand. We're not going to be jumping down a lot to play Jessie. Jessie's like fine. It's not a very important card. We're not good at jumping down to alter ego, but that's a card we could play. The other options we could play, like functionally 3 for Kid Omega. We saw the 1 side scheme with 2 thwart on it already hit the bin. So Civic Duty's a bit less good, but still always a good card. But I'm assuming Kid Omega is just a bit worth it. If that's the case, we can play Kid Omega once here, but we don't really want to attack for 1 anyway, so we could clear this. That's probably fine. Yeah, that's probably fine. So I'm going to do double for Kid Omega. I'm pretty sure we did this math right. So when Kid Omega enters play, we can spend an energy or a mental. I'm going to go spend a mental using up Supernova Helmet. And so we can remove 1 threat from every scheme, which is really nice when you want to hit those breakpoints to do your Supernova thing. So we'll remove 1 from this, 1 from this. When Hydra Poison is cleared, she's just added to our hand, and this is removed from the game. We'll never have to worry about that again, as much as that is a very easy setup for Supernova Helmet. All right, so we'll thwart for 1 off of this to clean it, which readies our helmet. We'll do 1, 2, 3 for Ms. Marvel, who's now here. So now we can return events to hand and do all that goodness. We're not going to attack with any of our allies because Retaliate is just like a really bad use of them. We'll figure out how we can use these guys later. And then we're just going to go ahead and play. I'm assuming Adrenaline Rush is going to be more important because I do think Zola is more about minions than it is about anything else. So we'll have that on the table. We know we're going to get a minion. I'm not too concerned about it. We probably should be drawing on Unleash Nova Force at this point. We draw 2 pot shots, so we don't have a lot of burst damage. So this is also very valuable. We have 2 side schemes left in our deck, which would be nice. We'll pass. We're not going to be drawing more than 5 cards this turn. So we've been spoiled for a bit. Here we go. 1, 2, Moon Girl and Command Team. Okay, so Moon Girl is obviously very good, especially with the Command Team. It's okay as much as we can chump block. We're gonna have to knock out one of these allies, which shouldn't be that hard, but we want to get more mental resources. I think we've already seen the Genius. No, we haven't. Who knows? Power of Leadership. Okay, that can be technically, what's it called? A leadership, a mental. Specialized Training, worth playing. It's our side scheme. And we have the Sidekick, which is, hey, it's good to draw these in the right order that you don't have to struggle and jump down for them. So that's a pretty good turn. This goes to 1, hits 3, and we have to do the text. So Island of Dr. Zola says, now when this is hit 3, we discard cards until there's a minion and you put it into play. So the best card we could draw here is Zola's Mutate, because that has when revealed text, which we don't fire. So we'll start discarding cards. Ooh, Lost to Dark Designs. Okay. Not the best, but not the worst. Ultimate Bioservant. So this is the one that we started the game with. This goes down. Comes in with 4 health, only attacks for 1, which is like totally fine, and has toughness. All right, Zola, it's going to attack us for 2 and a card. I do think we're incentivized to block here. Maria looks like she's not going to be doing much. If we draw side scheme, so be it. I guess we'll block with Maria. So 1, 2. Zerg Mutate? I don't know what this text is. Sorry, Zola's Mutate is the one we don't want, not Berserk Mutate. Place 1 test counter in the main scheme. For each test counter in the main scheme, Zola gets +1 scheme, +1 attack. So this is an attack for 3. Maria has knocked out. We needed to get the ally slot back as much as we could have used it for the toughness, but that's not too bad. Oh, she doesn't go there. 1 counter card. Ugh. Yuck. Oh boy, we have to jump down. With 6 threat, it's not easy to jump down here. And we still have every copy of Unleashed down in our deck still. So that sucks. Now, this is basically losing 1 resource this turn, but every turn you keep into play obviously gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay, so we have 1 attack or 2 attack. We probably want to... What do we want to do here? Moon Girl actually might attack for 2, which is something I don't often do, but hey, she has good text, just as good as thwarting. So that means we can use Miss Marvel to take the toughness off, or we can take the toughness off. Then we can do Kid Omega and Moon Girl to defeat Ultimate Bioservant. That'll leave us with a couple cards in hand. If we're ready, we can jump down. This might just go through. Like, we can't really stop it. At least 2 dark designs are out. But even when we drop it to 0, it can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, 6 is such a brutal breakpoint on the main scheme, because even if we clear down to 0, we put 1 there. Zola schemes for 2, draws a 3 boost. That's it. Like, the difference between 6 and 7 is massive. It's really, really, really big. Okay, so we'll do mental, mental, mental. I think we're going to be greedy and play Moon Girl. We could have considered keeping the side scheme and playing it, which like is not bad. But we draw 1 fewer cards, which honestly, maybe that's worth it. I'd have to play the deck a bit more to know. So we're going to draw 3. Unleash is playable this turn. White Wolf, okay. Ally slots are a problem. Lightspeed Flight, not the best. And Force Field Projection, so not a great draw. So the best thing we can do with this hand is we can play Sidekick, and then we can play a 2-coster. So probably Command Team. We can knock out Ultimate Bioservant. A bit awkward. I think we want White Wolf because White Wolf is infinite damage. The thing with White Wolf, though, is we want to attach White Wolf with the Sidearm, which we haven't drawn yet, because obviously Retaliate is going to be an issue. But White Wolf being very good damage, let alone we haven't drawn an Unleash. And that's the issue now, is we're very likely to draw 2 Unleashes in the same turn, which you want to watch out for that. Okay, so I think we just play Sidekick, and then like, man, I don't want to discard White Wolf. We can always grab White Wolf when we clear our call for backup. But yeah, this is 1 resource too few to be a useful hand. Yeah. Yeah. Not great. Okay. So we'll attack for 1, taking off the toughness. Then we'll attack for 2 and 2. Knocking off the Bioservant. Okay. So if we thwart for 1, we can jump down, sort of. So the other option is we float these 2, play Command Team, ready Moon Girl, thwart for 1. I don't love it. We could thwart for 1, and we just ready our helmet next round. That's also fine. If this doesn't advance, we're in a good spot. I think our deck, well, we have the 1 Lightspeed here. I think there's 1 more in the deck. No, that can't be it. Yeah, there's 1 more in the deck, so we might have a 3 thwart. But I think playing around the 3 boost is probably right. So I think we will just thwart for 1 here and not ready our helmet next round, which means we probably lose 1 resource. Yeah. We will jump down. We will go ahead and pitch Command Team for the Sidekick. Yeah, this is a really ugly hand. So we have Sidekick. So she goes up +2 health. She's on 4. And I don't know what to do with this hand, y'all. This hand sucks. I think we actually just throw out the Force Field and hold these 2. Because like we know there's going to be threat next turn, and White Wolf is like a very important card. I guess we should just not do White Wolf, and we'll just play Command Team instead. And then just hold Command Team. If that's the case, actually, we might be better off using the Command Team to let Kid Omega or Moon Girl thwart 1 more time, and then we can get rid of the helmet. I'm not sure if that's what we should be doing or not. I want to put blue counters on this. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do blue counters. Yeah, maybe that'd be better, just to use Command Team for Moon Girl. We have Nick Fury left as the only ally in our deck, I think. So like our ally slots are not going to be super crowded. But it's nice to have a 2 damage attack to like basically deal with any ally that we draw into. So I think we're just going to lose 1 resource off our helmet and we'll pass. Interesting turn. How close to deck cycle? Not close enough. It's going to be at least 2 hands, but with Unleash Nova Force, it might be 1 hand. We'll find out. Speaking of power leadership, cool. There's the call for backup. We'll use that probably to get White Wolf unless it's Nick. There's the Unleash. Let's see if we draw the second one side by side. Perfect. Pot shot and a Lightspeed. Good hand, actually. I prefer removing the obligation this turn. Yeah, I could hear it. Mind you, sorry, this doesn't ready. I could hear you on that. It might be worth it, but if this doesn't advance, it buys us a lot of breathing room. So yeah, maybe I could see it. We'll see. Let's see if we get punished. All right, the island of Dr. Zola. Okay, so this goes to 2, and that's it. Zola is going to activate against us. So scheming for 1, 2. We're looking for no 3 boost. It's a 3 boost. Didn't matter. Now, the cool thing is these counters leave. That's the good thing about advancing tactically. But we're on the last scheme, which if this clears, we lose the game. But yeah, 3 is just such a low limit for solo. All right, so it says when revealed, each player searches the counter deck and discard pile for a minion and reveals it, shuffle the counter deck. This is good because it's our choice, which means we can set up a very easy Unleash Nova Force. But the more important thing about this is that we reveal it, which is bad. But because we're an alter ego, if we reveal the Berserk Mutate, that's good. Because whatever we reveal here will actually scheme against us. And the Berserk Mutate means that we can fire it in alter ego and not worry about the quick strike, let alone not worry about the scheme. In theory, we could search the deck for Berserk Mutate, which might be better because Berserk Mutate is like sometimes an awkward encounter card to draw. But I think we just like having more minions in the deck. So I think we're going to grab that instead from the discard pile. All right, the Mad Doctor. So I think this is the exact same text as much as it seems like there's more text here. But just same idea, comes in with 1 threat. 8 is a bigger limit for sure. And when this is defeated, we lose a game. And you get to see some good old Arnim Zola art. I think Arnim Zola is such a cool character. Obviously, he's, I think, pretty much a Nazi, which we're not endorsing that. But the design on it's like pretty sick. Evil Alliance. Oh. Every time we jump down to Alter Ego, we get our Nemesis. I'm not complaining. We're going to lose our helmet again, though. So this hits 3. We go get our Nemesis. It's good old Warbringer. That's going to be a good Unleash turn. Honestly, this might be the best thing for us. So Warbringer, our Nemesis, comes in with 5 health and has some text on it. We don't actually have to care about it. It's when he attacks. It's not going to attack. And then we get this, which will matter. Bring the War. You actually could go out the way to play more cards that have wild icons on in this. Like, I'm not sure what's obvious in leadership. You could play Domino, I think. But each player discards 1 card they control with a printed wild resource on it. And it doesn't mean in the resource box, just on it. 3 is an awkward breakpoint. So the only option we have is to discard the helmet, which is fine. Technically comes in refreshed, so we'll discard that. Call it a day. These cards get shuffled into the deck. That's it. Okay. I think we're going to have a good turn here. We have a side-by-side, which we haven't even fired a single one this turn, and we have all this boarded damage. We can get ourselves up to 2 attack, which doesn't really hit massive breakpoints here. Yeah, it doesn't really. Actually pretty bad. But we'll see how this goes. All right. You ready for some counting? Because I think we're going to have to bring out our counting dice here. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to spend the power of leadership with our Alter Ego to bring back our Supernova helmet. We're then going to have to exhaust ourselves here to get rid of the weight of the world. Excuse me, I brought all these cards up in the wrong time. So we use our Alter Ego to put this into play. Comes in with a resource. And then we'll just exhaust ourselves here to get rid of this, which we can still destroy a thing to ready ourselves, so not an issue. This is removed from the game. Okay, cool. Good stuff. We'll flip up. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we have no wilds in our hand. So I think we're actually going to just burn one of these cards. So, oh, a bit ugly, slightly ugly here. We get Supernova Helmet for the pot shot, but at the end of the day, we want to bring these cards back. I think we still do it though. I think we use Supernova Helmet for the pot shot. And I think we do 4 damage to Warbringer to put into range. And then we still use our ally's text, deal her 1 damage and return this to her hand. This means, oh, wait, we have to ready ourselves somehow. Shit. No, we don't do that. Excuse my language. We can't do that. We have to ready ourselves. So then we might as well just use Supernova Helmet. No, oh, we have to just waste one of these cards. Call for Backup gives us so much more card draw this turn. Okay. Math. There's a lot of branching options here, and there's only one right path. But we basically, in short, need to play Unleash Nova Force. The issue is every card in our hand is like worth playing for their own reason. But we need to play this for 1 resource. This is our only wild resource, which means that these double in cost. So we generally want to use our Supernova Helmet to play these, which puts one of these 3 cards as the card we play. Now, if we play Call for Backup, we can clear it with Lightspeed Flight. And if we do that, we get Nick Fury, which draws 3 more cards, which is very good if we have a side-by-side. So I honestly think like we throw this side by side because I think we're just about guaranteed to draw because we're going to be drawing about like 7 or 8 cards this turn. And I think every side by side has been the bottom of our deck, let alone with Nick Fury. So I think we'll actually do this, which is weird. It feels like combo shaper level option branching. Yeah, kind of. Once you get it down, it's like a bit more straightforward, but it does feel like Magic Man to a large extent, where there's like this combo that once you shortcut it, it's like pretty, mechanical. It's like, okay, heal 1 damage, ready yourself, draw a card, refresh this, go again. The thing is like you end up taking like that 20-minute turn because you have like 40 clicks, but they're not particularly difficult clicks. It's just making sure you have the setup right is important. So I'm going to pitch side by side, which is a bit weird, and to play Unleash Nova Force. I think. I'm pretty sure. We'll get our die ready. So now every time we defeat something, we ready a card, draw, and do all that good stuff. That means we probably start by knocking out Warbringer, which if that's the case, we can return Potshot to our hand. Yeah, that's probably it. So we'll use Kid Omega to attack Warbringer for 2 damage. Is knocked out. Then we will use Supernova Helmet to generate for pot shot, which will do 4 damage to Warbringer, defeating Warbringer. So we have a whole bunch of triggers here. Firstly, first trigger, Unleash Nova Force. So of course, we ready ourselves. We draw a card. We feel this. We don't want to draw into Nick Fury. I guess it doesn't matter. It's a side-by-side. Okay, good. So we have access to that combo. We're now going to use our ally. We'll deal 1 damage to her to return this pot shot back to hand, which is probably not right. I think actually we return the Lightspeed Flight. Yeah, I think it's the Lightspeed Flight this turn. Okay. Still, we're going to do a good turn here. So we're going to go ahead and use this side-by-side to play this call for backup. Yeah, I think this is fine. A bit convoluted, but we're getting there. It has 3 threat. We want to use the Supernova Helmet first, but we might as well go ahead and attack for 2-1. I guess we could ready ourselves first. So hold on. No. We don't use a side-by-side. We use a Supernova Helmet to play a call for backup. And then we use Nova to thwart for 1 off of the Mad Doctor. So then we ready this, draw a card. This goes to 2. Cool. Yeah, that's way better. All right. Now we want to use this before, but then we waste a ready. So we just want to do like an incidental thwart. So I think we want to just do an attack for 2. Undo click for backup instead. Yeah, we have to do hashtag undo click there. Okay, so now we want to use Nova. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is we want to use Nova so that we can use Supernova Helmet. Because if we just knock out one of these things, we ready ourselves and lose a Supernova Helmet. We actually have to play all our cards here, or like as many resources as we can, which means we want Nova to do something incidental. Thwarting for 3, this doesn't matter because we'll one-shot these. So we have to attack into the Berserk Mutate. I'm guessing we fire the Adrenaline Rush on this turn because that means we can 2-shot the Berserk Mutate because we don't want to defeat the Mutate. So I'm going to crack the Adrenaline Rush. So for the rest of this turn, we're going to have 2 attack. Wait, no, this doesn't matter. Because as soon as we attack, we can't refresh this. I mean, it's fine. We'll attack for 2 into this. This would recharge this. We have no way of using it. So then we're going to use Supernova Helmet to play the Lightspeed Flight. And we're going to target call for backup. The Lightspeed Flight is going to remove 3 threat from call for backup. When this threat is removed, we remove this from the game. We grab an ally, we put into play. So we're going to search our deck, I believe, for Nick Fury. What if we don't do Nick Fury and we do instead? What's the math? So if we do Nick Fury, we draw 3 cards. Obviously, that's very good. And we can do Nick Fury twice with the command team, as much as attacking Zola is not really sustainable. I think we still have our gun in the bottom, but there's a chance we just get White Wolf. Because White Wolf into Zola is like not bad too, because it fires Unleash Nova Force a couple more times. I'm actually going to go for White Wolf here. I don't because we're going to draw Nick Fury naturally next turn anyways. So we'll grab White Wolf. So this is a really good card. Obviously for a combo, comes in with 3 health. It doesn't take consequential. Eventually we'll have ranged. And I think that card is still in our deck, but I could be wrong. Okay, so we still have some nested triggers here. We're going to use Miss Marvel, our ally, to deal her 1 damage to return the Lightspeed Flight to hand. We are going to now fire Unleash Nova Force. We'll draw a card. Ready. Okay, Champion's Mobile Bunker is like fine. Okay, so this is ready. We don't have a cheap card to use this. Board is pretty empty. Want to just throw a damage on Zola at this point, or do you want to clean wipe? Because everything that we clear draws a card with Unleash Nova Force, and Zola has Retaliate, so attacking with allies is like a bit weird. We want to attack with Moonguard. Like, we'll attack with some, but like we only attack for 2 on this turn, and we want to just clear the table, just because every time we do, we draw a card, and like maxing numbers is fun. That's mostly it. But we could be attacking more aggressively. It's just like when you play control, it usually works out relatively well for you. Okay, we have no good way of using Supernova Helmet this turn right now. So we can just attack for 2 into Zola. So we'll attack for 2 into Zola, actually. I think that's pretty fine here. So the villain will take 2, we'll take 1 Retaliate. We want to take some amount of damage because we're going to heal it. That ready Supernova Helmet, which is useless, but regardless, we'll then use Supernova Helmet to play Lightspeed Flight, which removes 3 threat from Bring the War, which clears it. When we do that, we ready, we draw a card. We found our sidearm, that's perfect. Now we're going to attack 2 into this Berserk Mutate, which defeats it. When it's defeated, this readies, this goes to 5, we draw a card. Perfect. We're off. Now we're going to use our Supernova Helmet to give White Wolf a sidearm, which sidearm is really important because White Wolf now has 3 attack, but also has ranged, and ranged means we don't deal with Retaliate. White Wolf has really good text. Okay, I think I have a ranged button, but I do, but it's in the buttons I don't use often, so that's fine. We're now going to use White Wolf, who's going to attack for 3, and because of range, we can dodge the Retaliate. So the villain's going to take 3. When we use White Wolf, we put 1 threat here. Cool. We'll now thwart for 1 off of this, which clears it, which readies this, which readies this, which hits this to 6. We draw a card. Okay, and at this point, we can just side by side the whole way. The last card in our deck is Nick Fury. Before we forget to deck out, we're going to use Moon Girl here to thwart for, or attack for 2 into the villain. She's knocked out to retaliate. Oh my god, we're going to knock out Zola. We're going to knock out Zola. Okay. We will now use Command Team to ready White Wolf. We want to use the Supernova Helmet before we do anything else. White Wolf will attack for 3 into the villain. There's a lot of cards with white in it. And you see how we do this? Puts 1 threat here. We can go again. Yeah, board clear and Zola wipe sounds about what we want. Okay, so we want to use this before we thwart that. So the best we can do is like this into Champion's Mobile Bunker. Technically, we can do more stuff with side by side, and maybe actually side by siding aggressively to increase our stats was right, but we're going to knock at Zola, and I think that's all that matters really here. Champion's Mobile Bunker will just enter play so we can save a resource, because now we're going to thwart for 1 off of this, which clears it. So that means we ready this. This was used on the bunker, so it's ready. We draw a card. We've done it 7 times this turn. We draw into Nick Fury. Funny enough, we can dump this whole hand into Nick Fury to draw 3. But honestly, side by siding this hand might be better. Nick Fury will then hit the deck cycle, which is probably the best thing for us. So I think we just start swinging side by sides at the villain over and over again. We did boost our attack stat. I think one of our side by sides should probably boost our stats, but healing it to the retaliate is also pretty reasonable. So I think we're not going to play Nick. We're going to get him into the bin. So now we're not going to be firing this. We'll fire it 1 more time. Yeah, Nick could just push Zola. I think we're going to use Nick not to do 4 damage to Zola, because I think we're going to knock out Zola just to ready ourselves and draw a card. Shut up. I'll take no questions. We do everything that readies yourself and draws a card. So we're going to attack for 2 into the villain. We're going to take retaliate 1. Nope. Down to 6. Then we'll do Supernova Helmet, Nick Fury, side by side. Okay, so now we got to do this gross loop. So with this, we ready both of us. We heal a damage from us, and we will choose to heal a damage from Miss Marvel. I don't actually think we do. I think we give ourselves +1 stat. No, the +1 stat doesn't matter. So we'll heal 1 from Miss Marvel, and then we'll use Miss Marvel's response to take a damage and return this to our hand. So we're just kind of moving things around. This is not ready yet. We'll attack for 2 into Zola, which defeats Zola. So hold on. The villain's going to be defeated. We do technically take retaliate 1, which I always hit R1, which is recover 1. So watch out when I do that. This flips. When revealed, each player searches the counter deck and discard puff for a minion and reveals it. Oh, I forgot about that text. Reveals it as bad text. We currently have 2 attack, and we can bust through the 4 health toughness guy. I think we're just going to do that. I don't think we want to take the quick straight 3 one, so we'll put the ultimate bioservant into play. Greed? Yeah, you know it. I want to grab up your attack thwart each turn just as the outlier this turn. Yeah, this one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. I think the last card in our deck is Unleash Nova Force. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, we're going to draw 2 in a turn. So we have an ultimate bioservant. Otherwise, Zola just has 16 health, which is not a very big jump, let alone not a very big number. But now we have another thing that we can go ahead and knock our stuff out. Okay, so we ready. Unleash Nova Force goes to 8. We draw this card. Our deck cycles. So we actually could top deck a Nick Fury and replay it. Even a command team would be good. Like we might actually just Champion's Mobile Bunker here to see 2 more cards. Because at this point, every card's about the same. Does that mean if we deck out, but don't make it into our next deck cycle? These don't make it into the deck cycle. Yeah. You can't overpitch for cards. No, you can overpitch for cards in this game. I think you can. It's not like Flesh and Blood where you have to figure out how to overpitch. Like you have to overpitch intuitively. I think you're allowed to overpay for anything. But I think we'll be able to fire Unleash Nova Force 1 more time. Drawing into another copy of Command Team would be sick as well. I think I'm just going to use it. Champion's Mobile Bunker. I think we'll just use this. I don't know if this can get worse, but we'll just draw 2 and discard 2. Pot Shot's really good, actually. So we'll discard Civic Duty, and there's no reason to have 2 side-by-sides. I can hold on to Unleash Nova Force for next turn because of obvious reasons, so we'll discard these 2. So that actually was a bit better. So this will ready after we attack. We have no reason to use it, so we'll just attack for 2 into this toughness. We'll now use this to play the Pot Shot. So it does 4 damage, knocking out the ultimate bioservant. You know what's going to happen. That gives us to 9. This readies, draws a card. It's a light speed flight. Okay, so this is as far as we're going to go. Yeah, really good draw there. Otherwise, we'd have to attack twice more, which like that's also kind of fine. Okay, we're going to get a bit hurt here. We're going to attack into the villain. For 2, we take Retaliate 1. We're now going to go ahead and do, this is ready. We'll use it and Lightspeed Flight to play side by side. And we'll just juice this a bit. So she readies, we ready, we recover 1. She heals, we'll do damage to her to return this back to her hand. Okay, we'll attack for 2 into the villain, we'll take 1. This readies, we'll use this plus this to play side by side. It doesn't really matter. Obviously we overpaid, but it functionally doesn't matter. This readies, we recover 1. She goes into 1. At this point, we're not going to play this card anymore. So we're not going to do 1 damage to her. We'll just return this to her hand. And then we'll just attack for 2 into the villain. And she can attack for 1 into the villain. Nah, not worth it somehow. Not worth it. This is what I wish Daily felt like. How many clicks do you want? This is where you play daily with like, 3 copies of Peach's Challenge just to fire your text over and over again. We fired 9 times. We drew 9 extra cards, got 9 extra resources. And pass the turn. We'll hold on to this one, which is good. What a turn. I mean, that's what Nova does. It's like all the cards are kind of, sleepy, but good value. And then Nova just pops off. And the fact that we have White Wolf and this is on 0 threat, it means we're going to be able to do it again and again and again. Like next turn, we should be able to fire this at least 3 times. And we have Champion's Mobile Bunker and this to draw more cards. Like it's gross. And we can have a bigger hand here when we draw into Connection to the World Mind. Imagine we did it. Strength. The best card we could draw here is another side by side, but 2 of them are in a discard pile. Yeah, not a good hand. So Unleash Nova Force has to fix this. Okay, this goes 2-1. The text is the same, the Mad Doctor. So this is just going to get 1 test counter in it. Cool. The villain's going to attack us for 2 in a card. The most that this could do is 5 damage. I don't know if Zola has any damage cards. Maybe we could just die. I'm just going to take it to the face. Actually, taking it to the face is a bit unwise because we have to attack and to retaliate as much as we do sustain it, but side by side. So we could defend 2, but if we defend 2, we have no cards in our hand to ready us that allow us to interact. So we just have to take it to the face. 1, 2. Star, shuffle this into the counter deck. So this is the one that you don't want to reveal, but at least this is only 2 damage, which is like the best we could ask for. So we take 2, down to 4. Shuffle, and then we'll just draw 1 encounter card. Wait. We decked out. There should be 2 encounter cards. I forgot to give myself an encounter card. We definitely decked out there. It would have been that card, but it's a random card. That honestly would have been an okay card for us, maybe. Yeah, we're meant to have an encounter card. We decked out. So we'll get 2. Which is kind of scary. We're at low health. We always can panic block with Miss Marvel. Without a side-by-side, she's not the most important. All right, I think these all just have Surge if they don't have a target. So pain inhibitors attached to the minion with the most remaining hit points. Otherwise, they gain Surge. Oh, that's a bad card. That's the scariest card. Mind Ray. Zola attacks you, then you are stunned. I'm just going to do the stun right now so I don't forget. But Zola is now attacking us for 2 in a card, which can be up to 5 damage, which means we have to exhaust for 2. If we exhaust for 2, it's really bad. Genuinely, at striking distance, this turn we have 6 damage for White Wolf. We only have to do 4 damage ourselves, which means 2 attacks. So we get drawn to a pot shot and just win the game. So I do think we just put Miss Marvel in the way. It's a bit weird, but with like 2 side-by-sides out, Miss Marvel's not that good. Like we generally can win here. We're going to see 2 more cards in Mobile Bunker, but I think we just put Miss Marvel in the way. We are stunned, which is a bit awkward. So we might not have lethal here, but White Wolf command team is just so good with when we play Unleash Nova Force. So I think we're just going to block with Miss Marvel because it's important that we're ready. So 2. This says for each test counter. Sorry, we've seen this one. I'll just read it on the screen because it's a bit interesting. It says place 1 test counter. So this attack is now for 4. Miss Marvel's knocked out. Okay, we have a minion. Zola's mutate. I mean, things are swinging. That was a huge tempo turn. So we drew one of these anyways, which we were meant to. Discard cards from the top of the counter deck until attack attachment is discarded. Some of these can gain guard. There's another mutate. Sinister Strike. Good to see that. There's a lot of attachments. Okay, this one is just +2 hit points and +2/+2. It's the neurological implants. This card text doesn't look like it fits into the text box. It is really getting crushed in there. But yeah, so it hits like a truck, like 4 attack, 3 thwart, has 7 health. That's it though. Okay, so it doesn't have guard, which means we can just maybe win. I think this turn we could start with Champion's Mobile Bunker now or later. If we do it now, we have these 2 cards, which we don't need. So I'm totally fine just starting with it because they don't do anything. So we'll just use the Mobile Bunker and see what happened. We have to remember we're stunned. That is pretty important. So we'll draw 2 and then discard 2. Command team is actually really good with White Wolf. So we'll probably keep that. Pot shot is really good as much as we have to get the stun off. This is 3 + 4 is 7. Yeah, that's really quite good. So we'll get rid of Suit Up. and civic duty. All right. We could die, but we can also do something cool here. So, oh, we just win. Oh, we don't have to do anything cool here. Okay, hold on. Just so we're on the same page. There are 2 wolves inside of you. One of you does the sick combo turn. The other one just has lethal on the table. Just to explain where the lethal on the table is, all we do here is we play another command team. We attack with White Wolf for 3. We ready. We attack with White Wolf for 3. We ready White Wolf. We attack for 3. We attack for 1. We're stunned. We play pot shot. We win the game. Okay? Just to be clear, we win the game. We have lethal here. You can turn off the video if you're watching now and check off the check mark. Or we can see how far we can push this thing. And of course, we're going to see how far we push this thing because the second wolf is like so good at parties. Let's just see what the second wolf is about on this turn. So let's go do wolf stuff. Again, we have lethal. I'm going to control the board and have lethal. So it's going to start by, we only can thwart for 1. That's fine. So we're going to use Supernova Helmet to play Unleash Nova Force because we held on to this. And we'll just do it again. So Unleash Nova Force, where are you? Oh, I just did Unleash Mutagen, that's why. Okay, so we're going to now play Unleash Nova Force, so you know the drill. We're going to thwart for 1 off of this. That readies this, that readies us. We draw a card, get a purple die. All right, and we're off. Adrenaline Rush. Okay, we're off. Notably, we're back to 1 attack. Okay, cool. Nova's silly? Yeah, a bit silly. It's a bit silly. Kind of silly. I don't know if there's a deck that is so integral around a single card in the deck. Like, that's not an upgrade, right? Like, I don't know of a more important event for a kit. Okay, then we're going to use White Wolf, which has 3 attack here. White Wolf is so good in this deck. So he's going to attack for 3 into this, dropping it to 4, which is in pot shot territory. And of course, White Wolf's text puts 1 threat here. In theory, we want to spend this resource on something, but we have no good somethings to spend it on. So I guess we'll just play Adrenaline Rush. So we'll use Nova Helmet to play Adrenaline Rush. We might crack it this turn, but with the stun, it's kind of hard to believe we'll do that. Then we'll thwart for 1 off of this, which clears it, which readies this, gets this, we draw a card. All right, it's Maria Hill. I mean, not that good. Okay, we're getting a bit hurt, but I still think we might have lethal here. We'll crack the Adrenaline Rush without thinking because we do cool thing. Our attack stat goes up by 1. Okay, we will now attack for 2. Of course, we're stunned, so that Adrenaline Rush was useless. Let's just undo that for a second because it might not matter. Okay, then we'll do Supernova Helmet to generate a wild, which of course, when we play pot shot, that's exactly what we want. We'll do 4 damage to the Zola's Mutate, knocking it out, no problem. Not even an issue. We'll ready ourselves. We'll put a counter here. We'll draw a card. Force Field Projection. Okay, not what we want. We'll go ahead and do Command Team to go ahead and ready our friend here, White Wolf. White Wolf will ready. White Wolf will attack for 3 into the villain. Has range. Doesn't deal with the Retaliate. Villain goes down to 7. We put 1 threat here. Now, Supernova Helmet's still exhausted. We'll thwart for 1 off of this, which readies this, which readies this, which gets this up to 1. We draw a card. Have we having fun yet? Okay, we can go ahead. We have to keep ourselves ready. So we're just going to go do the Power of Leadership for another command team. You know the drill. 3 counters. We're going to use a command counter to ready White Wolf. White Wolf is going to attack for 3. Okay, out of breath. We're going to attack for 3 into the villain. That puts 1 threat here on the side scheme. Can we figure out a way to use Supernova Helmet with this hand? Sort of. So we will. Technically, the reason to not spend it is keeping as many resources in our hand for command team is good. Or sorry, in case we draw side by side. But then I actually realized we can't play side by side. So we'll just use Supernova Helmet to play Maria Hill. She can do 1 damage this turn. So we'll see if we can get lethal the long way. Still not you. Maria Hill, and she's in play. She draws a card. She draws Moon Girl. That could matter. Okay, we'll now use Nova to thwart for 1 off of this, which readies, hits this to 5. We draw a card. We get Jessie. Not very useful, but has what's it called? A mental icon on it. So let's go ahead and keep doing things. We'll spend a mental, and then we'll just get rid of Force Field to play Moon Girl. She will draw 2 cards. 1, Connection to World Mind. 1, Kid Omega. That's more damage, I'm pretty sure. We're at 4. We have 2 attack staff we really want to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have it. We had it so many different ways here. So we'll just go ahead and end the game the easy way. We could do more damage here by playing Kid Omega and then doing more damage, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to attack with Moon Girl, who attacks for 2 into the villain, gets knocked out. We will crack Adrenaline Rush to give us +1 attack. We'll attack for 2, defeating Zola, getting us up 1 more time and drawing a card. Oh, not even close. That was so much easier than Unus, which is kind of funny. And that fired, I'm not going to count the last one, that fired 14 times. We did one deck cycle. And that was like the better setup where we hit Miss Marvel in the right order before we drew Sidekick. Our, what's it called? We're amazing. Our copies of Side by Side, like they're pretty good. They're not bad. We like incidental healing, especially because attacking retaliate's a bit expensive. But that was it. 14 free card draw. It's like so nonsense. But that is exactly what Nova does. And I'm glad to be able to show it off. Do we do one more? Do we try thwarting against something that's scary into thwarting? Like the next thing I have queued up is Red Skull to see if we can do like everything. We haven't played specialized training, and I do want to say the card's really quite nice because, as you know, boosting your stats is really good. And when we defeat this, sometimes when I played the campaign when I was really hurt, I get the one that gives you +4 health and just took more tanks to the face, like take more attacks to the face. But usually you get the combat specialist that gives you +1 attack. Venom Goblin. I mean, I'm good. That was nuts, loving the content. Yo, Samuel, thanks so much. Yeah, this is a deck that I've wanted to test for a while, and it's good. It does two things, and they're both very, very good. He has 3 main schemes. He does have 3 main schemes, and we're not short on, like, we don't use stun or confuse, so the steady won't matter that much. There's a chance we can do it. But also, we only can stream for about half more an hour. So I don't know if we have the time to set it up and do it. But it's the sort of thing I'll keep in mind and maybe do it off stream. And if it's possible, like film a video or something like that. But yeah, in terms of like having half an hour because it's 10:30, probably not. But like, there's a chance that we're good at it. Because yeah, 3 side schemes, they add 1 threat a turn. We don't care about stun or confuse. The one problem we're going to run into is that we don't have a way to get rid of the advanced glider very easily. I forget the name of it. Yeah, this one, because we would have to add more 3 cost attacks. And I honestly think leadership has access to any 3 cost or more attacks. You can discard multiple cards, but finding 2 of the 3 cards in our deck and discarding them in the same hand is really, really expensive. This card is really annoying when you play solo. It's wild how White Wolf's downside is actually an upside. Yeah. It's really, really wild. Again, Inspired is something you can add to the deck. You can't attach the gauntlets because he's not an Avenger or you're not an Avenger. I forget what the clauses are. Get it, clause. But yeah, I had Inspired in the list, and I do think Sidearm is just straight better. I want to say sometimes I actually didn't put the Inspired on our ally, on Kamala, but I think I was forgetting that you can just use Miss Marvel to exhaust her to add an event back to your hand. Because I was usually attacking for 2 just to get her exhausted to do side by side, but it's usually better to bounce the card to hand. Yeah. Oh, we do. We have Mass Attack. 3 cost attack event. Exhaust 3 allies. I mean, that's not good text, but you do play it to get rid of the advanced glider. That's for sure. Okay, I think we're going to try against Red Goblin. Sorry, wow. Red Skull, because it's been a while since I played Red Skull, and I really like this scenario. I think it's actually very interesting. We are going to suffer by having 1 thwart stat, so maybe putting more allies in, putting fewer adrenaline rushes and more civic duties might be the play, but we're just going to play the list stock standard and see how far it goes. Excuse me, these are in our deck. And again, always the deck list is posted in the description. On YouTube, you just have to hit more. There's also timestamps there, but they usually show up on the time bar. But we do some effort in publishing, so hopefully you can see the list. All right, let's clean this up real quick. I am boiling. Should have worn a t-shirt, buddy. Just wear a t-shirt. It's May. You can see I'm glistening. I'm disgusting. This added light, though, gives me that sheen, which, like, that is not me being a greasy boy. That is actually just a bright light next to my face, I swear. Oh, we're going to need these 2, maybe. It's so funny when we draw our Nemesis set and our response is, yeah, sick, let's go. Because every time we drew our Nemesis has been an unleashed turn, which has just been so perfect for us. But I like that. And that's why we actually went out of the way to play Standard 3 to get it more consistently. I don't know. This deck makes you still make good decisions. Like, as much as it is a straight combo deck, you do have to make good decisions. And a lot of it is like managing, you know, can you lead the side scheme? What cards are left in your deck? Are you going to cycle now or later and getting cards back into it, which is cool. This should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3 plus 1. Okay, cool. Cena's giving you a glow. Not bad. Yeah, right. A glow. That's a nice way of talking about it. A little, what is that? A nimbus, an angelic glow. I'll take it. Thank you. I'm actually running a Spider-Woman blue and red deck that uses, oh, I need to keep this here. That uses Mass Attack. Allies with Enraged and printed 3 attack often become 3 cost for 18. It's funny. Oh yeah, if you can buff your allies with like bad downsides. That's a cool way of using this. Where like, you know, Enraged gives you, what is it, +2 consequential, something awful like that? I guess I can just look it up. Yeah, +1 consequential. There's interesting ways to use this card. Also, like with Unified Strike, I think I was using this in a deck somewhat recently. I'm pretty sure it showed up in a Wonder Man deck, maybe. Hey Maddox, how's it going? Caught you live. Just got into the game with prize support for winning a Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament. What was the prize support? That's sick. Also, congratulations. Loving this game so far, and wow, your production quality is amazing. Hands down best. That's very, very kind. There's a lot of really great content on the internet, so like don't stop your search here. For what it's worth, we do very little content besides gameplay, and that's, I think, a part of the game that people like talking more than they like playing to some extent. Honestly, like tone flag positive. What is a Marvel Crisis Protocol? It's a miniatures game, right? Is my guess. That's sick. Congratulations. Also, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the kind words. All right, Red Skull. I don't play enough against Red Skull. Usually when I play against Red Skull, it's because it's the finale of what's it called, of a campaign. And specifically, if you play the campaign mode on this box, there is an upgrade you can get that gives you +1 thwart. And thwarting is so important against Red Skull. So give me 1 second. We'll do. Okay, this thing is broken. I still think it's worth popping up. So just give me 1 second. Studio mode overlay. Flash this. Cool. All right, Red Skull, no minions. Wow, 3 minions. Oh yeah, right, the Exo Soldiers. A lot of attachments, a lot of treacheries. Hydra Assault is here, which is fine. Just like 4 and 3 cost minions. Some of them remove upgrades, stuff like that. Hydra Patrol is guards and a side scheme that will grab us a minion. So it's a good Unleash Nova Force turn. And that's mostly it. The big thing here is that we're going to have another deck that's going to have all these side schemes. And Red Skull, every turn draws a side scheme. So every turn you'll have a side scheme into play, which is something that's like really easy to fall behind on. And that's a problem because Red Skull's stats balloon for every side scheme you leave in play. But if we can clear them with Unleash Nova Force or any other way, that'll make us keep afloat. I'm going to use another discard thing here for side schemes. It's not easy to grab the left side of the table. Maybe I'll just put it here offside slightly, but that is another deck for the setup. So every side scheme in the deck you have to put separately aside. Eventually also your player side scheme, your nemesis side scheme will end up in this deck, but you do start with this deck and the sleeper will start outside of play. This also means you have to watch out for the deck where we add Hydra Patrol that is in the deck, and then everything else we can shuffle. There are 2 main schemes here. I really like Red Skull. I think it's a really good design. Showing up the custom OBS setups. I mean, it's broken today, which is upsetting, but yeah, I've been doing that for Arkham for Marvel for a while, and Arkham also. We started doing that. Miniature skirmish game, very, very fun. Oh, sick. Hey, well done. Hey, Dark Cow, how's it going? I have never had the time to play miniatures game. I think part of it is I am scared of having to paint things, so I don't. But I can imagine them being very satisfying. Looks clean, don't even. I had to open up studio mode and hit another button. Thank you, by the way. This will go here. All right, the Rise of Red Skull. Ooh. Here we go. So, contents Red Skull. We're doing 2 and 3 because we're playing on expert. We're using Hydra Assault and Hydra Patrol. We're not very imaginative. They're pretty good side schemes, or sorry, sets that interact obviously with the theme very heavily. Put the Red House into play. Oops, I shuffled that into the deck. Shuffle every other side scheme into the side scheme deck and set an next encounter deck and put the sleeper side out of play. It tells you the rules of this deck. It's no different than the encounter deck, the discard, the normal deck. However, you don't have to draw something bad when this thing shuffles. The Red House starts into play. The theme on the Red House is fantastic. So this thing comes in with 3 threat. It has functionally what became Assault, which means you can use your basic attack to thwart this, which for us doesn't really matter. But Red Skull cannot take damage and has 3 threat on it. Again, if you don't ever clear a side scheme a turn, you are behind, and you have to watch out. You don't want to be behind. Okay, this goes here. This goes into this, and then we can flip this over. The Rise of Red Skull. Does every box have a main scheme that has just the name of the expansion? All right, Red Skull plans to conquer the world with the power of the Reality Stone. He uses his strategic genius to keep you busy while he works towards his goal. 8 is pretty good. This is not the last main scheme, so this can go through. But after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, also go grab him side scheme. Cool. Our villain here, villain named Red Skull, stage 2. So villain is Red Skull. 16 health is not that big. Red Skull gets +1 attack for each side scheme in play, so he's always going to be 2 attack because at the beginning of every main scheme, he's going to get a side scheme. Admittedly, it could be +1 attack in the middle of the round, I guess. And when revealed, deal each player an encounter card, which I don't think we forgot that for Unus. Oh, we might have forgot that for Unus. I don't remember. I always forget that for Unus if we set up on camera. No one will stand in the way of my plans. Straight up Nazi. Straight Nazi. That's fine. We like punching Nazis. Okay. I don't think so, but they should definitely name more schemes like that. I mean, it's fun. It's cute. Like, I don't think it's cheesy. It's like why you're here, especially when it's the final scenario. It's like, oh, yeah, sure. What I signed up for. The stakes are pretty high. The White House has fallen. And they've changed the furniture. Yeah, this is a cool scheme. I don't think a lot of people like playing this one. I feel like if you're not a deck that can keep up with the thwart, especially solo, like it's bad. I do want to shout out a bunch of these side schemes actually have like really good upsides. They have horrible dark themes. Like I do think the theming of this set is like pretty heavy. There's like functionally concentration camps where people are being taken away. Like it's bad. Even like modern politics, especially over the last year in the States, like it's bad. But when you do clear them, you get an ally from your deck for free, which is nonsense when you have Nick Fury. So yeah, there's some strong upsides to some of these side schemes. Definitely name more schemes like that. I like it. It's a nice convention. I want to try Nova against Ultron. Yeah, Brian, I think it's cool, especially when you can like draw an encounter card that says put a drone into play and your one attack is no longer downside. There's a lot of heroes that really like playing into Ultron, and this is definitely one of them. All right, I feel like that was enough shuffling. I think deck is relatively big still. The first wave had some really, really big encounter decks. It's a bit more excusable for Ultron where you discard cards, but that's it. All right, now we have to do the shuffle dance. I'm sorry. Should be 40 cards. I did say this earlier, maybe someone knows the name of it, but there's this like functionally busted card that they had to errata. That's a 3-cost neutral, like a basic event that just says champions cannot take damage for this round. There's actually downsides to it because if I'm not mistaken, when champions can't take damage, you can't fire Miss Marvel's hero response. It's probably still a good card because it's like a 3-cost, no consequential, no attacks. Like you just have one whole round of no damage. But it's yeah, it's not necessary for this deck, which is pretty wild. It's better in multiplayer because I think it protects the whole table. Recently used the X-23 ally against Ultron. It was fun. Oh, when they ping you for one and you're ready. God, she's really fun too. She also has like a busted leadership deck. What kind of card is that? It's a one of. You only play one of it. And once now you eroded it, once you've played it, removes from the game. So it is a high cost. I just don't know the name of it. I've never actually played it. Gotta run, we'll catch the VOD. As always, Andre, great content. Thank you, Quesadilla. Thanks so much for dropping in. I honestly didn't know if you played Marvel Champions. But it's really nice that you take the time to drop in. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Does Go for Champions prevent dealing or taking damage? That's the name, thank you. I think it does. It says each champion character cannot take damage until the end of the round. Take means you can't receive it. And if I'm not mistaken, our ally says take. Deal. Oh, but I don't know if it works. Technically, there's a difference between deal and take. I think, Andy, you've taught me that the damage is dealt, but then you take the damage. So you technically did deal the damage to Miss Marvel, but she didn't take it, which seems acceptable, actually. That might actually work. But yeah, there is a difference in the language between deal and take. You can check the text on what a tough status is. It can't let you do one of them. But yeah, this is really good, especially in multiplayer, because for the whole round, nobody takes damage is obviously absurd. If 2 people block, get a free toughness for 3 versus 1 person, it's a big difference, let alone again allies. As much as we're not playing many champions allies. All right. The big issue is eventually, if this game takes too long, my face will become like Red Skull because it's warm in here, but we'll get through this. Let's go. I'm pretty sure it does work. Yeah, it does seem like it should work because it is deal versus take, and you are dealing but not taking. That makes sense. All right, here we go. Pot shot. We don't need this. No 4 damage this turn. We probably won't keep this. And then maybe can't, but like 4 tempo damage is not usually how I play this game, unfortunately. Genius is good, especially because we still have our friend in the deck, Devil Dino. Supernova helmet. We don't keep this. There's no reason to keep it. You can always just get it for the same cost. So we always will mulligan to see deeper. Command team, it's a luxury card. Doesn't do anything until we have other cards. We won't keep it. It's not bad. A really good reason for this that we haven't shown off, I think, on camera yet is you can just use Nick Fury twice. That's honestly not bad, but obviously with White Wolf, it's even better. Okay, Nick is worth keeping because we can just use Nick to get through the red house and draw more cards and get a free block this turn. Lightspeed Flight is great. Okay, so these cards are really good. If we have 3 more cards here, if we don't draw a wild, we can do double 1-2 for Nick. Has a chance of drawing a wild, use the wild for a helmet. We'd probably want to use the wild to play Nick Fury anyways, so I think we're going to keep these 3. Lightspeed Flight just deals with the red house. We don't want to be drawing more Lightspeed Flights. We have 3 of them because they're going to be better later. Love a Nick turn 1. Nick turn 1 is, I think, a bit overrated. It's basically gives you another mulligan and gives you a free block. That's not bad, let alone 2 thwart. Like Nick is one of the best cards in the game, maybe the best card. But I honestly would rather more consistently see some setups, but that's just another mulligan. The side-by-side turns, you could just choose the stats. Imagine Nova with 7 attack. Yeah, you can. It's just, oh my God, you're right. You can just choose the stats. Hold on. You're totally right. You can use side-by-side and then just take the damage over and over again. It's probably worth trying. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna add one copy of Go for Champions in the deck because this combo seems so good. Obviously, it's halfway through a mulligan, so be it. But you're right. If we play Go for Champions on a given turn, no, this is not good in the deck. It can't be good. I'm not gonna do it. You might want to try doing it. I don't think it's gonna be better for Red Skull, where thwarting is much more important. But yeah, that's a really good idea. Is that you can just not worry about doing damage to your ally and side by side, just to get +1 attack every single time. That's really good. Yeah, I almost would consider doing it immediately. Pot shots, whatever. We still want a wild icon. We have 5 in the deck. Not Jesse Alexander and not Adrenaline Rush, so that's not good. So if that's the case, I think we're just going to play Nick Fury Classic and then see if we can draw into a wild. The other options, we can use one of our cards to go get a resource generator. We might waste resources, but we're probably going to play something in hero mode anyway. So we'll just do 1-2. We don't play Jesse. We don't need this pot shot. We could see ourselves playing Adrenaline Rush. We'll pay 4 for Nicholas. I think draws 3. Give us a wild. Nope. Nope. Yes, nailed it. Okay. So we use alter ego. We'll throw out the power of leadership. We'll search for a helmet. I know where it is. You're allowed to shuffle your deck for fun if you want to, and Supernova Helmet comes into play. Again, it is technically in my dictionary as helmet. Let it be known. Okay, so we sorted a bunch of things. We can jump up here. Honestly, a Supernova, Unleash as soon as this turn would have been pretty reasonable. So we're still just going to do Supernova Climate for Lightspeed Flight. And this just does 3 threat off of the red house. This red house has no text. It's now just in its own discard pile, but that just clears it, which is fine. Then we'll just throw some tempo damage. So if you play in campaign mode, this starts with threat on it based off of how long you've spent fighting against the abs man. So whatever, we don't have to deal with that. We'll do 2 damage to the villain. We can play most of this hand. The issue is we have no one to attach sidearm to. So I think we actually just play command team and waste a resource. Because when we attack for 1 here, which we will, it readies this. So villain takes 1 down to 13. So we can basically play sidearm and Adrenaline Rush. This does 1 damage this turn. We have to attach sidearm to an ally, so that's not great. Adrenaline Rush is not a bad card, but I think we're just going to waste a resource here and then just play the command team. And then just use the command team, actually. So we're in a much better spot. So we'll use the command team, and we'll just take a counter off of it immediately to use Nick Fury 1 more time to do 2 more damage. Yeah, we waste a resource, whatever. Not a bad turn 1. We'll pass. Draw 5. Civic Duty, that's a really important card to hit the breakpoints. White Wolf is good too, especially because we have the setup of the command team, so that's a nice thing that we invested in. But Civic Duty is a breakpoint because it gets us to 2 thwart, which makes it a little easier to clear things. Miss Marvel, though, is going to do a lot of work on this hand, so we need a lot of resources. Side-by-side's useless. Specialized training. Side schemes actually do care for Red Skull's text. Red Skull just cares about side schemes in play. This was long before player side schemes existed, but technically player side schemes are side schemes, so if we play this and don't clear it, we make Red Skull angrier. All right, the Rise of Red Skull. So this gets 1 threat, and we have to get the top card from this deck, which is Hydra Reinforcements. This is the worst one to draw because it has a hazard on it, and it doesn't give you time, to interact with this hazard before it fires. So 2 threat, not bad at all. That's where the Civic Duty is pretty good, but it comes in with a hazard. When you clear this, it defeats an elite minion. A non-elite, not even a Hydra minion, just a non-elite minion. These have really fun art in them, but that might not matter. It'd be good too, because discard, not defeat. That's the thing. When this is defeated, you discard, not defeat. And a bunch of the Hydras have bad win defeat clauses you get around those, which is cool. All right, Red Skull's attacking for 2 in a card. We'll block with Nicholas, because of course we will. 1-2. Boost on the Hydra Jet Trooper is probably not good, right? So that's 1 minion out. Beans. Hold on, I messed this up. So if you are in hero form, the villain attacks you after his activation without a boost card. Okay, that's fine. So Nick is knocked out. And then Red Skull's attacking us for 2. Oh god, there's 3 discard bins. I'm definitely going to mess this up. There's 1 here, then the side scheme, 1 in ours, and they're all so close together. We'll just take 2 damage. All right, 2 encounter cards, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a bad turn 1. Is there an honorary champions upgrade? I don't think so. Honorary Guardian X. Okay, the honorary cards are Avengers, Guardian, X-Men, Among Thieves. No, I don't think there is, unless that's a different name. Ooh, we're getting hurt. And we can't get exhausted because we need to clear these things. So place 1 pursuit counter, Red Skull attacks us. This is not a good start. As much as we had a good tempo Nick. So Red Skull's attacking us for 2 in a card. I think we just take it to the face. 1-2. That was the wrong deck. This is going to happen a fair bit. Just give that a little shuffle. 1-2. boost off of the Hydra Exo Soldier. It's a shame not to have draw these because we can defeat these. So give the villain a tough status, another boost card. Okay, so functionally just a tough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ow. Oh, that's the villain. Hold on. We're down to 3 health. We could probably not die, but that seems bad. Infinite power. We got to attack 3 times this round. We have to exhaust or we die. 1, 2, 3. Give Red Skull a tough status card. We take 1 damage. Dog, that was a bad turn 1. Oh god, that was bad. That's not good. There's no world in which that was good for us. So this is useless text, but we have to clear it. We have to jump down and recover. And Red Skull schemes for 3 in a card, which means we can add 7 a turn to this. So if we draw poorly and jump down, like this just goes through. Because again, 3 + 3 + 1 is 7. So we have to get this down to 0 to be safe. But we have to like take a minute off to recover here. This is brutal. We're also not allowed to play this. Well, we could. We probably shouldn't because we're going to be thwarting this. Like side schemes are going to be very expensive this game. Okay, so most important, we clear this and this. We're exhausted. So if we're going to have to do that, we have to like play White Wolf, which might be fine. We could hold on to Miss Marvel, but we could play White Wolf. White Wolf could thwart this for 2. This goes to 2, 3, 4, 5. We just have to hope it's not a 3 boost. Yeah, that was brutal. It was really, really bad. And we're going to have to be recovering next turn. So like, yeah, not good. Oh, we have Supernova Helmet. Of course we do. So I think we have to play, like playing Miss Marvel is really good because we don't have our sidekick yet, but Miss Marvel doesn't really clear these well. Actually, she does. We could do Miss Marvel, ready Miss Marvel, 1, 2. That's probably better. Yeah, I think we do that. So we're going to do Supernova Helmet for 1. White Wolf is still good. So we could do 2, 3. We'll play our ally. She comes in with 3 health. Our sidekick is still unaccounted for, let alone our suit up. So we have 2 cards I can draw into it next turn, let alone will be an alter ego to set up our side-by-side combo. Okay, she will definitely thwart for 1. This text is useless. Well, you command team to ready her and she'll do it again. We clear this, it goes into its own deck. Play this Injustice with Skilled Investigator. This is such a free scenario. Alas. Oh, the other card we could play in this is, what is the soldier card that came out in what's his face? If you're really into side schemes, you could play that too. It's 1 cost cheaper if you're soldier. It's the card that came out with Mr. Cable. I don't know the name of it, but it's a card you could consider. Like anything that draws cards when you complete things is good. I don't know the name of it. If we play Civic Duty here, we have Civic Duty. Otherwise, we hold White Wolf. White Wolf is greedy because I don't think we're going to be able to pay 4 cards for this next turn. So I think we're just going to play Civic Duty, which is like a very good card in this scenario, and just use our whole hand. Mission Leader, yeah. Mission Leader is a card you could consider. Like any card that gives you draw value after you clear something. The problem is like this is a 2-cost card that'll probably draw twice. A bit more when you play side schemes, and I don't think it's good enough. And there's no way to give yourself the soldier trait. We'll flip down and pass. So we're hoping this doesn't clear. All right, 1. Nice. Glad that we got her down because now we can do a double recover, which is like super useful. That's sidekick. 2, side by side. Okay, we have a turn here. We can come back. 3, Lightspeed Flight. We have definitely a turn here. If we draw a good side scheme, we can jump back into this aggressively. Call for backup. I think we're going to swing back so hard. If we draw an Unleash Nova Force, also a connection. Both of those are good. Energy, not bad. And Force Field Projector. Okay. Unleash would be really good here because we're probably going to clear 2 side schemes. All right, Res of the Red Skull. This goes to 2. We draw a side scheme. Prison camps. Okay, honestly, horrible theme. Not going to get around it. Terrible theme on this one. But when we clear this, we can get a Nick Fury, let alone a White Fox. Oh, White Fox? That's not right. White Wolf. But when defeated, the player defeated searches and puts into play, which is a Nick Fury draws 3. And we can clear this for 1 resource. So we're going to have a comeback here for sure. We can claw this one back. All right, villain. Schemes for 3 in a card. So low boost, 1, 2, 3. 4 in text, spreading lies, give the villain a tough status. We've drawn 17 cards that say give a tough status, which that's fine. So this is only 4 threat. This goes to 6, which is fine. 1 encounter card. Hydra Flame Soldier. Would really like to have an Unleash Nova Force here. We might still draw one, just unfortunately after we clear a couple too many things. So this is after Hydra Flame Soldier makes an undefended attack, discard a support. Really cool card. Otherwise, only attacks for 1. I like cards like that that are like hard to get rid of as much as 4 health is medium hard, that don't attack but have text, because then you can decide not to attack with it. I don't know. Interesting card, as much as if it had Quick Strike could be much more interesting. Okay, so problem is we're really, really weak. Now we have a ready with side by side into double, which is good. And we have a Lightspeed Flight. So I think we just have to go ahead and sidekick her up. So we'll make Miss Marvel a sidekick, which heals 3 health on her. And now when we recover, which we will, she also recovers. We can't use Supernova Helmet because we're in alter ego. It's only hero mode. But now we're going to recover for 3, which means she recovers for 2. Okay. Here, we can pop off. So we'll flip. We can go up to 2 thwart, which doesn't really matter. This, we technically don't have to clear 1 off of it. If he schemes, this goes through anyways. So like not much we can do. I don't know if there's insight on cards. If there's insight 1, we should clear this. There probably is, right? So what do we want to do here? We don't need to play call for backup because if we clear this, we draw 3 anyways. So I think we're just going to do Supernova Helmet into Lightspeed Flight and just draw 3. So this just removes 3 threat. We'll clear prison camps. So we can go search for an ally and put into play. So you know how this goes. Nick. So Nick Fury, after Nick Fury enters play, draw 3 cards. We're going to do that. We've cleared our side scheme 1, 2, 3. Not a genius, but we can still draw a lot with Moon Girl. Nick Fury comes in with 3 health. Okay. So what can we do here? Oh, we can use Miss Marvel to return this to her hand. I think we do. Yeah, for sure we do. So we'll use, our ally will deal 1 damage to her to return Lightspeed Flight to her hand. Yeah, very good. I keep forgetting you can just do that on not side by side. Okay. So our hand has 3 mental resources if we use our Supernova Helmet, but we have to ready ourselves first, which means we'll do a double for side by side. So we're going to do this up. We're ready. We'll recover 1. She will recover 1. But we are going to do 1 damage to her and use her text to return this to her hand and do the also familiar combo and return that. Okay. We now can only attack for 1, which means if we want to defeat this, we can do 1, 2, 3, 1. That gets there. So I just want to, before we commit too much, attack once to ready the Supernova Helmet so we can play Moon Girl. The other thing is we can do Moon Girl and Nick to defeat this and instead thwart 1 off of that. That's probably better because this is not a great breakpoint. Also, taking off the toughness for 1 is a bit better too. So we'll attack for 1 into this. And then this ready Supernova Helmet, which we'll use. So 1, 2, 3. And we'll play Moon Girl. She'll draw 3 cards. So already on this turn, we have drawn 6 extra cards. 1, 2, 3. Still no Unleash, which is fine because they're always good, especially because the big elite bot at some point will show up. Okay, command team, we want to save White Fox. We could have brought back with Call for Backup, or sorry, White Wolf, which is good, but that's okay. We are currently exhausted, but we won't be for long. So we're going to do Power of Leadership for a double to play side by side. So you know this trick again. We will do ready. We'll recover 1 on her and us. Then we'll deal 1 damage to her exhausted, return this to hand. Okay. We will thwart for 1 to keep us in check, readying this. We'll spend this resource on Lightspeed Flight to clear this down to 1. I think we have 1 more white Lightspeed Flight in our deck, which is like one of our best draws on any turn because it clears every side scheme, I think. I don't think there's any side scheme that has more than 3 threat, but I could be wrong. All right, Nick and Moon Girl will just knock this out. We have a free block this turn. Cool. This hand, we don't actually have to get that much more greedy. I think we'll maybe play this side by side 1 more time because we have a double, but then we'll just set up the Civic Duty. So we'll do double by side. We'll do ready. The recover is really nice. Again, we started this turn on 2 health. She goes to 1. We'll put it down, add this back to her hand. We will simply thwart for 1 to keep this easy to clear in the future. This toughness, we don't want to knock out and just pass the turn because we draw an encounter card that puts it back. It's a bit silly. That readies this. Bit of an ugly hand, so we can do it 1 more time. We'll do 1, 2 for side by side. We will ready, recover 1, put her on 5. Do we return this to her hand? No, we don't because we don't need to. How many side by sides are left in the deck? That's the big question. I think 1 more is left in the deck, which is good enough. Okay, then she will simply attack for 1 into the toughness, which we said we wouldn't do. We'll attack for 1 into Red Skull, ready Supernova Helmet. We'll use that resource to play the second Civic Duty and we'll pass. We started that turn on 2 health. A minion, a side scheme, 6 threat. Shit, that wasn't an Unleash Nova Force turn. Like, yeah, Nova's goofy. Goofy sometimes, straight goofy. I'm not going to use this command team. I think this is the last one, but with White Fox in the deck cycle, I guess it's going to be a while before we find next White Fox, so maybe we should have used it. Mobile Bunker. Maria, that's really good in this scenario. Adrenaline Rush, Suit Up is useless, and Kid Omega. So these are a couple ways to deal with the side scheme. Hopefully we get a good tempo side scheme. There's a side scheme also that just like allows you to shuffle cards from your discard pile back into your deck. That's really high value. Goes to 1. We draw a next side scheme. It's Censor the Past. I think that's the one. So this comes in with only 3 threat. Acceleration doesn't matter. Each player chooses up to 3 cards in the discard pile and shuffles them back in their deck. That is so good. Because you can put White Wolf back, you can put Unleash Nova Force back, you can put your pot shots back, you can put your 3 threat cards back. Like, obviously so good. And it's so much better when your deck is like, 6 cards left, 7 cards left, because now your deck is super consistent to draw whatever that is coming up. So very, very good. Villains attacking for 2 and a card will put Nick in the way. 1, 2, 3, 4 off a Hydra regular. That one does have insight, so good to know. Nick is knocked. 1 encounter card. Hydra Soldier. Okay, so this is the one that has bad when defeated text. 4 health and guard. You've seen this one a fair bit. And when defeated, the heads of Hydra continue. You draw the next encounter card. So that's the one you want to line up with the side scheme that's already gone. Okay, so Unleash Nova Force. Unfortunately, there's 2 in the bottom 6, which is bad because they overlap. We could draw one this turn, and if we do, we will play it. So the only way that we can draw a card here is by playing Maria Hill. Yeah, I think we will because it hits a breakpoint here. So is there anything else we need to do? No, we'll do 1. Suit up is useless. We'll play Maria. I will open the correct Maria because we've trained this problem. She comes in with 2 health and she draws a card. Unleash Nova Force. It's a pot shot. That's perfect still, though. Pot shot is the 4 damage, which obviously lines up great. So 2 Unleash Nova Forces in the bottom 5. Not great. Okay. So what are we doing? We could do 4 damage to Red Skull this turn with a pot shot, no problem. But we've already used the Supernova Helmet once. So this is going to get played for free, which leaves us with enough resources to just play Champion's Mobile Bunker. We want to get Moonpool back into the deck. Okay, so we'll just use Maria Hill here to thwart for 2. We will clear it. So each player can choose up to 3 cards from the discard pile and shuffle them into the deck. This is a really important choice. So what do we want left in our deck? We can look at our deck. So we have a Connection for the World Mind, and only 5 more cards. So we're going to be drawing every card here. So we can make our deck every card. There's 2 Unleash Nova Forces, which is a bit ugly, as side by side. This is so good. So what else do we possibly want here? Like, this is so much control. I think at a minimum, we'll always shuffle a Connection to the World Mind back because it's just a free resource. And with side by side, free resources are good. So that's a 1 card. I could see us wanting to put a White Wolf back, but there's no doubles here. And we have 1 Lightspeed coming up. So we could do a White Wolf and maybe a pot shot. Actually, probably a double. I can't tell. I have to spend a lot of time thinking what's the right call here. Oh, that's our discard pile. We don't need to shuffle that. Actually, instead of the White Wolf, we might be able to do the side scheme because that's a bit better because we get White Wolf for free and it's another Unleash Nova Force target. I actually like that better and it gets us out of the cycle. So then we won't do, we have 1 Lightspeed. We can return to hand with Miss Marvel. This seems good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So we're going to be drawing in the best case scenario every card here besides 1, but with Unleash Nova Force, we're going to be drawing into most of them. I think it's nearly impossible for us to draw no Unleash Nova Forces, but technically possible. All right, we thwarted, so Supernova Helmet's ready. All right, we'll use Supernova Helmet to pot shot the Hydra Soldier. We don't often mind an extra encounter card on the turn that we are going to do this. So this draws another encounter card. This setup, we could just play Champion's Mobile Bunker to get us efficient. I think we will get out of the cycle. So this is a card that allows us to draw 2. We don't want to do it this turn necessarily. I'll get that later. Moon Girl will attack for 2 into the villain. Gets knocked. So she can hit the deck cycle next turn. Actually, no, the 2 damage is probably not as good as just a free block. So we won't do the 2 damage. She'll just block this round because we're not decking out. I forgot. Miss Marvel doesn't have to do anything for 1. Her health is more useful. We'll pass. So this is the calm maybe before the storm. Let's see what the storm looks like. 1. Lightspeed. Good start. Okay, doesn't count. Unleash. Okay, so we're good. We're happy with this hand. All the other thing that we want here is the side scheme. Side by side, good. 4, 5, 6. Doesn't count. 7. So the last card that we didn't draw is the Genius. That's totally acceptable. We drew almost all these cards. And that's so good to set up the bottom of your deck to get this as smooth as this is. All right, this goes to 2. We draw 1 side scheme. That's the interesting one, the Sleeper Awakens. So we have more things to do here. So this is going to spawn the Sleeper. I think that's all the text is. I guess I pulled this up first. So Sleeper's in play, which means the Sleeper's actually going to attack against us because this spawns off during the beginning of the villain phase. So Guard, Retaliate, and Toughness. Technically, Retaliate on top of toughness is a good combination. It has guard. When revealed, the sleeper engages the first player, and when defeated, remove the sleeper from the game. So Sleeper Awakened is the one encounter or side scheme that's not going to get shuffled back. This thing just basically says put the sleeper into play. When the sleeper is defeated, get rid of this. So not a real thing, but it is a real side scheme, which matters. All right. Villain's going to attack us for 2 and a card. Either we can put Red Skull in front of this or Moon Girl in front of this. Sorry. Either we can put Moon Girl in front of Red Skull or the sleeper. Moon Girl is likely to block more damage from Red Skull. Sleeper is always 3 damage. Red Skull is somewhere between 2 and 5. So I think we'll just take the guaranteed block when we can get it. We haven't played our defense card once. We can block with Maria Hill if we get attacked another time, but yeah, because we don't have a lot of thwarting to do, so she's not very useful. Do we need the damage off of this? Like maybe we attack. How do we clear the sleeper? I could see us attacking with Maria. Then we could attack for 1 and then just go hit it with the Oh, I thought there was a pot shot in our deck. Is there no pot shot in the deck? I was meant to shuffle a pot shot into the deck. Oh, my bad. Ooh, yeah. One of these cards should have been a pot shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means actually we need the damage to deal with the sleeper, because attacking over and over again for 1 is not amazing. I thought there's a pot shot. I was so excited to do 4. Went from dire to totally winnable. It was such a big turnaround back then. Okay, we're at 9 health. We're going to be taking at least 5 damage this turn. It could be up to 8 damage. I think we block with Maria. Yep. So 2, 3. Maria's knocked. Sleeper attacks us for 3. We'll just take it down to 6. So we still have a panic block if we need it. 1 encounter card. Hydra Exo Soldier. Okay. I mean, we don't have enough damage because we didn't play any of our adrenaline rushes. So we'll see how bad this is. We could always get Nick Fury in a pinch, but this is just 5 health toughness, which that's a really good stat line. Attack for 2, thwarts for 2. Final card. Okay. Red Skull's Luger. Classic German firearm. The Red Skull's Luger? Oh, just Red Skull, excuse me. So this says Red Skull gains piercing and ranged. We don't have any toughness or retaliate, so that doesn't matter. But +1 scheme, +1 attack. It's 3 different resources to get rid of this. Inspect us. Okay. We have some work to do here. That is very much true. Luckily, we still have the call for backup. And when we crack the call for backup, we can decide what we want to get. The allies we could get White Wolf, which that is our biggest attack for 2. So that's probably how we whittle down the sleeper. I think that's probably it, is that we just get White Wolf here, because it's really good on a Nova turn anyways. So that's probably what we're going to do here. So we're going to start. The cards we get in our discard pile in this order. So we're going to do Unleash Nova Force, and we're going to go play Call for Backup. Comes in with 3 threat. Okay, 3 threat. When we clear this, we can go grab White Wolf. We could grab Nick if we want to, but I think our hand is actually good enough. We know the card that we're drawing here at the bottom is like not particularly great, but it will play side by side. So we'll play that with Unleash Nova Force. No, we don't need it. We can just use Supernova Helmet. But then this hits the deck cycle. Yeah, we should just do that. I think we waste a resource, but getting this back in the deck is way more important. We can always draw 2 shuffle 2, but we'll do that after we deck out, I guess. Okay, we will now use Supernova Helmet. No. Now we'll use this to play Unleash Nova Force. Yeah, this seems right. So now we're going to get our dice out and start counting this. We have a bad turn here. We're going to attack for 1 into the toughness. We take Retaliate 1. The toughness comes out. And we can ready Supernova Helmet. We'll use Supernova Helmet now to play Lightspeed Flight, which does what we wanted to do. We'll remove 3 threat from Call for Backup, which clears it, so we can go get an ally. We also can do everything we want to do, but we'll get an ally first. This actually might miss the discard. We can use that on here, which is maybe fine, but we'll go search our deck. We really want to just use Miss Marvel to get a pot shot, but we have to draw a pot shot naturally with Champions Mobile Hub, which will not be great. So we're going to go for White Wolf because White Wolf gives us the most card draw. We'll put White Wolf into play. All right, we'll refuse to return this. White Wolf is in play. 3 health, doesn't take consequential when attacks, but puts threat, which should be fine. Then we fire Unleash Nova Force. So we ready? We put a die there. We draw a last card, which means we deck out. We draw this double. We get an encounter card. We shuffle our discard pile. We're back in. Okay, we can do this. We have a side-by-side in our hand, right? Right? Yeah, that should be good enough. And we definitely want to knock out the sleeper because it also knocks out a side scheme. Okay. Okay. What are we doing now? So we're ready. Once we attack, this will get ready. Once this is ready, it doesn't really change much. So we probably should just use here. Do we want to get the connection to the world mine back in the deck? I don't know if it matters. Oh, we want to get Moon Girl back in the deck. Excuse me. So before we did this thing, we're going to attack with the Moon Girl into the sleeper. So the Moon Girl can get shuffled back in. We had a window to do that when we attack. But yeah, we definitely want her to hit the shuffle for sure. Excuse me. If we draw our ranged attack, we draw our pistol. White Wolf can knock out the sleeper. We should be fine. Okay. So there's nothing to do here because this is exhausted. As soon as we defeat something, this will be ready. So we have no way to ready with our hand besides side by side. And this is not super useful unless we do this. So what we could do is we could just attack one to take this toughness off. We'd also thwart one into this, but we can just clear this with a civic duty, which we could have shuffled back in our deck, but I think that's fine. Sometimes your mic crackles. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, let me know if that happens because usually I just have to like reattach this. It's really annoying when it happens. Give me 1 second. Hi. 1, 2, 3. Hi, is this microphone back on? Can you hear me? Hello. Yeah, it's back on. Let me know if that fixes it or if it's worse. I don't monitor my own audio, so when the audio gets bad, I can't tell, and I'm always really annoyed when my audio is bad. Hopefully there's less crackling. I don't know why it happens. Usually I just have to reset my audio interface. Hopefully that's better, but it's like such a bummer when you record a video and there's crackling in it for some reason. So please tell me if that is. I do appreciate it. Okay, if that's the case, we'll attack for 1 into this toughness, which readies the helmet, which is not super useful, but regardless, we're going to do 1, 2. Oh, we have to use Miss Marvel, so she'll attack for 1. She will attack into the exoskeleton to hopefully draw pot shot. So she'll do 1, 2, into side by side. Is it better or is it the same? And so we'll do the side by side thing. So we'll ready, heal. We'll recover 1. We'll do 1 damage to her and exhaust her to add this back to our hand. Okay, cool. Now we are ready. We'll pop a civic duty to give us +1 thwart. Seems better? Okay, I'll take that. Thank you. So civic duty is ready. We'll thwart for 2 to rise a red skull, clearing it. So we do our thing. This goes to 1. This goes here. This goes here. We draw a card. We draw Lightspeed Flight. Unfortunately, useless. Not a good draw. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and use the Champion's Mobile Bunker. So we'll draw 2. We're definitely looking for a pot shot here. Nailed it. And a Lightspeed Flight. So we can discard 2 cards. We'll just get rid of the 2 Lightspeed Flights. That sucks to draw these because they're really good for a deck cycle, but what can you do? Okay. We didn't draw our pistol, but that's okay because we still have a command team. So we're going to be drawing a lot more cards. White Wolf is going to attack for, well, we can pot shot the Exo Soldier, but I'd rather pot shot the sleeper. So White Wolf will attack for 2 into this Exo Soldier. We don't have 2 pot shots, do we? No. So that puts 1 threat on the main scheme. We want to use this before we lose it. So there's no great way to do this. So we're just going to attack for 1 into Red Skull. Okay, so Red Skull took 1 there. We're now going to use Supernova Helmet to play pot shot. Wait, are we wasting value here? Was the 1 damage worth it? No, it wasn't. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do pot shot to knock out the sleeper, which defeats the sleeper, which is removed from the game, which means this goes here, this goes here, this draws a card. Okay. And then this is removed and this will not come back. Okay, cool. All right, still trucking. This is exhausted, which is totally fine. We'll now thwart for 2 off of the main scheme here, which does this, which readies this, which draws a card, which puts us on 4. A 3rd Lightspeed Flight is gutting. That we don't want. We'll now use Command Team. Quickly ready White Wolf. White Wolf will just attack for 2, defeating the Exo Soldier. Yep, that's it. No crackles the last round, fixed for sure. Thank you. Yeah, let me know as soon as that shows up because that obviously is like not something we want and we can fix it. Okay, that's this. We have no good ways to use the Supernova besides playing Adrenaline Rush, which is probably still worth it. We could also clear the Luger, which is actually probably worth it as well, but it might just be better to side by side over and over and over again than playing the Adrenaline Rush, because I think we've seen a lot of minions so far. Regardless, yeah, if that's the case, there's no reason to commit to anything. So we'll just thwart for 2 off of this, clears it, readies this, hits this, draws a card. We drew Jesse, which, I don't know, maybe we'll play Jesse. It's hard to jump down. Red Skull thwarts for a lot. Okay, not exactly the end of the line, so I think we'll get rid of the Lugal. We'll do Wild, this, and I guess this. Oh, those are 2 blues, so we'll do blue and yellow, I guess. This costs us a bit, but it's nice to get rid of this as a hero action. And then we're just going to throw everything else into damage. It's the best we have here. So we're going to attack for 1 into the villain, just for 1. Then we'll ready this. We'll use this and that on a side by side. So ready, heal, recover 1. We'll exhaust or deal damage, return this to hand. We'll just attack for 1. It might have been worth it to play the Adrenaline Rush here because we're losing a lot of damage, but we're just chipping on the villain and healing ourselves as much as it takes a lot of actions. This readies. We'll do this we'll just straight spend this for this side by side. We recover 1. We ready? She does 1. I think I want to hold this into my hand. So do I need to return it to the hand? No, I don't think so. And then we will attack for 1 and she will attack for 1. Okay. Not the best, but obviously a good turn. We had 2 enemies, both with toughness and more than 4 health, and we cleared everything. So of course we can't be upset about that. We only did 5 off Unleash Nova Force, which is not the best, but pretty good. And we have 1 more still coming up. We'll pass. We'll hold on to this because it should clear any side scheme that shows up. All right, 1, 2, Power of Leadership. Unleash, great. We can do it again. Side by side, fantastic. And then a Strength. So we always can draw 2 more cards with Mobile Bunker or seed 2 cards deeper, which is going to be important. And we did damage. We actually did do some like temporary damage and we healed. So can't be too upset about that. All right, our side scheme that's the best one that we can draw, particularly when it comes to drawing Unleash Nova Force, because this thing draws a minion and we can get just like a really small minion here. There is a 2 attack minion, so it might have been fine to play an Adrenaline Rush that last turn instead of like attacking 1 more time. It probably was better. But yeah, when this is defeated, we can search for a Hydra minion. There's the Insight 1 Hydra minion. Notably, you don't reveal the minion, you put into play, so Insight doesn't even fire, which is like very, very good for us. All right, Red Skull is attacking for 2 in a card. We did heal, and we have more healing in our hand, so I'm pretty comfortable just taking this. So 1, 2, 3, Sinister Strike. We'll take 3. 2 encounter cards, though. That's a scary part. And there's no side schemes in these, obviously. Ooh, hate this one. So jumping down, our helmet won't ready, which when it comes to like an Unleashed turn, that's the worst. And the second card is a scheme, so going to be hard to jump down as well. So Dark Designs. Villain's going to scheme. So this is going to be for 3 in a card. We don't have a lot of thwarting. Luckily, we held on to 1 thwart card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Master Plan is good to see go, though. So that brings us up to 6. Okay. So if we want to jump down to deal with Weight of the World, it's really hard on this turn because, well, there's a lot of threat and Red Skull schemes for 3 and there's a crisis. Excuse me. Now, this stinks because for White Wolf to be good on Unleash turn, you need this to be low. So that kind of got away from us. So we can probably just like double Lightspeed, 1 Lightspeed into this, return it with Ms. Marvel, do the Lightspeed on that one and hope for the best. And White Wolf can knock out the next thing, but actually we probably want to knock it out. It just really sucks that we lose this helmet because replaying Lightspeed is really good. It's nice that you can do Power of Leadership to Lightspeed and that counts as a double for that case, which is like pretty sick. All right, I think we still start with the Champion's Mobile Bunker. We actually probably just Civic Duty there. So maybe we don't. Like, Mobile Bunker sees 2 more cards. I guess it just gets us through our deck, and that might be better. Because, like, this hand is just good enough. But being able to see deeper is fine. So we'll just exhaust this to draw 2, discard 2. We don't want Spec Training. We don't want Force Field, so we just dug through our deck. Being able to talk through every decision is a decision in a game like Marvel Champions must be some kind of mutant superpower. I mean, it's so fun. Like, when you play the game, you're making these decisions anyways, hopefully. So all you want to do is be able to communicate them and understand why. I also think if you slow down and try and explain why you're doing things, you just have to play better because you have to kind of explain to some authority why you're doing this and why you're not doing it. I might not always be right, but at least you understand why I'm doing things, which is the intention, right? All right, let's crack a Civic Duty. So let's get our thwart set up to 2. Again, this might have been a scenario where we wanted more Civics and less Adrenalines, but damage does matter. And I think we'll start here by thwarting for 2. We don't have to crack our Nova helmet here because it's not like it's going to ready, so we can wait for it later. So we'll thwart this for 2. And this one goes away. And we have to search for a Hydra minion and put it into play. I think we're just going to go for the cheap little guy, which is the regular. I think we're going to take it out of the discard pile because that's not a bad card to draw in general. Hydra regular has Insight. And I do think this reminds us that Insight is a reveal text, not a in-play text or engage text. But this says when this card's revealed, which it isn't, so it's just 2 health, little guy. I like the art on this one a fair bit, though. I wish there were scenarios that use like more weenies as like a real threat, kind of like, you know, Ultron does. It's a fun little thing to do. Oh, piss. Sorry. We were meant to play that first. Of course we are. So we were meant to play that first. Excuse me. I got carried away by talking about things. So Unleash Nova Force will play and play. We won't use this. We'll use... we'll use this because we're going to be drawing cards. So we just cleared that. So we ready. We draw a card. We don't ready this. Oh, Nicholas. Still pretty good. We have a Nick. I mean, Nick is good. Nick is thwart too. Yeah, I think we do it. I don't know why we wouldn't Nick. We want to get this low so we can jump down. But on Nick Fury, it's a turn that you don't want to jump down because you want to block with Nick. 1, 2. We did pop our Adrenaline Rush, or sorry, our Civic Duty. So like technically side-by-side's a bit better this turn. But yeah, man, it's such a bummer we lost the helmet this turn. Because again, any Unleashed turn, it's so good. Even if this card just draws a card and readies us, it's usually good enough. But losing the helmet makes it a lot worse. So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4. This removes 3 threat, but if we play Nick Fury removes 2 threat and draws 3 cards, which has to be better. So I think we're going to play our Lightspeed Flight, unfortunately, for power of leadership and strength, and play Nick. So we draw 3. 1. Command team's good with Nick, Energy, and Maria Hill. Okay, so that's a lot of threat work, but we have our 3 ally slots filled. Okay. Yeah, also like doing the side-by-side combo is way worse when you lose the helmet. So I'm not sure we want to be side-by-side maxing. There's actually a chance that we should have kept the Lightspeed Flight. Yeah, that might have been wrong. Okay, we want to knock out the Hydra Regular. Unfortunately, we don't have our attack set up, so we could attack with Miss Marvel and attack again. That's probably fine because it just readies a card, and we're not going to use Marvel for much else. So she'll attack for 1, and then we'll attack for 1, which defeats the Hydra Regular. Which brings us up, draws a card, can't ready the helmet. We have Sidearm. That's great. Sidearm's good. Okay, so feeling the loss of resources. So we probably don't side-by-side here. I think we just play Command Team, equip White Wolf with the Sidearm, thwart with everything that we can, and jump down. The scenario doesn't do 1 damage. Late stream, yeah, Liquid. We are streaming this evening. If this goes through, it's not the end of the game, so we could just let this go through, but we have to get rid of this helmet, which is a one-time problem for us. So I think we will. Nick will thwart for 2, dropping us to 4. We'll spend an energy for a Command Team, and we'll just use Command Team immediately. So then Nick will thwart for 2 more. We'll use a counter. So we're going to be able to jump down with no threat, which puts us in a good spot. We will pitch Maria to give White Wolf a Sidearm. So White Wolf now has a Sidearm, so has ranged, which Retaliate might show up on an attachment, but notably now has 3 attack and can attack forever, and has +2 thwart. Okay, for full safety, we can thwart for 2 and not use White Wolf. White Wolf could probably take a bit of consequential damage here, but we can then do a White Wolf, jump down, get rid of Way of the World immediately, which saves us 1 resource next turn. This is exhausted. I think that's fine. I don't think it's that important. White Wolf is so good now. We have no more Unleashes. Oh, wait, we can clear this 2 threat. Wait a second, we can clear this 2 threat. I forgot about that. We'll draw a card. Pot shot. Okay, sick. Okay, so that's good. So now we're fine. We can jump down. We can exhaust ourselves to get rid of this, remove it from the game. So now our helmet can ready. We're left with 2 cards, which have no use here. So we will just pass. I don't think we need this. We want to get through our deck. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Wait. Hold on. What are we doing? So we remove the 2 threat, and then we attack with White Wolf. Sorry, way better. I don't know why we're doing this. So we attack with White Wolf, who does 3 damage to the villain. Yeah, down to 2. Puts 1 threat here. Wait, we might actually have lethal with the pot shot. Or like we can fire and Unleash Nova Force 1 more time. Of course, we'll thwart for 2. Clear this, which readies this, gives us a card. All right. Then we can just fire. We'll just do pot shot. We might as well attack for 1, but it doesn't matter. So we'll just do pot shot for the whole hand. So we'll do 4 damage to Red Skull, defeating Red Skull, which again brings us up, readies us, and draws a card. I mean, fine. Let's advance. Yeah, wait, that was way better. I don't know why we gave up on ourselves. When revealed, deal each player an encounter card. I mean, that's bad for jumping down. Now we have 3 scheme that doesn't change, 2 attack, and 20 health. So pretty big jump, I think. Okay, that's fine. Kid Omega's in our hand, which we could keep Kid Omega. It's not a bad card. We'll have an ally slot. We'll jump down, exhaust, get rid of the weight of the world. Yeah, that was way better. I'd use the wolf, yeah, 100%. I was going to use the wolf to scheme, but like, no, we can use the wolf to attack there. Gun wolf is good wolf. We don't have to jump down. We only have to jump down to get rid of the helmet thing, which we want to. We lost so many resources this turn. Otherwise, this would have been way higher, but that's good enough. The question is we keep on Kid Omega or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think there's any world mines in here, so we're not going to deck out. We don't have a genius in here, but we do have Moon Girl. So do you stay up and have Nick take the attack? I don't think we can afford to take the helmet off, not take the helmet off. You're right that Nick can take the attack here, and we're drawing 2 encounter cards, so this is a bit risky, but if this goes through, it's not the end of the world. I also think if we're drawing a lot of encounter cards, keeping the Kid Omega is worth it. But we're definitely doing a risk here. If this was not the final main scheme, I probably wouldn't jump down. But if this main scheme goes through, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, we're losing the Nick block for sure, but the helmet, we need to get rid of the helmet somehow. And we're not guaranteed to be able to unload with red next turn. 1, Moon Girl, nice. 2, 3, pot shot, that's good. 4, Adrenaline Rush, whatever. 5, suit up. 6, we don't deck out, is side by side, that's good. All right, this goes to 1. This last encounter card, we should be able to call what it is, but I don't know. Oh, this one is annoying. Actually, this discards from your deck. Oh, this is annoying. Each player discards the top 5 cards of their deck. So we only discard a wild. And so there's only 1 threat here. And we deck out, which means we get another encounter card. So at least it's only Crisis with 1, which is perfect for Unleash Nova Force. But we do get 1 encounter card. And this is the last card in the deck, so we should have known it was coming. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the rules of the side scheme discard pile, but I think we're meant to shuffle it now, not shuffle when you have to draw a card. That means Nick misses the deck out, which sucks. But what can we do? Did we play our? Yeah, we played our card that searches for Nick. So it's at least nice that this only had 1 counter on it. But okay, Red Skull's gonna scheme for 3 in a card. I would love to unleash with Champion's Mobile Bunker if we could find it, because we have White Fox command team. That's 6 damage, draws 2 cards, like so good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good. So all we have to do is get schemed on. 1, 2, 3. Boost. If this card resolves during undefended attack, no. So this goes to 4. Pretty good. Now we have to survive 3 encounter cards, which being in alter ego is not a good time to do this. Bitter Rival. When revealed, exhaust the character you control for each side scheme in play. We'll exhaust Nick. Not an encounter card. Nice. Drawing near. Okay, good to be an alter ego for this, because this discards a card from the top of our deck. We could technically fire our Nemesis this turn. This is just a standard 3 card, not a big deal. And then we draw Hydra Exo Soldier. So actually not a bad encounter phase. So we've seen this 5 health toughness. And I think we have pot shot in our hand. So now it's our turn. So when our turn starts, we have to discard the top card of the deck. It's not a double, as much as this can be a double. And so we put this on 3, which means we're very close to finding our Nemesis, which we usually don't mind. If we want to get rid of this, we have to discard an identity specific hand. So it's only pot shot here. So before we do that, we have 2 different ways to draw. Now we have Moon Girl, but we have no mental resources in our hand. We can play this when we're in hero mode, but this is all energy. So suit up is useless. And that's mostly it. So I think we're just going to use Champion's Mobile Bunker and look deeper. And my Nick is gone. Yeah, that was almost free. That was actually pretty sick. So use Champions. Oh, you can't do this in alter ego. Excuse me, this is heroic. So we have to do this in hero mode. So we can't do that yet. So I guess the only way to get rid of drawing near is throw out a pot shot. Feels bad, but we have to get rid of this. Actually, maybe we don't. Whatever. Losing pot shot sucks because that's a lot of damage, but White Wolf can deal with it. All right, we'll flip up. Okay, now we'll use Champions. So we're looking for a thwart card. We're looking for Unleash, so we'll draw 2. Genius, that's really good because we have obviously Moon Girl and Jessie, whatever. We have to discard 2 cards. So we'll get rid of the suit up, and I don't think we need the adrenaline. Mind you, we should be at 1 thwart. Okay, without thinking, 1, 2, 3. For Moon Girl, she draws 3. 1, okay, Spec Training, World Mind, Lightspeed Flight, that's okay. That will deal something. We don't have a lot of readies here, besides we can spam our side by side, which should be good enough. Okay, so we've used this, so we can just thwart for 1 on that, which is fine. Yeah, Exo Soldier is actually going to be hard to deal with. We could always like command team White Wolf to defeat it. That's probably the play. We didn't consider healing when we were in alter ego. We probably actually should have considered healing, but we should have healed because we recovered 2 on her and 3 on us. That's actually pretty good. Now we're going to be full healing with side by side, so maybe it's not necessary, but we probably should have considered healing before just straight jumping up in like obvious hindsight. Okay. Actually, not the easiest turn. I think we just have to thwart this for 1, which defeats this, which doesn't do anything clever, but it readies this, which is a good enough start. Okay. So Ms. Marvel, I think we just do Supernova Helmet for Lightspeed Flight to remove 3 off of this. And we're not going to return this to hand. We're going to use Miss Marvel to attack this for 1, just to take the toughness off, and so she can exhaust. Her being at 1 health is actually really bad, because next turn there's like no good way to get her in a bad spot. We 100% should have recovered. I just can't come back and fix that. Because we drew way too many cards. But yeah, because now the issue is we have to end up with a side-by-side and not return it, so she ends up on 2 health, which is like totally doable. But whenever she's on 1 health, you can't exhaust her. And if you can't exhaust her, you can't play side-by-side anymore on a following turn. So you have to watch out. If we return this to hand, can we do a spec training? Actually, is that a line? Because spec training, we can thwart 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we could do a spec training. Maybe you'll get the treachery, the exhaust character. Yeah. Yeah. We've been a rival exhauster. That would be sick. There is some line that we actually pursue the specialized training. I could see that being good. I don't think we will, though. So this is in the bin. Okay. We'll use White Wolf to attack for 3. Sorry, doesn't take consequential. Drops this to 2. Puts 1 threat here. Totally acceptable. Then we can ready White Wolf to attack it, or we can just use Moon Girl. I think we'll just use Moon Girl here. Knocking out the Exo Soldier. Okay, everything else is just going to be a side-by-side combo turn at this point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could crack spec training. It's not that expensive. Regardless, we'll do 1, 2 into side-by-side. You know the combo. So we recover 1. Ready. Heal. We'll take a damage to hurt, return it to our hand. So we can just thwart this down to 2. We have 2 unleashes left in our deck. Yeah, spec training is good, but we have 20 health, which like with White Wolf command team, we're kind of there because this is 6 damage next turn. We have like a pot shot. That'll be 10 damage. Yeah, I don't think we need to do it. We'll thwart for 1. Ready's this. We'll use this to play this and side by side. Readies, recovers 1. We'll do 1 damage, return this to the hand. We'll thwart for 1. Clears this. Readies this. This and this will play side by side. We use side by side to recover 1. Ready. We'll ready her, heal her, not use her. We'll attack for 1 into the villain. Okay, we'll pass. Yeah, I think we should have recovered. I don't think we would have lost a lot there, and we'd have been a lot easier, like a lot bigger margins. We'll draw. Energy. Connection World Mind doesn't count. Civic Duty. Adrenaline Rush. Side by side. So that's already a good enough hand. And our 6th card is a pot shot, so we can knock out minions. This goes to 1. Our side scheme is Hydra Reinforcements. That's the bad one. We got that on the first turn. This is the one that we're going to draw another encounter card, but when defeated, eats a minion. We don't really care about that. The villain's going to attack us here for 2, 3 in a card. We'll block with Moon Girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moon Girl's gone. 2 encounter cards. Yeah, man, that one's so much worse. Like acceleration, I don't care. Hazard, yeah, that sucks. Hail Hydra. I think we have to go get a minion, right? Each Hydra minion engage with you. Each player who is not attacked this way searches the counter to discard power for a Hydra minion, puts into play, and shuffles in counter deck. I mean, that's not bad. We'd love to have an Unleash here. We can still draw 2, but we're going to get our friend Hydra Regular that has no text. Again, this puts into play, doesn't reveal it, and Hydra Regular just has 2 health. That's it. Oh, technically we could get something bigger and defeat with Hydra Reinforcements, but we don't need to. Dark Defiance. Oh, that's not good. We go get a Nemesis. Actually, this turn will be sick if we get, specifically, if we can draw an Unleash. This is a good turn. We're going to have to lose something with a wild icon. Let's see how bad that is. Warbringer's back. You put Moon Girl in the wrong discard? Yeah, you're so right. Good catch, too. I put it in the side scheme bin. All right, Warbringer's here. 5 health. The text doesn't care. It says dies to pot shot. We have... This card does count. Bring the War. So we have to get rid of our... Unfortunately, we have to get rid of our helmet. So Bring the War says that we have to discard a card with a wild. So that's the only card we have with a wild. In theory, you could play like... Maybe this is actually a reason to play like Clarity of Purpose in this deck. Just so you can put it on the table and to discard this. Because it technically has a wild on it. Because there's a wild. But losing your helmet really sucks for obvious reasons. This card also will be shuffled into the side scheme deck. I don't think that deck is going to cycle out, but technically this side scheme doesn't go to the normal deck. It goes to the side scheme deck. If we draw an Unleash here, we have a game. If we don't, this is a much harder turn, but there's so many easy Unleash targets here as much as we do want a Civic Duty and we have a Civic Duty. Losing the helmet sucks. There must be other like cheap leadership cards that have a wild on them. I just don't know besides Clarity Purpose and Maybe that's it? Like, strength and diversity doesn't count. All right, we're going to Champions Mobile Bunker because it's the only card draw we have. So we want to find an Unleashed for sure. 1, 2, nothing. Okay, so this is just going to be a messy side-by-side turn. So we can discard 2 cards. Doesn't matter. So what are our breakpoints here? White Wolf attacks for 3. So 2 attack actually matters because it clears up the table. So Adrenaline Rush is good. We have to play real costs on things. Pot Shot also means that I don't actually think we play Pot Shot because Wilds. Oh no, we have Wilds. But this means it dies to 2 attacks anyway. So I think we wanted rather do White Wolf for 3, attack for 2. So then we're spending 2 resources on the Adrenaline Rush, but then it also knocks out the regular. I think that's fine. Combined Effort. But it has to be an upgrade, right? Wait, that can't be it. Combined Forces? I don't know what the card is. But yeah, it needs to be an upgrade. Oh, the one that you attach to the villain, like the Cyclops card might have a wild on it. I forget the name. The one that anybody can pay for costs. That might have a wild on it. All right, so we have to discard 2. It's probably Command Team. The question is, which of these do we want better? So we lost our big resource generator. We want to jump down. If we clear this, oh, we can just get rid of Warbringer if we clear this. Wait, that's amazing. Wait, yeah, that's sick. Okay, if that's the case, we don't need the Adrenaline Rush. But I forgot Hydro Reinforcements discards non-elites. Warbringer is the non-elite, so we can just discard Warbringer. Okay, so it's actually more important we thwart this for 3, which is not super easy. All right, I mean, side-by-side solves all issues. So we're going to spend a wild on Civic Duty. We're going to crack it to give ourselves 2 thwart, I guess. Yeah, this is not a great turn. So we'll thwart 2, clear Hydro Reinforcements. When this is defeated, we can discard a non-elite minion. Coordinated Effort. Is that the one? That sounds right. Yeah. I mean, it's a useless card, but yeah, Clarity's probably better. But yeah, that's a good shout out. That's probably the one we want, right? Okay, so that's this. We have to have Miss Marvel fire at this point. So I'm not sure how we're meant to do that. I think we just thwart for 1 because we're probably gonna have to recover sooner than later to get the helmet back. So she will thwart for 1, so we hit this breakpoint. We'll play Power in All of Us. Sorry, actually, we're gonna do energy for side by side because we can use the wild when we jump down. So side by side, we'll ready, heal. She will heal. Will we add this back to hand? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, we can thwart for 2, clear this. That goes into out of their deck. This thing thwarts for 1, which is not a real problem. So we can just use White Wolf on it, which defeats it. Okay. We can thwart for 1 off of this. We will jump down. We'll use the Power of Leadership to bring back our helmet, and we'll just pass. I think there was probably a better line there. I think that's the only one that stays in play with a printed wild asset from Clarity purpose. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, then maybe that's worth something. Pot Shot for damage I'll hold because I think we're at the damage stage and Unleash should be showing up. If we're worried about this 1 threat, we could ready somebody, but next turn we're going to probably like just recover to heal both of us and then we'll be in a good spot. Actually, we don't need to recover. Notably, you can't recover when you're at full health, so it's good that we're at, 9. 1, 2, light speed, good. 3, side by side, really good. 4, Maria. 5, projection. 6, civic duty, fine. We haven't played one of our defense cards. This goes to 2. This gets us the red house. Okay, we have to deal with that first because the villain can't take damage. Our thwart stat will decrease. And then Red Skull is going to just scheme for 3 and a card with 3. Boost. If you're in hero form, the villain attacks you after his activation. So just no boost, goes to 5. 1 encounter card. We did actually find it. We found the way to exhaust her. So exhaust the character you control. That's actually an upside to Miss Marvel because now we don't have to recover, but we probably will. That's so funny. Sick. Very, very good. Okay, cool. All right, let's pop off. So nothing to do in Alter Ego. Nothing to do in Alter Ego. Oh no, we can recover. We should recover just to keep Miss Marvel happy because it's hard. So we'll recover for 3, which we can't. And then she'll recover for 3. We're exhausted. We'll flip up. We have cheap readies, which is good. That means we have to do the side by side for full cost. So we'll do 1, 2 side by side. Ready. We can't recover. She recovers 1. We'll add this back to her hand. Okay, cool. We will thwart for 1. And to this, actually, no, first we'll champions. Can White Wolf use his attack to thwart the red house? It takes no consequential. Oh yeah, that's a really good point. Wait, what's the text on White Wolf? After White Wolf attacks. Wait, are we attacking? I mean, we have a 3 thwart card in our hand, but we can still use that somewhere else. Are we attacking this? When a character thwarts, they use their attack stats to thwart. I think they're not attacking, they're thwarting. I think we can do this. I think we can just thwart it for 3 without a downside. Huh? Okay, we'll use the mobile bunker. We'll draw 2. Unleash Nova Force, strength. Okay, so we drew the Unleash Nova Force. We might have not done that turn. We might have cleared it ourselves. So we saw something cool and we did it, but it might not have been right. We'll still clear this and do a small one. Yeah, it predates assault keyword, so the text is like, the wording is a bit strange. All right, we have to discard 2 cards here. I think we'll hold on to this one. Side by side is not super useful this turn. We're basically just going to thwart 1, ready to thwart 1, and then we'll set up an unleash next turn. So we'll hold on to it, but actually there's one more unleash in the bottom 4. Yeah, so we don't need to hold on it. And the bottom 4 is light speed and pot shot. So yeah, the unleash is not super useful here. And we don't want to play it for tempo because we draw the unleash. It's like not particularly good. Have we not played an unleash this turn, or have I forgotten to clear the die? I think I cleared the die. I forgot how many unleash counters we've gotten so far. But yeah, we definitely did play an unleash this round. Okay, we have to discard 2 cards here. So Maria's worth playing because she's a chump block. Potshot is worth playing because it's cheap. We have no wilds. Civic Duty setup is like, we're kind of beyond that point. So we'll get rid of Unleash and we'll get rid of Potshot. All right, we'll play Maria, draws a card. Great, we drew the bad card, the force field. Yeah, I forgot. I think we cleared a counter. I think it was at 5. I'm going to say it was at 3 just to be safe, but I'm pretty sure we played Unleash Nova Force already. It's a YouTube video. We'll find out. Okay, we'll thwart for 1. Ready's this. Why is Miss Marvel ready? I forget. We'll use this to thwart for 3. Down to 1. We can return this back to our hand. Does that do anything? No. No, it doesn't. Shield thwart for 2. Clearing that. So we could have kept the pot shot because his hand's like a bit ugly. We could side by side for 2 more damage. I'm pretty sure it was 5. Yeah, 5 seems right. So we can side by side for a bit of damage. That recovers 1 on Miss Marvel, but she has to take 1 damage to play it. So it basically just does 2 damage. It doesn't feel good. I think we'll just do this. We'll pass. Actually, Unleash Nova Force is probably worth playing because we have White Wolf command team, but whatever. Next turn will be sick. Okay, 1, 2. This is all bangers. 3, all bangers. 4, banger. Get encounter card shuffle. We are owed 1 more card. Should be banger. We also can draw the side scheme that allows us to get Nick Fury, which means like, oh, to the moon. To the moon we go. Command team's actually one of the better cards here because every command team is extra, I think 3 damage and a plus resource plus card draw. Like command team is actually really good. Ooh, Moon Girl. Nice. That actually works out well. Okay, it goes to 1. Encounter card. It is the one that we thought it was, so that's good. I think I did a good job shuffling these. Doesn't seem like I did. So it comes in with 3 threat when it's cleared. We get an ally, which is a Nick Fury. That's fantastic. Red Skull's attacking for 2 in a card. We'll put Maria in the way. 1, 2. Sorry, 3 in a card. 4, 5, 6. Love to not draw under fire. She's knocked. Misses the cycle. Not a big deal. 2 encounter cards. I don't know what this does. The war's been brought. Surge. Okay. When revealed, discard X cards from the top of the counter deck where X is equal to the total number of printed wild resources on cards in your hand, cards under your control, and cards in your discard pile. That's all it does. Discard cards. Okay. That's good for you, I guess. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we discard 4 cards. I mean, I don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4. We discard like, it doesn't matter. Okay, at least it has Surge. It has no boost icons too. It's like such a weird card. Master Strategist, excuse me. I think that was on 2. So when Red Skull activates, give him an additional boost card for each side scheme, then discard this. So we just want to chump block with an ally. Hydra Regular, Insight 1. That's perfect. That's another thing to destroy during a turn where we destroy things. Hydra Regular. It's only checking printed resources? Wait, did I do that wrong? It says discard cards with a number of printed wild. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the war has been brought says printed wild resources on cards in your hand. The obligation says, no, not the obligation. Our side scheme. Our side scheme says Printed wild resources. Yeah, it doesn't care that it's in the resource box, I'm pretty sure. I think this card will get it even if there's a resource like in the text box, because that is a printed wild resource. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it just means in the resource box. I think it just means on the card. Otherwise, Supernova Helmet will not discard itself to our side scheme, right? I think it makes it worse for us anyways, but yeah, I think it doesn't care if it's in the resource box. It just has to be printed on the card. Which, like, yeah, it's a weird text. I'm not gonna pretend it's not. Okay, so let's go to the moon. So Moon Girl's the worst card in our hand. Technically, we could Champion's Mobile Bunker here first. If we draw Genius, Moon Girl gets a bit better, but this hand's actually really good. I think we're going to use Champion's Mobile Bunker once we're holding bad cards. We have 2 Thwart, which is really good. Getting up to +2 attack would be nice. We might be able to attack the Hydra Regular twice, which is pretty goofy. And we do want someone to block with. Hopefully we find somebody. With Prison Camp, we will. That's goofy, but yeah, it is goofy. It's not what you think it is, which is in the resource box. I think it just counts printed. I think actually Domino has a card with similar text typing, but I might be wrong about that. Okay, so Potshot's the least necessary card here, but it does do 4 damage to Red Skull. But regardless, we'll do this into Unleash Nova Force. Okay, so let's start counting again. Every time we defeat something or remove the last threat, we get to do the cool thing. We are now going to thwart using Civic Duty, which is a pretty low value Civic Duty, but like, I don't care. We will Civic Duty for 2. Or no, we should just attack the Hydra Regular twice. We'll attack once into the Hydra Regular. That readies this. Okay. Then we'll use this to play Lightspeed Flight, which is the best resource efficiency. We might add this back to our hand, but it's unlikely. We'll probably return Potshot. So we're going to remove 3 threat from prison camps so we can go search for an ally. Firstly, we'll search for the ally, I guess. The order doesn't really matter, but I guess we could accidentally draw Nick here, so we should do this first. I think we can. So we'll get Nick into play, who draws 3. So we'll draw 1, 2, 3. Command team is really strong this turn. Very, very strong this turn. Nick is into play. I think we win this turn. We add 1 counter here. We ready? We draw a card. All right, genius. That's really good with the Moon Girl that we have still in our hand. However, our allies are oversized. That's less good. Okay. Next, we want to ready this. So we're just going to attack for 1 into the Hydra Regular. It defeats the Hydra Regular. So we ready this, we ready this. This goes to 2, we draw a card. All right, we are gaming. We are definitely gaming here. I think we actually do crack the Civic Duty. We probably do overinstall Nick Fury because we can just keep drawing more cards. So we'll use Nick Fury to attack for 2 into the villain. And it's better to use Command Team on White Wolf. So we're just going to overinstall Nick Fury. This is going to be a goofy turn. We're going to go ahead and do Genius, a Wild to make it a mental. And we're going to play Moon Girl to draw 3 cards. This is going to be goofy. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. Just finished my custom leader, Andre. Can I guess who I made? Is it a Transformer? I'm guessing it's a Transformer. This is our hand still. All right. So we want to clear this, but we want to one-shot it. So I'm going to crack Civic Duty to give us +1 thwart, which is not super valuable, but like the breakpoints really matter. So then we'll thwart for 2, clearing this, which readies this, readies this, readies this, draws a card. We have a pot shot. So we're going to send every pot shot into the villain. We should win this turn. So then we're going to do Supernova Helmet for a pot shot into Red Skull, takes 4. And we're going to use Miss Marvel to add it back to our hand. Now it is you, Goober. Wait, what? It's me, or I nailed it by it being a Transformer? It's a Marvel character? Oh, shit, I don't know, honestly. Existing hero? Can you give me a hint? I should know this. Okay, we're ready. We have no reason to mobile bunker. We are going to want to get our attack stat up. I feel like this is the turn where we do a side-by-side just for like some stats. But we need to return it to our hand. But I don't think we need the healing. So before we go any deeper here, I'm going to, oh no, because we have to exhaust ourselves. So we will attack for 1 into Red Skull, which readies this. Okay. How do we keep readying ourselves? Oh, with White Wolf. Yeah, right. So White Wolf will attack for 3 into the villain, putting a threat here. We will then energy for side-by-side. There must be a better way to do this than this turn. So side-by-side will fire. This is our only side-by-side in our hand, so it's actually kind of valuable. So side-by-side, we will ready both of us. We're not going to heal. We're just going to put 1 damage on her, exhaust her to return this to her hand, and we'll give everyone +1 stat. So we technically attack for 2, which, yeah, we should have mega lethal here. Before we do mega lethal, we're going to use the supernova helmet, and we're going to play... Honestly, I don't know. I guess we're going to do pot shot for 4. Then we're going to thwart this for 1, which readies, draws, goes to 4, another Unleash Nova. We're 5 damage. Yeah, I don't know why we're complicating this. We'll command team to ready White Wolf. God, we have so much damage. White Wolf will attack for 3 into the villain. It puts 1 threat here. We want to figure out a way to use that resource. We have no more pot shots, so that's unfortunate. I guess we can just... Oh, we have 1 more pot shot. Wow. We can pot shot for 4 into the villain. The villain's defeated, but that's not going to stop us. Technically, the villain's defeated. We ready and do Unleash Nova Force. We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and do the Power in All of Us for side by side. So we're going to play the side by side. We're going to ready. We're ready. We'll heal. We can't heal. She heals. She returns it to her hand. We'll attack for thwart for 1. Brings us to 5. Readies this. Oh my God. What's going on? I guess we'll just use Champion's Mobile Bunker. We'll draw 2. These are useless. We'll just discard them. Who cares? We'll attack for 2 into the villain. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it here. We have so much damage. Attack into 2 in the villain. Like, we can keep going. Like, we can play this command team, which we should have played for those 2 resources. The command team readies White Fox, a White Wolf. White Wolf goes again. We draw more cards. Like, we have so much more damage here. I think we should just academically do it. I think we're already off the optimal path, but we'll consider doing it still. So we'll just do 1, 2 for command team. We'll use this command team to ready White. Okay, White Wolf will attack for 3 into the villain, putting 1 threat here. Now we have to ready ourselves. We'll do 1, 2 to ready ourselves. We recover health. She recovers health. She puts us back in her hand. We thwart for 1. This goes to 6. We ready. We draw a card. This is clear. And then all we do here is dump every side by side. And I think the best damage is to dump the side by sides over and over again. I think there's nothing to it. So all we do is attack for 2. And so basically we spend this and this card. So we always have to just lose a card a turn. So we do a side by side, it comes back. We attack for 2. We lose a card, it comes back. We attack for 2. We lose a card, it comes back. We attack for 2. We lose a card, it doesn't come back. We attack for 3 and 3. 2 and 3 and 3, I think. I think it's that. I shortcut it, but I think it's that. It's 21 extra damage. We only fired 11 times. That's pretty low for us. But yeah, Miss Marvel's busted. The recursion is busted. And obviously Unleash Nova Force with White Wolf is really fun. Really good. Command team is actually really, really good. I'm fairly certain the academic term is nonsense. This hero is nonsense. It's hammer time? This is Thor? It has to be Thor, right? I don't know who else has a hammer. Did you do one of the Wrecking Crew? Were you really into... They don't even have a hammer. It has to be Thor. I think that's cool. I think Thor, I'm surprised we didn't see a leader Thor, considering the sort of pantheon that was explored. Yeah, it's nonsense. It's good. You can find the link below. Again, I did play this through a campaign and we did lose games. We played Expert. Like Expert Magneto did get us. Sometimes you just get overwhelmed by attacks. Sometimes you don't draw your things in the right order and the combo doesn't fire. So far, I think all the scenarios we played are uniquely pretty good for us. Like, they're pretty fine. They all have like side schemes over and over again, which is really good for Unleash Nova Force. They have minions over and over again, which is really good for Unleash Nova Force. And of course, Unus is like the best of all of those to some extent. But yeah, I was actually really impressed with how cool White Wolf is. And then of course the Miss Marvel Sidekick thing is its own thing that's worth pursuing on its own. Link to the deck is in the description. It is currently 26 degrees in this room and I'm wearing a sweater. So well done. I survived. It was just 3 to 4 mid sets that took forever to complete, as releasing a leader without them seems incomplete. Oh, the mod sets. Oh, are they all Asgardian? I suppose they have to be Asgardian sets, right? Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you had a good Mother's Day or a good weekend. Obviously we're streaming late, but thanks so much for joining. I do want to say a couple things. We always say like what we're going to do later before we sign off. My plan is to be back Tuesday to do a stream, and we're not going to be streaming Marvel Champions, but this is Ashes Ascendancy, which is like the new product from the Ashes Phoenixborn people. At this point, this game is 10 years old. I think this box is like on the 10-year anniversary. If you haven't played the game before, it's like technically, classically, a competitive 1v1 dice deck building game, kind of like Magic or Netrunner, something like that, right? Like two people build their decks, sit across from each other, play. This, for a while, they've been doing like cooperative stuff where you can play solo or two-player against, like an AI, like a villain. I picked up the first time they did that, which was the Red Rains box, and I thought it was okay. And then I picked this box up just like this week, and I've played like a dozen games with it so far, and I think it's neat. I think if you enjoy Marvel Champions, you probably want to check it out. So we're just going to come in on a Tuesday and play it with the card viewer and the overlay and everything like that. So it should be easy to watch and follow along if you care about that sort of stuff. The box is nice. It's everything you need to play the game, which is cool, as much as you only have 2 heroes in that box. And I don't fully understand how the game is currently being released. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Thank you, Andy. Thanks so much for dropping by. But anyways, that will be Tuesday night. We'll be back here. Otherwise, as I always say, if you appreciate content like this, if you want to take a second to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like generally all that stuff helps the channel so much. And it's like the easiest way to say thanks. Is White Wolf good for most heroes or only for Nova? I honestly think White Wolf is probably good for most heroes. The bigger issue is like leadership. Do you need to play this? And in like basic leadership, you don't need to play this. Leadership can just do busted stuff. The problem is like there's so many mid-range value allies that are just good. You don't necessarily need to play a card like this. Because again, it depends on your card pool. But if you're playing with the complete card pool, like leadership just has nonsense stuff. In fact, you can make a whole deck where you just play Nick Fury every single turn. You don't have to worry about it. I do think in terms of like the downsides of this, it's not a bad downside as long as you're thwarting a fair bit. But like I think Nova is the easiest way to get value from this because uniquely he has a card that cares about clearing the last threat, and this obviously brings in the last threat. But yeah, I honestly think White Wolf is better than you think. It's just like, yeah, there's a couple things. It's like leadership is really good at playing allies and blocking with allies. So having a permanent ally that you can Ultron, like there's a bunch of other ways you can do it. It doesn't need to be White Wolf. Like you can play Ronin. Ronin is a card that just gets technically +1. So you can make a bigger Ronin. I think the last time I played Ronin, I thought he got +1 thwart and +1 attack for every upgrade, but it's not. It's just one upgrade. Who's the other person get a lot of upgrades cheaply? Is it Iron Man? It's like if you want to play an ally that you equip a bunch of stuff to, like Iron Man's also a really, really good target. So Ultroning, a minion, White Wolf is probably not your best option because you can usually just like heal and like, just get someone bigger. So I don't know. Probably not. I would say almost definitely not. Leadership has some really strong cards. Tons of upgrades. The Guardians team card, Blades of Glory. What's this? Each Guardian character gets +2 thwart, +1 attack this phase. At the end of the phase, deal 1 damage to each Guardian character. Oh, I've never played that. That seems like a good card. Yeah. Excited for the Ashes stream. Oh, great. Glad you can join us for that or watch the VOD or whatever it'll be. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's hard to tell about leadership because leadership is like a bit very, very good. But classically, the leadership thing is playing allies and then like blocking with allies. And it's only if you want to go to the way to do weird things. But if you want to play like a permanent ally like White Wolf, I'm not even sure White Wolf is the best option. I think that's the short answer. But I'm not a big leadership player. Star-Lord makes them all guardians. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Star-Lord just says all allies are guardians, which is pretty good text. Is it on his alter ego too? Peter Quill? No, but that doesn't matter. It's a hero card. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm going to go walk into a freezer for a bit. But again, if you want to find this list, it's linked below. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll catch you on Tuesday. If not, we'll be back next Sunday for some more Marvel Champions. It will be Con of Heroes. If you're at Con of Heroes, please have the best time. And maybe we'll see you in another stream. But safe travels. Enjoy your time there. Otherwise, we'll see you on Tuesday, maybe on Sunday. Take care, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out.